so many different
All
strategies.
right, I have started the YouTube stream.
And one of those players that has really kind of revolved their entire strategy around the black market is Clix's trio. And we've seen them kind of, especially at the early part of the season, they would go for it a lot earlier, and you can tell that they definitely prioritize these splashes. But Vivid, unfortunately, it's only Higgs that have the splashes.
Yeah, as you can see right here, you know, laying out their POI, they only have 1 stack of splashes prior to going into the black market. And like Kelly was saying, this is a big part of their strategy. Of course, they're going to go over to the black market near magic mosses. And let's go ahead and take a look at their inventory once they're done buying up all of the splashes. They went from just 1 stack of splashes to a total of 5. And I can't lie, if I was in an FNCS finals, I would love to have 5 stacks of splashes on my trio.
I will say, though, Zeke, that there is a big question mark right now on Clix and getting the black market in time. There's some times where I notice that he doesn't rotate to black market until 17 minutes deep into Storm. And at that point, you have teams like Tony's trio, you have Noah's trio that are nearby that can easily pick up a ton of those stacks if Clix's trio doesn't prioritize it early enough.
I mean, Clix is a rewards member of the black market. He frequents it often, so we'll have to see how that kind of plays out. But, you know, there's also like Liam and 20, right? These guys also looking to utilize this black market.
Yeah, I mean, building bases on top of the black marks is, of course, very, very good. As you can see, Liam unexpectedly going to be taking some damage. And, you know, this is pretty basic, right? But it kind of opens up these ideas, these strategies. Because, like, oh, Liam's like, well, I don't got any heals in my inventory, but I'm based up right on top of a black market. I could just go down and buy some, make sure I'm 100.
Why is my Nightbot in YouTube, not on YouTube?
That's why we just see so many players go ahead and
There's
base
no
up near on top of these black markets.
All right.
I love it. So, obviously, guys, there's an elephant in the room we have to discuss.
Where?
Of course, it is the trios that have already qualified: Peterbot, Cold Ritual, Pollo, Agers, and Acorn. Vivid, why don't we talk about this segment that you've called Back to Back or Back to Pete?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Back to back or back to
That's
Pete.
one of my prouding achievements.
That's OKW.
in life. I thought that was really, really cute right there. But yeah, I guess that's the question for me, right? I mean, is Peterbot gonna return to the top, or is Pollo, Agers, and Acorn going to get that back-to-back? I mean, even for Pollo, right? Multiple back-to-backs at that point. So I wanted to go ahead and take a look at their FNCS
Peter's
Major
uncon?
1
Yeah.
finals and kind of how they performed in comparison.
Peter
to their
technically was never
statistics. I feel
con.
like Peterbot's trio, right? More total eliminations, the better highest point game, more VRs, right? They had those pop-off moments, right? They kind of have a higher ceiling, I would say, than Acorn's trio. The Acorn trio was just so consistent during those Major 1 finals. I mean, they got top 8 11 times. They never got struck by storm surge. They only had the reboot 1 time. Whereas for, you know, Peterbot's trio, those numbers were a little bit higher than that, right? So basically, the point I'm trying to make here is that Acorn, Agers, and Pollo, they're trying to play like perfect Fortnite. They don't want to make any mistakes at all. Whereas Peterbot's trio is kind of going for those high point games, which is sometimes risky and sometimes costs them.
It's interesting, you know, looking at Peterbot as a player and more so looking at the community as a whole and how they kind of revere him and his trio. I mean, you can see why that is when you look at the Div Cup finals. And yeah, they may have had a bit of a surprise Group 1 performance where, although they did
YouTube?
somehow still break records but disappoint us at the same
Wait,
time. I don't know how they keep doing that. They did get
Wait,
the
YouTube,
top
are you guys there?
consistency in their group, and by watching
Hello,
them
YouTube.
just play, we know
YouTube,
that it is
please
so
say something, bro.
elimination
By
heavy,
chat,
and
man.
even more so to focus on is that
No, I'm
elims
not
are
watching
worth
replays,
4
Kerm.
points. So if
Watching
you
the
still
broadcast,
look
man.
at all the numbers, all the tournaments that they've had that they've gotten first place in, that's typically with elims being worth even less.
Bro, I
so
think
today. And there's something I want to pull back to the interview that we had with Quanti saying we know that it's going to be Peterbot. And even Levin said the same thing, that by them losing Major 1, they are going to be even
Oh my God, what is up,
more,
Strobs? Okay, the chat is actually working.
strong and
But let's see
dominating
if
in this
Nightbot's
major today
working.
because they have so much more to prove.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting to see if anything changes amongst the trios, right? I mean, heck, they even tried to change the trios completely. But yeah, we kind of also wanted to take a look at one of the head-to-heads that have
Try to get Nightbot working real fast
on some of these trios, and we're going to be taking a little bit of a focus towards the support role. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at, you know, Ritual versus Pollo in terms of some of the statistics that we can kind of expect, or, you know, maybe some of the play styles from these two.
And this is from the group stages. I know, depending on what tournament it is, it's a completely different set
Hello,
of stats.
real man?
But I love looking at these two right here because I think a big question mark on which one of these teams is going to be coming out on top actually comes down a lot to how Pollo or Ritual are going to be playing here today. And we can see as far as eliminations and assists go, they're somewhat a little bit more favored on Ritual's side, but Pollo is able to bring out more damage and a better damage ratio. Pollo is able to
Ritual
kind of play
disrespect
this
doesn't,
role, but
or it
also
gets
still
worse.
support, whereas Ritual, I feel like, is full support.
One of the
we
two.
saw a lot of people kind of hating on Ritual, let's be honest, right? But if you look at the group stages, Ritual was the one that was able to keep his teammates alive and bringing them back and kind of keeping them forward throughout the entire group stage.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, right, I feel like the motivating factor, or kind of like his goal coming into season 2 here, was, hey, he wanted to improve on his mechanics, right? That was kind of like the goal. And I feel like that was a conversation that we had during the group stages. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks like Ritual's practice did pay off. So hopefully it also is able to pay off.
When does it start? It literally says on the screen when it starts.
Fair. So, like, obviously we've talked about Peterbot, Cole, and Ritual. What about the other side, right? Pollo, Agers, and Acorn. I mean, both of these trios had over 900 points in major number 1, right? Yeah. So, I mean, we now have two just like absolute titan trios who are roaming around the lobby that we have to figure out how to deal with.
I mean, when it comes to Agers, Acorn, and Pollo, what an incredible
why
run we
is
got to see
Nightbot
from
not
Major
working?
1. And they kind of went under the radar for many weeks until we really got
Oh my
into
God,
the
he's finally
Major 1
working.
finals. And I feel like they might be doing
Let's
a
go,
little
Nightbot.
bit of the same today. A lot of people putting them in second place below Peterbot. But Acorn is such an incredibly smart IGL. He understands the meta. He knows exactly what to do to be at his advantage. And then you have Pollo, who is an incredible fragger and support. And then Agers, who solo clutched, I honestly, probably their Major 1 win.
Yeah, I mean, definitely did, right? Some of these trios, some of these players are just grands players that kind of show up, right? And they're like, listen, it's finals now. We're going to give you guys the best. And I would expect that out of this trio.
Ooh, can't wait to see. We're close. We got 5 more minutes before we can jump into. All
right, chat, make sure you guys predict though on Twitch for game 1.
Competition.
Predict.
I know, we're so close. The last thing we want to talk about here is trios we think could qualify to globals, right? With 3 spots on the line, who do we think could walk away with one of those spots? We want to start pretty simply here, right? Clicks, Iamzo, and Higgs. I mean, we've already kind of touched on them fighting over the black markets, and now we kind of see them come in. They finally broke in that 4th place curse. Can they break the ultimate curse?
All right,
and
let's
go ahead and
go.
qualify through the globals this weekend?
I think that there is a
drop map is
possibility.
exclamation mark
I think out
map.
of all of the seasons that we have seen Clicks play, that this is the best potential that we have out of them getting a 1st place or 2nd place spot in the finals. And if you look at this graph right here, that doesn't look super great. Yes, group 2 was a little rough for Clicks' trio, Vivid, and you could even hear that after the group stage finished, just kind of how down Clicks was on himself.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that myself, right? Like, is that going to go ahead and affect them in the finals? I don't think it will, right? They've been competing for a very long time. But Kelly, I mean, this trio just does such a good job of controlling the low ground, getting to the front sides of the moving zone. It would be no surprise to me if they were able to kind of pull something like this off for a majority of the games today.
It's wild. During the performance evaluation that happened a few days ago, literally at the same second mark, around 24 minutes and 40 seconds, which is around the time that the 10th zone pops, they would go and aggressively push into the front side of zone. And you can see, even when Iamzo and Higgs were a duo without Clicks, they still made the same move. And pushing to the front side of zone isn't necessarily a, unique strat, but it's how aggressive they go for it every single time. That's really impressive to me, and I think part of the reason why.
All right, 3 minutes until it starts.
Consistency.
One last time, Chad. These are the predictions that we are rocking with. I have Peter 1st, Acorn 2nd, Clicks 3rd, Rise 4th, Booga 5th, Reed 6th, Kanata 7th, Aminished 8th, Shadow 9th, and Tony 10th. Those are the predictions going into day number 2 here.
Now we just have to convert that into a top 3.
Yeah, and this is definitely something that Muzz, Yapko, and Rise can bring. Muzz has had such an incredible run this season as far as solo cash cups go.
Who is Tony?
And them as a trio as well has
Spanish player.
Pretty well. We saw them in Major 1.
Tony at 10, bro. Y'all just gotta believe,
man. They broke up at the start of season 2, and then right before play-ins happened, Vivid, we saw them join.
I don't need any of your
hating
hating energy.
overall.
I mean, super incredible stuff out of them. I like that strategy that kind of Z kind of pointed out, right? The black market being nearby. Also like Johnny Shafts, because it also gives them the option to use
over
that
Reed is crazy. Okay, Sync is trolling.
POI can make some of these rotates easier for this
I guess Reed is not in the top 10.
In the game, the early game being uncontested. It's looking good.
How many call in Central? It's 3 on Central, 5 on EU. That is the land spots for this season.
It also wouldn't be a globals without
Bro, I had
Kanata.
Reed 6th place.
Kanata, Bolt, and Sphinx more recently forming, now looking to snag one of those top 3 spots. I guess the question I have to ask is, do we think they can do it?
This, out of the 3 trios that we've talked about, is probably the biggest question mark for me.
Bro, I don't know what it is, but bro, Sphinx's player picture is so funny, bro.
Is one of the most brilliant players that I have ever seen in Fortnite. His ability to handle Storm Surge or just kind of come up with unique strats on the fly. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do it better. Bolt's an incredible player. We saw him do really well with Bryce last year. I'm excited to see him joined up by Kanata. And Sphinx,
oh my god.
At one point, Cooper called one of the best IGLs in the game. I think all 3 of them have so much potential. I really hope they stick together for Major 3 because I think we could see even more come out of them.
No, it's not Insta.
Yeah, they're gonna have to stick together for Major 3 after they qualify to globals this weekend. Am I right, guys? But yeah, I mean, this trio.
Is the loophole different next season?
Right?
Yeah, the loophole's gonna be the loophole's different every season.
Probably looking to farm some kinch stats there with this and Straddle.
What does banned mean?
Always has some sort of strategy plan when it comes down to Storm Surge. Usually he's the player towards the top
up on Google, man.
In terms of damage dealt when it comes down to these finals, and he's got the most experience out of anybody in the lobby when you look at it. So that's why he's been through all of the metas. He knows what to do.
I love it. Okay, we have like 20 seconds. Really fast.
The global spots roll down to 3 and 4 if
big shout outs to other teams that we didn't get to mention,
3, 4.
But
Well, yeah, the global spots roll down if Peter and Acorn get top 4.
Yeah. Threats and Rapid did really well during scrims. Reed, please, I want to see you get a top 5.
4 and 5.
Okay,
but they'd roll down
listen, I'm gonna go back to my.
If Peter gets top 3, goes down to 4, or if Acorn does, and then if the other one gets top 4,
that's right.
It goes
Simple,
to 5.
And that's what I love.
But most likely, it's top 5 to make grands on it.
Let's jump up on that battle bus. 6 games today. How do we set the stage going into tomorrow?
What's up, Karma?
Let's find out right now.
Well, Jacob, the stage has been set. What do you think about Zeke setting them up for the?
All right, chat. Here we go. Game number uno.
I think it's one of those things you get put on the spot.
It's
like
time,
that,
chat. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a like. If you're watching on Twitch and you want to support me, go to YouTube and drop a like and then come back, please. Go to YouTube, drop a like, come back. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a like right now. Oh my god, we just went up. We just like tripled our likes. Let's go. Make sure to like the stream, chat. Like the stream if you think Clicks is winning FNCS. Like the stream if you think Peterbot's winning FNCS. Subscribe to the stream if you're new. Follow the stream on Twitch if you're new. Subscribe for free with Prime if you're on Twitch.
Boys getting a lot of love from Monster D-Face on this side, and honestly, I cannot go wrong with that one. But I'm gonna go with Vivid on this one. I want 12 exciting, good games of Fortnite. I want 1 point to really make the difference between 1st through 5th place all the way down that leaderboard. That's just my wish for the weekend.
And I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
It looks like Bryce is 50-50.
All you want at the end of the day when the finals lobby starts.
I didn't really get to see anything other than that though.
World starts to take form. The zones.
Oh my god, Osid with the gun.
These are all going to be.
Come on, G Monster.
How good you are. Here's a team we didn't even get to really talk about. Who's making
oh my god, 200. Who do you think you are, Sandman? You're nothing without cheats. Or cheaters. That's the big G Monster. Okay, Bryce is dead. That's okay though.
Yep, this is
he's leaving. Coward. Cowardice gameplay.
He said there just simply wasn't enough time for them to get onto his level while he
wait, Muzz got conned.
Of his own game. So it's
oh no, Muzz got conned.
I don't think they're gonna go on a
Booga killed Joji.
So it is gonna be a good chance for him to try to survive.
Higgs just got a kill. I think that's out of the air though. Okay, I think Joji and the Higgs killer out of the air.
Very, very early on, so that way they have a lot of time to loot up, get some resources, and most importantly, the material around the map.
Bro, what is Catman doing, bro? That is not like a good play.
Those are most important.
They're gonna just get slammed.
Board, right? This is not a zero-sum game for them. But let's get on over to the big goat.
Please tell me, bro, Yapko, come on, Polish. Bro, why are the Polish players just not like the come on, dude. Really, dude. It's always got to be the Polish players, man. Off spawn.
I gotta say,
the trend, man.
Muzz
The trend
clearly
continues every time.
Greats, right? When it comes down to
Just sad.
being overall mechanically gifted, but it
Is that
seem
genetics
like
in Fortnite or
when
something?
it comes down to end games and final
Polish off spawn
settings now,
genetics just
this
not there.
trio is starting to break away.
Booga just got
with
his
some
full kill on
consistent
Joji.
performances.
Dang, so
Yeah, and I
Booga
like
ruined the
that too,
Joji
because
off
they were one
spawn
of the
for
teams
this
at
game.
the end of day one in the last major, they were at the top of the leaderboard. They pulled off some big feats through that game, and I like what they're doing here to start off the day. If you looked at the drop map, everybody.
We need to
claiming
figure
their
out where
spots. This was
Cyrus went.
supposed to
That's
be
like the question
uncontested,
mark
Monster.
here.
Muzz, Rise, and Yapko all season long. Very little people going over there. Right out of the gates in game one,
who
they're
died
able to get an
first?
elimination. Yeah, they've lost a player.
I mean, we
but that
always have to
helps
go
them
back in
for
the
their
VOD to see
early
who got the
storm
first
surge.
kill.
So now they have a little bit more flexibility
Too many people
going around the map.
50-50.
As we take a look at Noah Plays, Chaos, and Kaz's, another team. Honestly, phenomenal performance just to make it to this stage. They started off at one drop spot. As soon as Kanata qualified out of their group, left
Looks like
Hopeful Heights
Magma
open,
might.
They went all the way back over to their
Bro,
home,
Donnie's
and
gonna
that's how they
lose off
qualified.
spawn because of that,
Yeah,
bro.
we're seeing the story on both
GG's,
sides, right?
Donnie
Just to put a
dead
ribbon
game
on it,
one.
Muzz, a trio
First
who,
team
of
in the
course,
lobby
picked
dead
that
is
first
craze.
Victory Royale up, and then you jump on over to these other teams who had to fight their way through consistency. Brutal 5 games.
I think
put
Osu
up
got the
over
first
group
kill.
Stages. UG,
Maybe.
Yusuf, and Phenom, they're going to be pretty happy with this pop-off here. Group 3 team. Let's take a look at
Rise
how
got
it
surprise
ended up playing
con
out for
poppy.
them. So another contested battle at the Shining Span. Shining Span is really interesting. This is an extremely narrow.
I mean, I mean, they're never
going
gonna lose to that team,
if they're
though.
committing to middle bridge like that, so it really is all or nothing. Jumping on over
Peterbot
to
has assumed
the
his
man
position.
Of the hour, Peterbot. We got to hear directly from him just a couple moments before the FNCS.
I mean,
kicked
Rise
off.
getting
Shout out
surprise
to
con was
Backseat,
very
everything he had
obvious,
going on.
though.
Peterbot jumped in and he put
At
down
least
his top
with
7
how-
for this tournament playthrough for the weekend, how finals is going to play out, and he rated himself at #1. He genuinely does believe he's the best player in the world and the best player and team in this lobby.
And I like that confidence. Some people could say it's overconfidence because you ask some teams
that
and
team
some
always
players,
cons
they don't
them.
even want to rate themselves sometimes. Maybe
Them
they'll just
getting
put
surprise
themselves
con was
top
obvious.
5 because they don't want to seem just a little bit too confident. Peterbot's one of those players that he not just wants to win. I was talking to him at last year's Global Championship. He wants to dominate. He wants to set records. He wants to build a legacy for himself that can go on years past his time is done in Fortnite. Hopefully not too soon with the way he's been playing.
Hayes did
But
land top
uncontested means they have
right.
a lot of early
Shadow gets an
open
early kill
space
on them.
throughout Crime City. Curve, Tyler.
Oh, they're
Shadow,
pushing this.
all the way towards the north. Demon Dojo, a spot that starts off uncontested, but there is a couple teams towards the outside that they like to try to steal away some shots, steal away some of their loot, and they're not having any of that. You see already one elimination being picked up. They're following on the second.
I mean, they
That's
just think
Hayes,
that's
and
their
he's
best
trapped in the
option,
box.
I guess,
1v1
Luke.
versus Shadow. This is
Oh
his
my
best
God,
chance,
Shadow!
Monster, because he gets the knock, and now it comes down to a
No.
second 1v1 against Tyler.
Listen, I respect it, but Tyler and Curve
Why are
are
they-
definitely
why did they make that a
extremely
1v1?
talented. They've been here before. They have a lot of
You gotta-
experience starting to
they're-
officially now
oh my
rack up
God.
under their belt. Some
You
might
gotta
say
fight as a
this
team
right
here. It should be
is
free.
the next generation. This is the next up-and-coming types of trios that are going to be leading the Fortnite space in the years to come. So this is a big moment for them to go ahead and make sure they make a huge showing here in game #1. And you know what? Respect to Hayes' team, putting up a strong fight and forcing off Tyler and Curve.
Yeah, and you see their full health as well, so they can kind of re-loot up. They're going to go their separate directions. I
Wait,
expect to see
let's
both of those trios
go.
fully intact
Woohoo.
in due time, getting those reboots.
Let's watch the crazy.
Jumping on over to
Ooh,
Bucky.
wait.
Ocus and Cam.
Oh my
land on
God.
over to that rainbow field right near the black market. They instantly go in there because of one of the chests inside get to the dill bits, so they're instantly the
Actually,
team that gets
this
that
is
mythic
sad,
drum
bro.
gun in their inventory, and they give it to Ocus. Ocus is putting up numbers in terms of damage with that drum gun. I believe it's like over 90% of his overall damage in these games comes from that drum gun.
Yeah, that drum gun, man, so good in the hands of Ocus. I mean, we've seen Cam and Ocus just continue to, you know,
Dude,
break
is Bucky
ahead
about to
of the
chop it in
competition
rage
with it.
because he can't get damage?
What's going on here? Bucky
Yeah.
just trying to, you know, fish for tags here at the Seaport City. Have to be extremely cautious, though, of course.
Gotta try other
Given that
strats,
there's
man.
another trio to the opposite side. Rapid in threats, also playing high ground here. Booga inside the Seaport City, of course, making sure that he's.
This
fishing
is
up
actually
all the
just
loot
so
that they're gonna
troll.
need.
This is so
Just the
troll.
start for game #1. Take a look at Booga's loadout. For someone who's got the entire
Yeah,
city
Rapid
to
joined
himself,
Chronic like
I'd say the ammunition
morning,
count
I
could
think.
be looking a little sharper.
Or
so he's gonna
yesterday.
continue to spend
Yesterday,
time
maybe.
farming up here.
Yeah, just kind of consolidate the loot. You can see where the zone is at. Seaport is just on the edge of it, so a lot of those southern eastern teams on the map right now are going to have to figure out a way to rotate in towards zone, whether they beeline it up the eastern side of the coast, maybe even go all the way towards the western side, get around this spot is what they're going to be looking for, because you're going to have not just one, but multiple bases set up here and around the map in general.
Don't know where Cyrus landed.
Clicks Yamzo at their
Chat, can anybody go into replays and see where Cyrus landed?
It was built in high ground because it is on the edge of the mountain, especially when you look towards the north, the black market, flooded frogs. There is a lot of view that they can look down and see any player rotating through those trees.
This is what makes me really like this draw spot as a pickup for Clix's trio here, given that, again, it is relatively isolated, but it's going to come down to whether or not these teams want to show themselves right below the Lone Wolf. All that natural terrain, all those trees is going to make it a lot harder than maybe some other teams might have fishing for tags.
No one's fighting yet, dude. NA is about to have like 90 alive every single game.
Into pushing a trio.
It's going to be an absolute war for Surge.
Jumping over to
You're about to see everybody below, like the whole entire lobby.
Out of the group stages, of course.
Half the lobby's below. They're all just box fighting.
Battles in early game
they all got to jump in.
Seems like Kappa Factory is completely theirs. However, that's come at the expense, right? Look at King's general builds here in Jargu, right? So it has kind of come at battling other teams, and they're just trying to claw back into the mid game.
Yeah, it's something we talked about throughout different group stages and even off broadcast as well, taking those prolonged early game fights where, yeah, you can start to build up a lot of surge, trading shots, getting a little bit of those heals intact, but it just
no way they split off spawn.
The rest of the curve, and that's a team right in front of them that landed towards the Kappa Factory.
No one didn't even fight off spawn either.
They're in a very, very similar.
Dude, people are going to be like a million below, like actually like an unrecoverable amount.
That is going to be left behind,
like legit like 1,000 below.
I have my eye on Taki, Ishao, 2 first-time finalists for them. Vert, 15-time finalists. This is redemption for them, missing out very narrowly on the Major 1 finals last season, and they land at the north side of the map, and this is kind of what they do. Where a lot of teams are making their way in towards the black market, they hover around towards the outsides, collecting shots, building up their
Peter's not going to
so
shoot the surge bases down because he's getting surge often too.
Here and now, but Ishu already getting pushed out, kind of out of position here. Lost all of his shields.
I'm not gonna lie though, I feel like later into the tourney though,
looking to use these splashes this early, so should be
like let's say like
recuperating there for a second. Meanwhile,
let's say Kanada's in like
right
4th place, right? Bugha might be in 3rd or something. Like he's got to shoot threats out. Like any way to grief threats you possibly can. Like they have to start chopping each other later.
26 out of 26
because there's no way you want them to get surge. I mean, you do need surge too, but like
finals as a commentator. So
I feel like we're gonna start. Ramps are definitely gonna be getting shot out at one.
But Jacob, take a look at the action. It's going down right now.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Build fight breaking down.
What is this? Chapter 1?
Beat off by Silicon Jarg, but Seek still there.
Triple
trying to take a little bit of that pressure off, but his teammates just getting cracked over and over. Luckily, they have the time and the heals to try to keep themselves in fighting shape. And this is one of those fights, I think, for Silic, King, and Jargu, where they do not have a lot of resources. Just bandages. You saw some empty
said, I got cucked
before. And this is one of those they might feel like they have to take this fight in order to get one.
King probably started
surge,
getting excited right there.
Eliminations, so that way they can get a refresh on their loot.
Already looking to continue to go down. Veer and Dash playing once again a bit passively here, but I'm not really feeling this for Seek, Veer, and Dash because we have a desperate King, Jargo, and Silic right now, right? They don't have a lot of mats. They're getting extremely
They're gonna have to
close.
fight each other though. They are so.
And you know what
well, King has to fight
have,
them probably more so than Seek has to fight.
You put it all on the table, so this is about to be a full-on, probably 50-50.
They have 15 builds and bandies.
Yeah, basically whoever gets the opening shot on their opponent. And there's actually a huge mismatch in terms of heals. As Veer's trying to lead the charge over the side, has to be careful not to accidentally jump off the bridge. Seek just hiding underneath. He does have the infiltrator, so he could deal a good amount of damage from far away. And you see
oh my god, Kanada just killed Silic. Wait, Kanada's coming now.
The noise, they see the shots, and they're beelining their way over. You see it in the minimap, and there's already one down.
Kanada's about to wipe all of them.
Jargu and King, that's Silic they just lost.
yet Kanata gets the fall damage to assist them there on the elimination, and they are fully collapsing.
Rapid just died to himself. Noah just killed Creon. Wait, we actually might get some fights here.
This is a very bold push here, so it tells us
we're getting a lot of fights. Kanata's gonna get all of these kills. None of these people are surviving this.
In a bad situation here for game number 1.
Chaos dead to Tony. Aviv just got to kill Josh with a kill.
And they did leave the down body there, so that's damage lost too. But hey, they're pretty content with the exchange here.
Okay, Kanata's leaving that.
Yeah, I agree with it as well. You see the zone just
okay,
going further and further towards
King
the
got
north.
out.
It has
Somebody
big
from King's
eastern
Trio got
lean on
out
it
there
as well. They already got a little bit of damage, and since they're bypassing this team, they know eventually the team they left behind is going to have to rotate into their position. So they're going to give themselves options later on. You're seeing how they were able to catch
4 points a kill.
just in the distance. When you make that much noise, it's not as safe
Ferv
as you
is
think.
fighting enough
A lot
again.
of these fights breaking down. If you're not able to kind of position yourself with the abundance of heals and get those surge tags, these are the risks you're going to have to make.
Talking about risk, Shadow being brought back here at the Magic Mosses and now back into the action curve. Seems like they've caught a little bit of redemption as Hazen Mafia have returned back to take the fight here against them. I would have thought they'd look at their little dub and call it a day, but no. Looking to reinitiate here is definitely risky for all parties involved. And then on the outskirts, someone's listening and watching just nearby.
Muzz is fighting
we got a big battle
Amplify again.
and Rise. Taking down Amplify, so
it's not looking too good for our game 1 Rise win. Actually, their loot's not bad.
And now that's going to bring them up to 3 eliminations.
They're just so behind, though.
Still, what's left of the trio here right
Tyler just died to enough again.
Jacob, it doesn't seem like Lords is going to be able to survive. Nope, not for long as the full elimination comes through. And that brings them at 4 elims for game 1 for the boy Muzz, the 3X making a comeback.
Yeah, I think they let one of those players kind of escape early on, got the reboot, and just kind of took them down yet again. And now with Storm Surge active, you're seeing how fruitful it's been for their game so far. 953 above the damage threshold. They have splashes. They have the water sprites.
That must be Peter.
Rotating through their original POI.
Oh, no, that wouldn't.
Some extra
no, that wouldn't
that
be
they
Peter.
Have left along the way. And with the zone pulling towards the north, I don't believe there's going to be too many teams contesting them until they get there.
Here's the truth of it. With damage like that, they
Dash
can play
just
dead
died
side
again.
all day long. They have a lot of
They probably don't have
right now to make
whites.
some huge rotates around the outskirts of the map, take their time and fully cap off on material here. So long as they have maybe even just a singular med miss to bring
Muzz is going to have storm sickness by the time he gets in.
For game 1. We get to get an update though on what's happening here.
1,000 above for Kanata.
So they are 1,000 damage above. So that elimination, that
that
broke out for them clearly.
Why Sphinx full tarp?
Now
like
what's
full
happening? Veer and crew pushing in a little desperate. We
overbuild. He has 20 builds.
And Sphinx, Kanata, and Bulls had basically cut them off. Right? They were trying to get ahead of this storm fight.
And even somewhere, DK out of nowhere gets a knock
made a
on
4x1.
Veer had to immediately leave to try to go get the revive, while Seek is just creeping around, tries to land a good shot to catch him off guard, but it's not going to be enough damage.
Dude, they might be cooked. There's another team.
There's no HP in any
They're trying to run.
Monster. They need elimination. They need the siphon. It's all or nothing. Seek's doing what he can, but he's going to be the first one getting dropped out of this trio.
Pink team?
Kanata, Bolt, Sphinx using that to keep themselves alive. The siphon's important, but in comes
Oh my
Dash.
God.
Out goes Dash
King is
as well.
back
Veer being the
again.
last one left,
Kanata
and
with
he
3
has
kills.
No chance at survival. But from one fight to the next, you're seeing how
I think
many
these green
other
arrows
teams,
is King
there's
again.
4 teams staggered this deep into zone trying to get their surge.
And they're
They're
all
back.
This might be a perfect storm.
Kanata's getting
trio.
more.
And they get the re-knock onto Silic. This is like
They're just getting. Oh my, they're.
clean up
Bro, they're just farming.
King. Oh my God.
They have 7 kills.
Look at the Elim starting to rack up here.
Bro, we might get a 30.
This has to be
on the same 2
intimidating for the
teams. They're
lobby
dropping
to
a
see the
30.
feed lighting up in this way. Jacob, what a start for Kanata's trio. And you know what's the best part about it? People sleep on Kanata's performances coming out of the FNCS. You can look back at his entire history. He has so many appearances well within the top 10, but never, I think, have we seen a game 1 like this.
I feel like that's because
I
Kanata
love
is what
Surge.
they would call in the industry or community a prime time player. He just exceeds all expectations when
Shadow
the
just
main event
died.
is on. When the spotlight is on him, I feel like he just gets
Again.
exponentially better. And there's another example of that. But from
Wait,
all
this
the
is a
teams
god zone
rotating
for
in
Cooper
from the
and them.
southern to the north,
Wait, they need to. Wait, I don't think they have their surge base.
Landing at flooded frogs, you can kind of see that they're up on that surge. A lot of their plan.
Oh,
here
they should be
was just
playing this
taking
exactly
advantage of
like
a lot of
Vanya
teams that are
did.
contested
They should be
around
sitting
their
on their
actual
surge
POIs.
base
We jump on
up in
board,
the
he's
air,
getting taken
like
down.
the surge base that
DK
they
was one of the
shoot at
ones that we
clicks
saw
with.
getting elimination early on, or at least it was a knock. He wasn't actually able to clean it up, but now the tables have turned. Cynic's trying to break his way in, and they
All right,
take
Cynic's
down
with a kill on Mafia.
They take down Hayes. They send the
Bucky
full
dead in the
trio back
feed to
the lobby.
Creon.
This is pretty incredible stuff. You know, coming into game one, I expected some early and mid-game upsets, but so far, the big teams, the big names, the ones that we expect, the veterans are doing so well. They're exceeding expectations at this point. And then you have these new up-and-comers here that
Dude, I
are
feel like we've been watching
making a
I
name
Am
for
Enough
themselves. DK
in, like,
and
Shadow
Cynic's
fight.
Polar doing a great job finding
Fighting,
their
like, the
eliminations
entire
that they
map.
needed.
Oh, I think
Talking
Ozone is
about
ticking.
those
No.
household names. We got Peter Bob.
Wait, Peter.
And of course, Ritual right
Whoa,
here.
dude.
A bit of a
Oh, Peter's got
situation.
Island.
Low ground, not too
They're
much
next to
damage
Muzz.
for what it's worth. And on the other side, you have Muzz, right? We knew they were going to do a dead side rotate. And look, you have the big boys here waiting to catch them out.
Yeah, and this is a mean cutback of the zone
Let's
right
not-
now.
let's not
almost all
fight this,
game
guys.
long, it's been pulling to the north. It's been pulling to the east, and as soon as
Where did
a
58
few
come from?
teams
That's
try
how many kills he's gonna drop
make it
today.
an investment to position themselves on that side, it pulls all the way across. But now it's basically 1v3 situation. Void trying to stay alive.
Oh my
Peter
God,
Bob
do
Gold,
not get
Rachel
triple
pushing their
sprayed to
way
death,
in, but the
please.
third-party shots continue to fire in from Rise, Muzz, and Yapko.
Dude, I don't like where Peter and them are right now.
Everybody at this
Booga
edge
with
of
a
the zone
kill.
is gonna have to make that conscientious decision. Is it worth the fight,
Rice
or
with a
do I
kill.
rotate? And I think most of the teams in this position are gonna have to rotate.
Okay,
in
it
because
pulls
there's just
east
too
to
much
flooded.
damage coming in from that Zorn once it closes.
I'm not gonna lie, Peter is probably gonna, like, they're gonna end up fighting Rise.
Full advantage of it. Finds himself 57 damage there. Hey, listen, every ounce counts. The more pressure you can put on your opponents while you're making his rotate, the easier it's going to be for them to make sure that they don't get shot back in return.
I think they've got ahead of them. Bro, that team kind of just full griefed Muzz too. They made them stop.
Clean rotate is starting to turn out to be.
Vert is on hype right now.
See them, considering how far
Okay,
they're
Vert's
moving
like
in
the most
from.
elevated team
Well,
there
let's get
is.
a little update from Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs, who are fighting for their damage right now. Looks like Booga's team is the one in the distance there in the line of pressure, but Yamzo makes the call to go ahead and start looking to get to the safe zone.
Yeah, and it just seems like their decision to prioritize getting that early storm surge over towards Lone Wolf Lair.
This guy Clicks is just
has
holding out
costed
the
them that ability to
infiltrator like
kind
he's
of
got
go
a
over to match
sniper.
Mosses and get the splashes. Vivid broke it down. At one point, they usually have like 30 plus splashes. But more teams rotating by, they get granted. the
Poyo
zone
and
here,
Agers
but the
with a kill.
scanners
Wait,
down.
Vert's dying to
Yamzo, Higgs,
Poyo and
Clix are able to see
Agers.
teams nearby, and they're putting their pressure
Okay, so
right
they're no
across.
longer on
They
hype.
already got some early damage, and no more
Oh,
teams taking
Dozer's
focus. They
dying
get
to
the knock.
Clicks.
being
Clicks is gonna get
confident to
some
move in.
refreshes.
He's gonna grab the body, bring it back, not wanting
Did they
to
get
too
two
greedy in
bodies
this
here?
situation.
I like this.
Oh my
play right
God.
here. Clix's confidence.
That guy had
surging
100
up
shield.
right now, and they get a crucial elimination for material count that they absolutely
that guy, like,
needed
die in
here.
zone?
But it is probably not going to be enough. They will have to continue to push to go the distance.
Two
but,
kills for
you know, one
Clix.
thing's for certain, they pulled zone. And that's gonna be
I
a
don't know if that
lucky
means Poyo's
pull
on
for
hype.
them, no doubt.
I'm not sure.
It's all about just
Oh, they got
waiting for that moment
chopped.
here with the zone in your favor. See, Reed, Curly, and Coop, they targeted out the
Dang,
high
they got
ground.
chopped.
They took down Vert. Taki followed.
Reap got those kills.
Oh,
Poyo
Fuchsia
got
with
the
him, but he's
finishes,
gonna
I
be the
guess.
only hope, because right now we're only in
He's
the
re-killed
top
two of them.
20 with as much action as we've seen so
I mean,
far.
if Poyo and them
Three
got the
more
bodies,
teams need
like,
to go
that's-
down
that's just as
before
good, I'd say.
placement points even start to come in for here game number one. You're seeing Storm
What's
Surge
up, Easy?
still dictating a little bit of the lobby, 280 above. You're seeing they're still trying to be proactive. Yusuf, the perfect target, the threading the needle. They get the knock onto one. They continue to fire over in that direction. They're trying to clean it up, but whether they do or not, that's still very, very helpful for their Storm Surge.
We'll take a look at this. Looks who's got the high ground here in zone 7. Acorn, Aegis, and Boyo. A little early.
Okay, they
to
do
be
have it.
committing this much, but hey,
It
when
is
it
early
gets
though.
granted to you, you have to take advantage, and it seems like they're trying to do just that. No elims yet on the board for the
They
trio
probably
here,
won't
but
play it
it's gonna be
though.
an important moment for them to try to capitalize on one here coming soon.
Oh my
They have
God,
the
don't
damage. They see the
don't you
max
dare
there,
do it, Poyo.
Contemplating if it's worth playing for
I
at
think
this
he
point,
wants.
but of course
Dude,
not.
I think he's licking his lips.
As things
Oh,
are
he's
really
licking his
starting to
lips.
settle up here. Where's the zone
He
gonna
wants
pull?
it
This is
so
gonna turn a
bad.
lot. This is a very decent end zone for the game to finish as well.
I don't.
because
Yeah,
it's
they're not gonna go.
relatively
Wait,
flat, so there's
Peter
no
killed
excuses
Muzz. No.
as far as how you
I
end
knew
up
they were
playing
too
this one out
close,
when you
man.
have the advantage.
Look at Booga front. Booga is 100% 90ing up and playing height. Look at where Booga is the only team in zone. Booga is 100% 90ing and playing height. Like in metal.
I believe 17th place. But you saw on one side, they already had zone on Acorn's team, but a max pool. And the team that was on the other side, granted that max pool, Booga, Rapid, and Threads, they're immediately looking like they're going to try to build up towards that high ground.
That has to be Booga in the middle.
You see it on the other end, and that's where Peter
is anybody there?
Start to set their focus. They can chop it down early, or at least hinder what they can see. They're going to find success there, and there's the first elimination they were able to grab onto Muzz.
Okay, Cole did get a bat. I don't think he had a bat earlier. Oh, it's Booga.
So much
World Cup champion on height, chat. The World Cup chomp is on height.
Recipe for success here in the end game. Bolts, Kanata, Sphinx, riding off the momentum of those 7 eliminations still. They haven't picked up anything just yet, but this is going to be all or nothing here now. As Bolts are starting to lead their way ever so closely. Finds himself in some serious danger.
Oh my god, Kanata's got 5 builds. Kanata's dead. He has 0 builds, 9 HP. He's just gonna die to getting sprayed here. They're dead. They're getting lobbied. They're dead in their back. It's Tony. Kanata's dead. Kanata and Sphinx both dead. It's just Bolts. They do have 7 kills. But dying early, I mean, they're dying so early. Oh my god. Oh my god. And he's dead. GG's. He went out with a kill at least. Booga's playing height.
What a find for Bolts. At least grabbing a couple more points in the back pocket before he finally went down. But Booga threats and Rapid.
Wait, Peter dead? Peter dead?
Down goes Peter Bot Cold trying to be a hero.
They're gonna res this though. It's Click spraying them.
He's the one trying to deal with the pressure.
Cold's gotta back them off. Okay, Peter gets res. Peter's back. Peter is back.
Is now back in the game, and with the
Booga's still on height. Acorn's still alive. Bryce still alive. Ritual's still alive.
Clix's trio came out unscathed in that entire exchange. Yamzo Higgs extremely
All right, Peter's back up.
Look at this, whittling the tank zone to play the front side.
3 kills for Clix and them.
The med miss here is going to be a target on them. However, they have the metal mat secured here, so a lot of time for the base to build as well. They are completely fortified on the front side of low ground. Meanwhile, Boyo, Acorn, Ager is a completely different.
Is this going to be a World Cup champion game 1 win?
High ground game 1 win right now with no mats. This is
Ager's and them not that much mats. They're playing zone.
They're doing the same.
Oh my god, they're just bullying people from back zone. Oh my god, what a like hidden rotate right there.
Giveaway was that med miss smoke.
Mirrored Booga a bit.
3 of them turned around.
Bryce with another kill. Reed still has 2 kills. Bryce dead though to Clix. Ager's with a kill. Wait, Reed.
Taking space where they can, but they're dangerously low on those materials. One fight, one clash could be the end of this team. But that's
Booga is still on height.
Trying to catch somebody off guard. As Ager's toward the backside of zone, staggering yet again, even with a
think Peter's gonna need kills, bro. Only 10 builds for Pete.
So they're gonna have to continue moving forward in this zone, but it's noisy, it's Creon, it's Tony. They're the ones that got a little bit of that focus.
Oh, Reed!
Down, but he backtracks. Peter
Reed's getting in.
Down to 9 HP. They're trying to bulldoze their way into the box, but
Reed kills Pete.
Before he goes down to
Peter
Reed.
dead. It's only Cold and Ritual. Reed takes out Pete. That's King. Oh, yo dead. G Money dead. Osa dead. Okay, a kill for Cold and Ritual. Can they make something out of this? Cold's dead. Cold is dead. It's only Ritual. Booga's still on height. Clicks his back zone. Higgs dead to Ritual. Is Ritual gonna go down to Clicks? Ritual full kills Higgs. I think Ritual died. Oh no, Ritual's still alive. Cooper's still alive. Wait, Ritual's clutching. King Rich. Clicks dead in the feed. That has to be Ritual that died. Yeah, Ritual died 5th. Alright, 5th place for Ritual. Cooper ended up dying. Reed's gonna try to double res. We still have Booga as a trio on height. Braids is still alive as a solo. Braids dead.
But everyone's so damaged.
No way Cynics is still alive, bro. No way. 3v3v3 chat. Early dead. It's a 1v2v3.
points here in the final
Cynics is the only player alive on his trio. Cooper and Reed still alive. Oh no, it's Polar alive on that trio. I mean, no way Booga loses this. Triple 200 HP on height. This is unlosable. GG's, Cooper dead, Reed dead. That is an 11 kill win for Booga, Threats, and Rapid to start the day. Wow. The World Cup champion. Can we please get all caps Booga? Raise the trophy. All caps Booga in the chat. Do the 7TV emote. Oh my god, Wait, do I not have the emote anymore? No way, I don't have that emote. It doesn't matter. All caps Booga. Who even cares? GG's, chat. That is an 11 kill win for Rapid, Booga, and Threats in game 1. Reed, Cooper, Curly in second after game 1. 7 kill second. Noisy, Creon, and Tony got an 11 kill sixth and are in third. Cynics is in fourth. Ritual is in fifth after game 1. GG's. Eulogies in 6th. Click 7th. Bryce 8th. Visuals 9th. And Agers is in 10th. GG's. Thank you for the 5 bits as well, Hydravix. Yeah, Booga's back. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to drop a like if you are watching on YouTube. Follow if you're new on Twitch. We'll do the V-Bug giveaways after games 1, 3, and 5, chat. So we'll do a V-Bug giveaway. Remember, subs do get 3 times luck. I can only do the giveaways on Twitch. So if you're watching on YouTube, you will need to come over to the Twitch. But we will be doing 3 times sub luck for all subs. So if you guys want the luck, use your primes right now for no ads, sub luck to win the giveaways. The giveaway is Booga though, chat. Type Booga. Type Booga, chat, to win some V-Bucks. The giveaway will be Booga as the keyword. All right, we will do Booga as the keyword. That was a W game 1. I'm not gonna lie, W game 1. Not a bad start here. All right, I'll let that run for a couple seconds, chat. That is a Booga prediction win. That is a Booga prediction win as well. All right, make sure to type Booga if you want to enter the giveaway. We have 6 V-Buck cards to give away this weekend. Giving away 3 today. We'll do games 1, 3, and 5 on both days. All right. Timing out, Johnny. Where did Cyrus land? I have legit 0 clue still. I don't think anybody went in replays and looked. All right. All right, I'll roll the giveaway, chat. One last second, you can type Booga. 3 times sub luck for all subs. If you guys want to become a sub. Game time, stop spamming. I'm running game 2 prediction right now. We'll do the same teams. I'll add Reed's team though. So five options, chat. Predict. Peter, Clicks, Booga, Acorn, and Reed. All right, giveaway winner is Chandler. Chandler with the win. All right, Chandler has won the first giveaway today. That is a sub as well. Let's go. I mean, I think that's almost every message, Pablo. Not even trolling. Legit every message. All right, I am running the ad for this game as well, though, chat. I am going to run an ad for this game so we don't have an ad during the game on Twitch. YouTube is YouTube. I don't even think YouTube gets ads ever. And I think the only people that watch on YouTube also have YouTube Premium. They don't get ads anyway.
Pollo in that game, kind of a similar situation. What I really liked about Pollo, Acorn, and Agers was at one point when we tuned in with them, they're sitting there tanking the backside of zone. Like Storm, they're tanking Storm in the backside of zone, right, to try and use that to gain advantage, which was kind of like an insane strategy.
Taking Storm is something that Acorn, Pollo, and Agers are used to, but usually it's a little bit earlier on in the game. Agers, though, there was a moment where I think that they were trying to see how height was going, and so that they stayed in the back.
All right, make sure you guys do predict
for Booga's team
what
to
is up
kind of
next.
get a little bit further away and not pay
W
attention
first
to them,
game.
but the opportunity to take height just wasn't there, and so I do appreciate the fact that they kind of forgoed that strategy and instead just stuck to the low ground. But by that point, you have Muzz's trio on low ground.
Yeah, I am live on
Trio
YouTube for this weekend.
On low ground. Like, there's only so much that you can do as far as the aggression
Reader
goes,
clicks?
especially when that low ground is already established.
I would predict clicks
so Vivid,
over
I don't know
read.
about you. I think when we saw them kind of tanking Storm at Zone 10, that they were looking to go for height.
Yeah, I definitely could, kind of see that being in fruition, especially some of the plays that we saw throughout the group stages. Some other teams kind of making plays like that would be no
I think
surprise
you're in
right
like
there. The only
fourth.
problem with those med
You're in
smoke
fourth.
grenades, though, is that it's very, very obvious when a team is using them, right? You see a giant green smoke and storm, you're like, I wonder what's happening over there. So you do kind of draw the attention of not only the high ground team, who of course is looking for something like that to defend it, but then also some of the low ground teams, which is when we saw them try to rotate in, right? They were just on the backside of the zone for the rest of the game, which is why we usually like to favor some of the teams that actually play for that front side of the movie zone, because it does give you the opportunity to kind of look.
I'm not
back.
gonna lie though,
And
Chad, bro. I might
that,
just like,
Kelly wants to talk about the trio that did such a good job
between
of doing
games,
that
bro.
in
I
this
might,
game.
I might not talk, bro. My voice.
Yeah, it's so funny. We were just watching the game. You could hear Vivid in the background be like, Kelly, look, and there they are in the front side of zone. In fact, actually, they were taking Storm, but in the front side of zone, and that's something Iamza likes to do, and Higgs as well, that they'll kind of go out into Storm in the front side of zone, lay down all of these builds so that everyone else that's kind of encroaching onto their territory has to play by their rules. They've already set up the front of zone for them, so they can kind of just make all these like quick edits around them while everyone else is playing in their area.
Yeah,
I can whisper you to Chandler.
Tune into this trio right here. See,
I do the code stuff on Mondays, though.
Zone with 0 eliminations. We were kind of flipping through some of the teams throughout that game, right? We saw like Kanada's trio was very, very high up on the threshold, even though, but they had eliminations, whereas this trio seemingly had none
YouTube
going
chat
into
doesn't
the
talk
7th
that
zone.
much,
But that's
Blizzard.
no surprise, right? Because we take a look at their drop spot situation. They're pretty much surrounded by
you're in
like 4
YouTube,
or 5 contested drop
say
spots.
Say hello, though.
It'd be very, very easy and opportunistic.
Say hello. Drop a like if you're on YouTube. Tell me who you think's gonna win.
Make sure that they stay ahead of the Storm surge threshold.
If you're watching on YouTube,
games,
tell me who you think's
this
gonna win
weekend. But
in
yeah,
a Grands
such
this
a good
season.
job by this trio to go ahead and use their med miss,
know.
tank the zone, go ahead and find themselves a favorable position.
You know
Just
who you
look
think will
back
win?
on all the trios trying to rotate towards them, some free shots, some free eliminations. Good game from them.
I just love the different strategies coming out of these trios, right? Especially
Chad, imagine
in a
Booga wins
finals lobby
Grands.
where pressure's on, the lobby is that much harder, and we still have trios just sending these strategies. I love it. We got to see a little bit of Kanata, Bolt, and Sphinx in that
Booga
last
just
lobby
won, Jay
as
Lowy.
Well, I know, Vivid. Take it away.
It looked
Nah,
so
that wouldn't
good,
work,
right? Like,
Strauss.
I was
They would get
tuned into
destroyed.
them, and they're like just in the storm, fighting third party in this. They had so many eliminations. Look
Bridge
at this,
is
right?
where
They're
his
going
two
into the end
teammates
game with
land,
7 eliminations,
Strauss.
all of which they got in the rotate. And then I was like, huh. They've got less mats than they do eliminations. That's probably not a good thing when we get to the end game. But of course, Kanata coming up with those strategies, finding the fight.
Have they shown the leaderboard yet?
Kept his trio well above the threshold.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah,
They probably
I kinda
showed it
gotta bring this
immediately.
up, Kelly. Over on EU, 6 of 6, right? North zones, and I couldn't help but notice the first game over here on NA, going against Kanada's trio here, also going all the way up to the north.
Whoa. First of all, we all know that Zeke's the one that controls the zones, okay? So don't be putting that
okay.
on me. Zeke, what do you have to say for yourself?
I plead the fifth. Is what I have to say for myself. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where the zone went. I wasn't paying attention. Probably should go check that code. I like to make mistakes with the code. Man, game number 1 of finals does not disappoint. What did you guys see out of game 1 that you felt like, man, we maybe are hoping to see more of, maybe less of?
Guess
what
I
do you
should
think?
I saw Reet eliminate Peterbot, and I want to see more of that.
Yeah,
What
we
the?
tuned in, right, to Ray, and he was popping off.
Kelly
in the
Ling,
game, and I was like,
Kelly
Kelly's
Ling
on
wants
the screen,
Peter
and
to
she was
keep
like,
dying.
"Wait!"
What the flip?
Very, very good stuff there, right? See them kind of popping off. Polar's trio, though, right? One of those trios that we were kind of talking about had an incredible performance in the group stages. Also managed to pick up a couple of highlights and did pretty well in that game. Go ahead and see where they are on leaderboard. They are in 4th place right now, right? They were the team that got 3rd with 6 eliminations.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this trio. This trio, out of the 3 of them, only has 1 FNCS appearance, and that's from Decay there.
Shit.
So definitely a newer trio. They
Bro,
were able to get a
Chad,
victory
chill,
royale on the
bro.
group stages. So obviously they have a lot of potential. and once again, I'm going to say it. I really
Peter's
hope that
not
they
winning.
stick
I mean,
together
it's
for Major
likely.
3. I love to see kind of
Or
the evolution
possible.
of these
I
trios,
wouldn't say
especially
that.
when synergy develops from major to major. I think that this trio has a lot of potential.
You talk
Is
about
it not
trials of
game
potential.
2 time yet?
Noisy, Creon, Tony, right now, 3rd place, 6th. They ended 6th in that game with 11 eliminations. We are going crazy in these finals, and I know what you want to see. You want to see more Fortnite action. It's okay. We'll talk more after this game, but for now,
Who
let's
do I
kick
want
it
to
on over
win?
to game number 2.
Bryce.
Things are heating up quickly.
Bryce G Money
Monster,
knows
and
it
it's
are
gonna be
my
insane if the
picks
trend
here.
continues this way throughout all 12 games. Booga,
What
Threads,
stops people
Rapid
from
win
contesting the
game
best
number
trios?
1, and
One,
give
they would get
themselves
shit
a
on
little
every
bit of a
game.
cushion.
2,
Yeah, and I got to see
the
Dwarf
other good
himself
trios are
watching
on
his
comment.
son compete. The live reaction, he's so excited. But you know what? He's got the winner's mentality. He says, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is just the start. Let's see what happens now, though. As game
like look
number
at
two's
what
cooking up.
what's happening. Catman is probably about to get legit choke slammed every single game.
It's a major 2
Because
finals,
they think they
Jacob,
can
and it's
beat
really
a
starting
tier
to
1
feel
trio
like it
also.
right now as Booga, the icon, the man himself, really sets the stage here. And you know what? He took it by storm. But big names appearing up there, right? I don't think that game ended the way the critics may
I
have
think Cyrus
expected.
is landing up
Cooper
here.
and Curly showing up, and then Noisy,
Look,
Creon, and Tony
that's gotta be
coming up
Cyrus.
out of nowhere. What a way to kick that one off.
Yeah, even had Cynics, Polar,
Yeah,
and
that's
DK
Cyrus.
3rd
Oh,
place,
wait.
like Kelly said, with 6 eliminations. Just
Where
going to
are
show
these guys
it's
going?
not going to be as easy of a game or a tournament as anybody would think, especially early on.
They're going to
Muzz,
they're going
Yapko,
slurp truck, I bet.
Rise, seemingly like they were contested in game number 1. Things already switching up, and it starts here with those drop spots.
Oh wait, Muzz
I
is
don't
on
love this
con.
drop spot here. Muzz, Rise, and Jabco may have just
No, Bryce
earned
died.
their drop to themselves
Okay,
after
2v2, come
taking
on,
down
G
the
Monster
last team
Osid.
that decided to
G
contest
Monster
them
Osid,
here
please.
in the early game.
Show me the
And
G
as
Monster.
great as a game that Jabco, Muzz, and Rise had, they
No.
did end up unfortunately crossing paths.
G Money
the
dead off
hands of
spawn, rip.
Peterbot in
Xanda
that
beats
early,
them.
Kind of end game situation that was starting to play out. But jumping on
Rip,
over to
man.
Sandalit. Xanda and Evan here, seems like they end up winning their drop as well. Full on 50-50 down to Zipline. And yeah, Xanda's pretty excited about that. He's gonna hit us a little emote to go ahead and celebrate the pickup and the return of Evan here. Let's put him back in the game.
Kind of 1-1. 1-1 if we're keeping record between G Money, Osid, and
who's
I think
Bryce.
Seek Dash, Seek Dash and Veer just got insta wiped. 4 trios insta dead this game already.
Honestly, when it comes to tomorrow, if you're losing, let's just say like a 5-0, 40-0, something like that, it starts to put those doubts in your mind. Do I switch drop spots? Do I go away from something I practice? And this is one of those volatile spots in general. You can see it's just a straight 50-50 for that spot. Dive straight down in. First to pick up the loot. Good luck to you.
Yeah, and that is true though. You know, 1-1 now, it does make you wonder, and it kind of just brings me back to Noah Plays, right? In his group stage, he took full advantage of, you know, putting his ego aside and then playing the best strategy that he believed was going to, you know, help him and his team succeed. Getting on into here and talk about Noah, I'm actually curious if things are still going contested at the Magic Mosses, but here's our game 1 winners, Booga, Threats, and Rapid, their early game strategy. We all get to get little visuals here on, you know, again, what makes them succeed. It's that full drop spot to themselves, right?
Nah, it'll
There's
probably
nothing
still
like
be
having
stacked a lot,
a
Dante.
named POI to yourself, and then one that, of course, has so much potential in teams kind of in the vicinity that have to rotate through. But we have the Big Aviv.
Big Cheese, Skittles, and Chimp. Hey, I feel like, what was it, Chapter 4 maybe, when it was Chimp and Spade and duos. They were one of those duos that were so consistent the entire year, flying under the radar. And this is one of those teams. In terms of consistency, they have their moments, but when you look at the Div finals, they're always there. If you look at the groups, they performed. When you look at the finals of majors, they're there. And this is one of those teams to where when they're hot monster, they're probably one of the top 5 teams. You can see them qualifying for the global championship. But when they're not, and they have those inconsistencies, it not only sets down our minds as the casters and the analysts, but it starts to set doubts into their minds as well.
Yeah, they did.
So
Game
let's see
time.
if they can, continue.
They did indeed.
One doesn't necessarily have to be first place, but if they can continue to build that confidence, they're going to be somebody I'm looking at to be a threat for day 2.
Yeah,
they're undoubtedly a top 10 team, right? Depending just on how things go for them. Kinch Analytics ran that, 10,000 game simulation, and they were one of the few teams up clearly towards the top that have a true percentage chance to go ahead and, outperform, right, your average trio kind of in this lobby, which I find to be extremely interesting because they are vets, right, and they deserve that level of respect. Talking about respect, you have, of course, Ree and his trio, and then you have Peterbot kind of going into a little bit of a toe-to-toe here against a Minish right now. He's at a slight disadvantage having a low ground, but this is just baiting out a Minish, right? He's just asking him to peek. Meanwhile, Cold kind of playing side angles, looking for his own fishing for tags.
Yeah, and you can see not necessarily focused on having that mobility. They have the full POI, like you're saying. They know exactly where that's going to be sitting at, but a sneak attack on the other side from Donnie, Joji. They catch Silic off guard, and even with the knock, they're just kind of making sure they get max damage with that pump. They're going to go ahead and get a couple shots, use the water sprite, heal them up. And these are the kind of tricks that when you talk about saving it until a big moment like finals, this is it right here. That's not going to be like a ton of extra damage, like 500-600, but those could be the difference makers between being above and below Surge during one of the hardest parts of the game.
And that's the most important thing, getting those critical moments that are going to separate you from the pack. Very few and in between opportunities like that will come across it, but hey, we love ourselves a good ambush, especially when it's caught on broadcast. But look at this right here. We didn't really get to see too much of Polis in game 1. It seems like now he's looking to turn the script around as they have 4 eliminations. Let's see how this ends up playing out. Oh, Jaxie, just quick on the draw there.
Yeah, I think Chronic was literally signing anybody that would sign this for this weekend.
Seemed a little overzealous by himself on the other edge of that mountain. And depending on if they were kind of risky enough to get the reboot card early, it just kind of looks like they're hunkered down, gonna wait over there at the edge of the mountain on that reboot card and said, Napzire, hey, if you guys want to get your trio back into the game, you're gonna have to go through us to do it. Otherwise, you guys can sit on the mountain for as long as you want. And you're kind of seeing a lot of that proactivity.
No, they were uncon this game. Rise was uncon.
Kanata and Bolts moving up.
I don't know where Catman went. I think they went
from their current drop spot here.
Somewhere above flooded, I think.
Edge of the map, just trying to push down towards the south to try to get their surge. These are the kind of situations you end up. It's not always a surge base.
Still, what a game for Sphinx, Kanata, and Bolts. Picking up all those early game eliminations, set them up in the conversation for a near top 10 overall performance. If they would have just gotten a small bit of placement points, they'd easily be up in the top 5. But
I wonder how much Chronic's paying all these people.
They won't be making that same mistake, and
why are they paying all these people?
Cut out for them. They're going to end up opening the shots here first. I'm curious. Do you think the confidence coming out of
There's
game
no way all these
now
people
is
are
going to
signing
set them
for
up
free,
to want to fight these teams a little bit more aggressively? Maybe look to initiate the full fight and finish.
They literally have like some good players signed
I
too.
do think it plays a huge role in terms of at least approaching the opportunity, because they're not going to put themselves in a bad situation. So if they don't get the green light to push, they're not going to push. But yes, I do think they're going to get more and more confident after that game number 1 to take space, to take the mountains, you know, the better surge spots that you see going down around the map. As we jump on board Clicks, Higgs, and Yamzo, not straying away from the strategy that they really developed through the last Divisional Cup. As Napzire, Cyrus, they were able to get the reboot back. They challenged on the other side, but they run into a whole nother team.
Dude,
That's
Creon is
Creon
dripped.
and they're trying to approach this fight from multiple directions. Damage still going in. Zyre just dropped down to just a sliver of HP, but he's trying
these
to
are the new. This is the new Peter bot.
But the pressure is just too much. Two more.
Like, this is
players able to
literally the
continue to
Mexican
push him
Peter bot
down
trio.
and take all that space away. Creon being relentless here for this situation, trying to approach different angles to close out the flexibility that they might feel they have on the other side.
Crazy to see that they haven't taken any damage. By
Oh my God!
Up until this moment,
Somebody help Tony, please.
Speak about it, Tony punished.
GG's.
Noisy as well, but the shots fired.
All right, it's gonna be 3 kills for Tony.
Pros do very, very well, is they won't give up just because they get a little exchange going. Meanwhile,
GG's, 3 kills for Tony and them.
Seals the deal here onto Cyrus's trio. Now, do keep in mind, this is coming off the back of a reboot, right? So Cyrus's team has had a very difficult game too, and even after jumping back in and almost having an opportunity after getting pushed out by Jackson Polis's team there, they still end up getting taken down, this time to the hands of Tony, whom, by the way, now officially put themselves up in the race for a top 3.
Yeah, even though you can't necessarily win the tournament today, it is going to be 12 games separated between day 1 and day 2. You want to go ahead and put yourself as close to the top of the leaderboard as possible, so that way you're not fighting against a huge point deficit as the tournament does continue. See Agers just trying to consolidate a lot of the loot on top of the mountain. Going right back down. You see that he has double mobility in his inventory instead of a shotgun. The reason why is because when he does kind of loot up far away, he needed to be able to close that distance faster to make it back into his teammates. And obviously giving them options. But the zone continued to pull further and further towards the north. They're going to have to get out of that tower and start to rotate in before all the other teams beat him to the punch.
Oh, Pollo's getting an angle on Bucky.
This team's starting to encourage ever so closely there as Cam and Bucky is kind of lurking about in the shadows.
Oh, they found Pollo.
Talk about the trio. We get to see it from their perspective. Little lit up here, but not completely out the fight just yet. Waiting for opportunity to kind of open up and avail itself. Pollo still watching from the tree next door.
This is kind of the result. The other edge of you seeing, you know, threats and Rapid and their surge towers outside of Seaport. And this is exactly the opportunities that they're looking for. A team like Bucky, Cam, and Okus rotating on the low ground with a far pooled zone. And as soon as they peek out of these boxes, they're going to continue to fire down. And then you mentioned yourself, Pollo, Aegis, and Acorn, who just did the exact same thing. Pollo just got there. That tower did not spawn there itself. He immediately invested the materials, trying to take advantage of everybody that still needs to rotate on this side of the zone overall.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to hold him out for quite some time. We'll see how that ends up playing
Another
out.
North Zone.
Sure,
Everybody buckle up, man.
They have the game awareness. They know more.
It's going to be a long
what
weekend.
team this is, right? And who they're picking a fight with right now. But Aoxy, Pikes, and Jojo Fishy, once again, we get to tune in with them. They're deep in the storm right now. I wonder what their situation is like. They're moving towards the Outlaw Oasis, looking to kind of wrap around the map right now.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was probably trying to hit that geyser and get up over the mountain, maybe throw the Medmis smoke right before they take off. And this is just going to allow them to obviously save their kneecapper strength and then be able to kind of close the distance as fast as possible, because it does get you a little bit higher than a launch pad as well. But now we go on over to the north side of the map overall, just above Magic Moss's POY, Ishao, Taki, and Vert. I said they're one of those teams when, especially when these north zones, they stay on this side of the map. They slowly but surely float around. They get their surge.
Probably.
And they kind of play a careful game overall. You see Vert just getting a little bit too close to enemy territory for his liking. He's just going to regroup with his teammates here.
Got to stay active right now. This game may have picked up the pace a lot faster than game number 1. However, we all know things are going to start to get real congested here soon. We start approaching the mid.
This is going to be another Magic game too.
Taki,
like literally the same zone.
What looks to be a couple different angles at play here. Vert's on the low ground, taking all the risk of kind of securing what he could here for the meantime. Jumping in with Curve, Tyler, and Shadow right now. Underneath the base of Visual, Braids, and Diminished.
Just a quick little chop, trying to get them to shoot back. Expose themselves any way that they can. And you can see they have like a ton of ammo they can fire off, be in this position for as long as they want. But as the zone continues to rotate in this direction, you're going to soon find out how congested it actually is. And you're seeing like Shadows just in... Yeah, exactly. And Shadow's kind of doing the same thing in the bush on the other side by himself.
I like the thought process behind it. They're like, hey, yeah, we could chop him and force him to overbuild. Let's see if we can, you know, just kind of fish him out. Hey, come down, fix that.
I like the spot that Braids is in here.
Balls to spray for a second there. You got to respect the attempt. Meanwhile, Cynics Decay Polar, just a little update here, playing for the Islands, trying to get a hold of that medallion here. That, of course, the boss will end up spawning in.
225 above the damage threshold. Because of that, they're able to kind of take some time away from making it a focal point. Try to approach the boss at the top. It does drop a Chug Jug, so that's going to be helpful. And then the medallion that you see some teams take, some teams do leave it behind. And since the zone is pulling all the way from the
no way
eastern side of the
Cynics
map
got
to the west now,
third place or second place last game.
Bit of opportunities here for Surge, but it depends on how proactive the other teams were at in order to
and immediately
yeah, it doesn't look like there's anyone nearby.
Gets Island.
I have a pretty decent
but they got third.
Surely,
sorry.
Unfortunately, Decay taking that
third place, and now they're getting Island.
Really setting them back.
Yeah, it's really
they're actually going to win
a lot of that Surge. He's facing the front side of the zone.
Oh,
gonna see how
Ritual's kind of weak.
Have they been able to accumulate enough? As we got another North zone here in this game, back to back here on the day so far. And you're seeing some teams faring very, very well for that Storm Surge early on. 365 above for Boken, 20, and Liam. Just waiting on the edge, seeing where the next zone appears in the next couple of seconds. And if it does pull far, I want to see them rotate quick. Be one of the first teams at the end. Brutal Boxcars is now at the edge of that next zone. So if you position yourself on the south side, you're going to be battling against that mountain range at the other edge. So you got to be very, very careful. And you got to keep it in the back of your head, Monster, because the zone does continue to pull that way for the rest of the game. It is going to be a roller coaster of emotions for a lot of these trios.
Yeah, and they're recognizing they got to make a quick move here. They don't want to be caught between the teams setting up early and, of course, the one that they were fighting on the edge of zone. Even opting to go ahead and leave the water sprite behind. So they're just like, hey, you know what? There's things out of charges. We can't even stay here to get full health. Like, we just got to go. Really showing you how important it is to get positioning on the map. Look at this. It's not all.
Oh my God. Wait, Fallen's only a duo.
They are in a struggle to maintain consistency.
They're 240 below, and they're only a duo.
Below the damage circ and crew, kind of seeing what's happening here. I was gonna say they'd be wrong to not take advantage of a team right now who's sitting on those splashes, and in they go. Definitely have kind of read the
not sure MC
correctly, if you will.
GG's. Well, they got put out of their misery.
They were attempting to get Surge, but with a lot of teams having already rotated out of this position, they weren't able to find enough, put them below the threshold. And they kind of had to push the first team that they saw and know exactly how that
was that true? That's Nerface, Bacon, and Vorteca.
Ritual not as aggressive as they typically
That's the
are.
Whiffy team.
A little bit of a different change here. They're focusing on just mainly getting that Surge, because if you look back to Major 1, some of the games where they did the poorest in terms of getting the points, which made it that narrow of a loss for them getting second place, it was because they were down on Surge. They were forced to fights they didn't necessarily want to take, and it put them in a bad spot.
I mean, I'm not.
They're just trying to take more control over their destiny. I don't. Peterbot emerging as the IGL for this team, and so far it's working out for them here in game 1 and 2.
I have mixed feelings on Peterbot so far.
Right? They've been kind of trailing these trios here inside the storm right now, not looking to overcommit, but instead, of course, play to their advantage right now for damage. Mafia Haze and enough, though, find themselves below the Surge and dead center zone, so it's great, but it's bad at the same time. They're gonna have to be forced to take this fight. It's up against, again, a team we've been keeping a lot of attention.
Clutch just got a kill. Cole just got a kill. Cam dead to Cold.
And now the Surge is
it looked like they were not
Jacob,
near
so
anybody,
no time
though.
to waste here for this trio.
Yeah, and it does seem they're just trying to jump back. Craze, aka Prom, entered the mix on the other side. That's a whole different team. And Hayes, while he's healing up, he's trusting his teammates to try to get that damage.
I know it's still early for Peter, but like,
smoke is a must at
they
this
just seem
time.
kind of behind.
They continue to fire shots across. That's Donnie and Joji that now enter in the mix, but Storm Surge active every 7 seconds, 25 damage.
These zone pulls are pretty northern
further
though.
And further below, from 122 to 129, now to 149 damage below the threshold. For now, they're hoping that they have enough.
Polio just got to kill. Rise just got to kill.
Even if they do, I don't agree with that plan.
I think this might be some more freebies for Craze here.
Where they kind of went for it. They recognize, wait a second, this team's kind of nasty.
Oh, they're running at Craze. They're gifting. Merry Christmas, guys.
They're running out of moments.
Wait.
They're running out of time here now. As they're only 60.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, guys.
A little bit of damage, enough falls down, and
GG's.
that's gonna be a huge 100 attack. But Hayes, unfortunately, will.
Rapid just killed Kanata.
Again. And then things
Rapid kills Kanata. Bucky dead in the feed to Peter.
All that, and in the process, he's lost a
Kanata's knocked though.
Here.
Wait, they're nowhere near.
It's almost like a heartbreaking situation.
Where is Kanata even at?
Sacrificed themselves trying to get damage.
I don't even know where Kanata is.
Moment, 39 above, and instantly
they got the kill though.
100 below. 6 zone here, Monster. This needs to go down to about 54 players before Storm Surge deactivates. And now we're in the 7th zone. It needs to go down to 42 players. That is insane.
Yeah, it's very clear that there
Dang.
are a lot of players.
Only
alive
Sphinx
right
and Bolts this
here,
game.
but look at what's happening now.
Rise and Yapko dead.
No Kanata
Ritual got one of those
on this
kills.
trio
Higgs
right
got
now,
one of
so
those
Bolts and
kills.
Sphinx clearly have had a much different kind of turn of events here.
Yeah, Muzz's whole entire trio's
Let's not
dead.
forget,
Rip, bro.
They struggled to earn placement points last time.
That is
It's
a
gonna be
rough
even
game,
harder
too.
to do so now with a man down, but hey, at least Kanata gets to sit back and beat.
Oh
kind of
my
the coach of the
God,
year for
Cam
the
got
trio.
beamed.
Meanwhile, Cam finally gets traded off here. Peterbot's had enough of kind of tailing behind Team Bucky. They end up full collapsing here now. And that's how they find the full team wipe. And now kind of poised up to rotate to the new zone.
I mean, this is literally last game over again.
Yeah, similar
The zone
rotation,
is,
but you see
if
200
this
below,
pulls back
Sphinx is down.
to right
It does
there,
look
this
like he
is
gonna try to
literally
get
the
a
same
revive.
half
He
and
has
half.
about the
Almost.
timer at the bottom right.
Like
48
almost
seconds
identical
before
half and half.
Storm Surge activates and they start to take damage. So it's a now or never opportunity for them. But you're seeing just moments ago, they were even further below that threshold before Bolts was able to find that key elimination.
A minute's
And
just
with
set
the
up
zone
good.
moving, it's
Acorn
gonna
is
get
set up
exponentially harder
pretty
for
nice.
Bolts and Sphinx
Oh, and
to find the
Acorn's gonna
damage
kill
that they need.
Locust. Oh my God, go get the drum gun,
Kinda looked like
please.
a repeat of the last game.
Please
Another
go get the
Magic
drum gun.
Mosses-esque zone
Oh my
finish
God,
right
Threats is
now.
getting
Aegis
drum
for
gun.
you and Acorn, another high
Wait, they
ground
see
play
drum.
coming out of zone
You gotta get
seven.
drum.
This
No,
time a
Threats
lot
got it.
different. Aegis actually
Threats
gets
has
the refresh,
drum
but no,
gun.
couldn't jump down, as there was a player already
Threats
there.
got drum.
Threats might have been the one to go ahead and pick up the loot there.
That's
But at
another
least they're
kill for
finding their
Acorn, though.
elims right now. They're trying to get situated. These elims picking up themselves.
So
HP-wise,
Booga wins game 1,
start
game
getting
2
the
they have
siphon
drum
granted to
gun
them,
for
but
in game.
you saw there, no
Uh-oh.
minis, no big shields. Very desperate situation overall, even for a team.
Booga
on
is
right
looking
now.
very
Threats,
good right
Rapid,
now.
Booga
Wait, Peter.
have the zone to themselves now. They'll be
Peter's
one of the first to make
playing.
this rotate.
He's playing
Ritual,
height.
Peterbot and Cold have gone for it though, sizing up high ground as well.
Peter
This
is
is
gonna
starting to
play
get
hide
exciting.
early.
Yeah, and they're on the front side of the zone as well. Acorn, Pollo, Agers, they have a sense of being able to take the high ground. It's all about who plays this one right, as it does open up. Storm Surge activating on some of these teams that are down below. It's not enough being in the chaos. That is the low ground, just having to fight with Storm Surge, dealing damage as Pollo finds an opportunity, gets the knock onto 20. Whether they're down or Surge or not, that's one less teammate that you have to rely on. And they drop down for the loot overall. Broken 20, both of them go down. That full trio is out. It's a sacrifice for Pollo, Acorn, Agers, giving up the high ground to try to refresh their materials.
Yeah, this is a tough spot
Dang,
to be
Pollo
in,
and
right?
them
Like,
do
you
not
gotta
have
make the
that many
rotate,
mats.
Don't have the mats to hold the height, but then you're like, where's that body? Like we
Peter
just got
is
that
playing
Elam.
it.
Where is
I
the
mean, this
loot?
should be
And it
this
looks like
should
they're
be
not
free
gonna
for
be able to
Peter.
actually secure it here
Magic
now, and
Mosses, a lot of
course,
trees.
Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold, no better than
Booga
Booga
literally held it. Oh, Pollo dead.
The landscape, and now they have all eyes. on
They're
the
gonna try to
entire field.
res.
Pollo, he's gonna fall there to the hands of Sandali.
They might be able to get him in.
Peterbot is just starting to get cooking here. This is looking like
I
it's
think
gonna be
Pollo
a
might get in.
pretty big game
Oh, no,
for
Pollo's
this
a
team
goner.
up top, but Hold up, Ager is still
Rip.
down low,
Toyo
getting
dead.
active right now.
It's up to Agers and Acorn.
Crevice, the small side of the zone,
Ager's
but they get
dead.
three-pieced on, taken down. That's Eshao.
Acorn
Now
dead.
it's Acorn stuck behind. He gets
15.
taken down as well.
That is not good.
Wait,
Wait.
Major one champions.
Oh my
out of
God,
the game
visuals
early
versus
here for
Peter.
Game number 2. Not even half of the placement points have been garnered throughout that run as threats Rapid Booga. Those are game 1 victory royale winners, and they're poised
Oh my
right now
God.
to have a great position, but the battle for high ground breaks out. A minute visuals break.
Wait,
They're ready
Peter
to
only
take
has
the challenge.
14
Peter
builds.
Cold Ritual. They do a good job of defending once, but how long can they defend this with
Cold
only 14
cracked.
builds left, especially with a big shot being fired?
Look at how many
Visuals breaks
mats a Minish
They do not
has.
use that as a chance to try to go and break into the get the elimination.
This is
They're
a
just
Minish's
gonna back
height.
down. They have enough materials. If
They
play
have
this one
great
perfect,
mats.
They could retake high ground in a few moments.
One of those situations where high ground kind of puffs out their chest and you're not sure if you can call the bluff or not.
Peter only
High
has
ground does
13
not have
builds.
the mats, but they don't have
And
that
Ritual is
information.
already
They don't
building in
know.
wood in front.
So they make the safety call to go
I
down.
think they're
Meanwhile,
out.
Clicks, Higgs, and Yamto have not left the low ground. They have been battling their way through the front side this entire time, and they're trying to find
They're building in
themselves
wood. They're
another
out.
big
They're
refresh
out.
here as
They have
well.
to be out.
And you can
They're
just
about
see
to be
such a
0-0
different
mats.
strategy
They
at
have
play
to be.
here from the two teams on your screen.
Yeah, one of them's just taking all the space on the low ground.
It kind of pulls back though.
The storm. And as soon as they get
Clicks is
there,
still
they know
alive
that
on
the fight
low,
is around
2
any one of
kills.
these corners, and they prepare for it. Clicks finally figured out a way to catch up above. They have not looked down at that opportunity.
Clicks
Just
kills
pressuring
Reed.
everybody on the front side of the zone. At the bare minimum, they're just trying to drop them into each other's hands. And now we're going open over land right now. There's a bridge, and there's a whole crevice underneath teams are trying to dive into.
Clicks just took down Rito, and he finds himself still.
Oh,
somehow
Clicks and he- wait,
below
they're
the surge,
ticking?
And it actually turns on.
They just took a tick? That actually might be a huge tick.
This is incredible stuff. At least it turns off for a second, but it already
Rapid
did its
dead to
work.
Clicks.
It did its damage. Take a look at what happened.
Peter
on top,
Bot got
though.
a
Peter Bot
kill.
tries to get
Peter's
active.
dead.
He had to because he didn't have the mats, and he's found himself down to the hands of threats, but the payback is
Ritual
good.
and Cold got to do it as a duo. It's possible
Once
though.
again, running it up here, finding themselves in this
It is
endgame,
possible.
earning their trio more and more points.
Iamzo, Clicks, and Higgs dead 8th place.
It's not necessarily be about the star players on the team. Sometimes it's
A
about
Minish
the
is still
support,
alive.
and Ritual is doing his job
Curly and
right. He
Cooper
has
still
Cole
alive
by
as
his
a
side.
duo.
Cooper down below. A little bit of chaos trying to force
Could-
break out
this
of the
could
wall,
very
taking
well
some
be a
damage,
win
but it's worth the
for
sacrifice,
Cold
but
and
now it's just
Ritual.
cut off. Curb on the
Oh
other
my
side
God.
tries to break his way in, and
Curve
the
dead.
teamwork makes the dream work. Curve
Big siphon
out
for
of
Curly.
nowhere gets the elimination onto Curve, keeping them moving at this side of the zone. This is where
Ritual
they have
just
space.
got
This is
another
where it's gonna
kill.
open up.
Top 6. I don't think any trios are alive. Oh no, a Minish. Oh no, a Minish died. No trios. No trios. Wait, this is so winnable. There's 0 trios.
Are continuing to make chaos unfold here on the field. Colt jumps down to get these very
Ritual with a
important
big
mats
kill,
here. Ritual finds another
2v2v1.
one as well. What is
It's
going
Visuals
on?
and Braids.
Normally, the
Wait,
conversation is
2v2.
so different,
Visuals
but
and
Ritual
Braids
is in peak
versus
form
Ritual and
here.
Cold
On
for the
low ground,
win.
It's a 2v2 now. Who would have thought we'd be casting some duos?
Visuals and Braids.
Visuals and Braids, a
Ritual
long
Cold.
time duo. Now here, ready to
It's a
try to take
preview
game
of next
number one,
year.
but they're going against Cold. They're going against Ritual. 2 different
Duo
mythic
FNCS
weapons
for the
in
win.
inventory of Cold. The only blessing that they do have.
And
from
Cold's
down
got
below is
drum
the
and
lack
mythic
of
pump.
resources. When he drops down to the backside of the zone, Cold lands a good shot, opening up that opportunity. Ritual just trying to keep pace up above.
Visuals dead.
There goes Visuals.
Braids
He's
dead.
down.
Cold
There
and
goes
Ritual get it
Braids
done as a
well.
duo.
Cold and Ritual
13
pull
kill
off the
win.
clutch.
GG's. Ritual and Cold get it done as a duo. And they're in first after 2, just like that, chat. After 2 games, Ritual, Cold, Peter in first on 181. Reed, Cooper, Curly in second on 170. Rapid, Booga, Threats in third on 153. Visuals, Braids, and Diminished are in fourth on 134 after that. And then Noisy, Creon, Tony in fifth on 123. Flicks in sixth, Tacky 7th, Cynics 8th, Agers 9th, and Joji 10th. All right. Peter is in first after 2. Reed's in second. Reed is playing great. Third and second with 10 and 7 kills. Reed's actually playing great. And look at Ritual, man. Ritual stabilizing, getting the victory royale. That's W Rich, man. All right, W. Yeah, Ritual is not selling, bro. Ritual is locked in right now. That's a Peter prediction win. Ritual is actually locked in. That's what we like to see. Peter died first last game too, right? That actually might be the scariest thing. Yeah, Peter probably died. He might have died in zone. Peter is playing the worst right now, and they're winning. Getting a little spooky. Reed's playing great though, man. I had a feeling Reed's team was actually going to be really good, but at the same time, Reed has gone to two zones. Oh, okay, Rajon. All right, Chad. I'm running back the same prediction for game 3, chat. Same 5 teams. They're all playing well. They're all playing well. Ager's team, I mean, this is not the 2 games you'd think they would be starting with. A 15th and an 8th. Not the best start. Muzz's team, not the best start either. That was 2 very rough games for Muzz's team. Aviv's team, I had a feeling. Aviv's team not doing too hot. Bucky's team is holy. Bucky's team is not doing too hot. 3 teams still on 0-point challenge. After 2. It's all right, though. There's still a lot of Fortnite left. Yeah, Kanata is, I mean, to be fair to Kanata, I mean, they are like literally the furthest team from this zone. Them are O-zone. These are not very great zones for Kanata. Like Kanata has, like, even for Acorn, it's like bad, but I mean it's terrible for both of them. Like they have to rotate through all of these teams or dead side around. It's hard. It's definitely hard. I mean, I don't know if we're ever even gonna get a south zone. EU had no south zones. Like, chat, are we just? Does the south side of the map just not exist anymore? Not sure, man. GG's. Make sure to predict, chat. 3 minutes left. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, drop a follow on Twitch if you're new. All right. I mean, Agers and them need a bounce back here. They need to like win. I'm not gonna lie. They need to win bad. Something for vibes. Their vibes probably might be a bit low too after this. Next game, physics. The V-Buck giveaways are games 1, 3, and 5. Yeah, the weight is definitely not the best, Tyler, but it's all right. Yeah, we kind of are potentially also in Peterbot like pulling away territory too. I mean, it is only an 11-point game, but like, I mean, it's a 30-point lead on third already. It might start from this might be the end, but we'll see. Peter just won Nepal. 14 kill win. Ritual and Cold duo clutch for the win. No, not this chat, Kasim. I make sure that BS doesn't happen. All right, I am running the ad for this game, though, chat. If you guys want to support the stream, you can Prime sub or Tier 1 sub. If you guys enjoy the viewing party experience. I would have also clutched that? No, you wouldn't have. Because if I was in the game on low ground, I'm triple editing, 90ing up on you, shitting all over you, and you're dead. Not in my lobby, buddy.
Minus the Peter bot.
Oh yeah, Grand's map is exclamation mark map. So right now the map, I think I don't think anything has changed. I don't know what Cyrus is doing still. I think they're honestly landing somewhere mid-map. And then Amplify, I honestly don't know. I think Amplify went somewhere up here. I think they went here this game. All of the top 8 is north. I mean, well, they're getting some good zones. All right, chat. I am gonna get some water before this game though, and I need to turn my AC back on. I'll be right back.
Able to take down Peterbot. That might have been the right momentum that they needed to go for the victory royale, but there was just so much chaos going on that inevitably they would go down eventually.
Yeah, and tune in after that game, right? Going down in 10th place. Even after winning game number 1, still going to be finding themselves in 3rd place right there. Just a little bit behind the 2 trios above them. And I'm not going to lie, one of the highlights today, I feel like, for the EU competition, right, was when Thomas HD kind of got his hands on that drum gun right there. And I feel like Threats is obviously like the aimer of the NA region, whereas Thomas HD is kind of like the aimer on the EU region. So to see him with that drum gun, that can be a very, very scary thing. But of course, what's also scary is the trio of Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot picking up some momentum, jumping up 4 places with that win. They've now got the lead.
Ooh.
That's scary. That's scary. This is just game 2, right? We do have 10 more in total, right? But picking up momentum in game number 2, that usually means 900-point games. I'm just saying. Let's not do that. I did want to highlight here in 2nd place, Reek, Curly, and Cooper. We've had 2 super solid games, Kelly. Game 1, 2nd place, 7 eliminations. Now a 3rd place with 10 elims. They are really targeting that consistency factor, and they are doing it really well.
That is King Peace to you. You can't just call him Reet. You gotta at least call him King Reet, although maybe right now watching him go down, that's a little less obvious. But Curly and Cooper having such a good run here on the low ground. And I love this shift. We see a lot of teams stay to the front of low zone, but they, realizing that they are a duo, a little bit of shambles when it comes to heals, stay to the backside. And that allows them to kind of let everyone else run to the front, grab some of these eliminations that we see Cooper get. And although it's probably not the game that they were hoping for, that was 10 eliminations, and they're currently sitting in 2nd place right now. We know that with the change of the meta, that elims are so much more important. And Reek, Cooper, and Curly have that potential to rival the eliminations that even Peterbot's trio can get.
Yeah, I tell you what, I just love watching Cooper play. I'm pretty sure he remembers this, but like one of the first times I actually tuned into one of the streams, he made like an incredible rotate, and I kind of like playing the shot. I was like, dude, that was a good call to kind of go around that little hill over there. I literally can picture it in my head, but once he gets to those end games, he's just so good at kind of maneuvering around whatever terrain that, you know, may be presented in front of him. So it was a great clutch out of Cooper right there, and it's good to see him kind of back in form. 2nd place right now after 2 games.
I also wanted to highlight, Visual Braids, Minish, once again, a similar situation, right? The first time I think we've seen a duo, like head-to-head to close out a game there, unfortunately. Obviously, Minish kind of being the one eliminated, but still, I just love to see when trios can, like, even being down a member, can still say, like, hey, look, we've got a plan. We're going to execute this well, and it's going to be enough to put more points on the board, because, ultimately, that's going to be the difference, right? Of us going to globals or not.
It is probably hotter in my room
clutches in the past, but for
than
me,
it is wherever you live.
That we've had with trios is
it is 88 degrees in my room.
Games play out when a player does go down, because having it just be a solo clutch for yourself is obviously a little rough. But having 2 players, you can effectively just control the game. We saw
have a fan
holding high ground as if they were a full trio. So I love
it's
that.
Blowing.
So much
it's blowing, bro.
Even when a big player like a Peter,
we have an AC, but it's
down,
like, dude, it's so
for the other players.
It like doesn't work properly like when it's hot.
Fortnite. Game 3 is ready for it. So
I feel like I live in London.
MBF,
over to you.
They say trouble comes in threes with game 3 around the corner. I mean, trouble has to be on the horizon for those sitting underneath the weight of the 150-point cutoff, right? That third place is holding right now.
Yeah, it's definitely beginning to kind of spread out.
No, I turned it off. That's why it's so
but
hot.
There's still 4 games left today. There's a lot of time to really.
No,
make
my
up that
PC is
point
not very hot.
differential. And here comes the third.
Oh, it
game.
actually
The
kinda
battle
is.
bus is ready. Let's get right into it.
It's probably not great for my PC, no?
This is it right here. You see an 11.
I just turned the air back on.
First over second place.
I probably should have
And then
turned
a
it on earlier. I could have.
23 or 17 or so point lead from there.
For some
And this is
reason,
where it
during
really
the
goes to
day,
show
like if it's hot out, like
consistency is
it like
king. Reed Cooper Curley
makes
a third
the
and a second
AC
place
freeze
with
up,
17
kinda.
eliminations. And when you
Okay.
start to look down that leaderboard,
I think we
in
just
terms
need
of
a new one,
consistency,
but-
I know it's only been 2 games. That's when you start
Surprised
to
you're not
spot a little
sweating?
bit of the hiccups.
Nah, it's 'cause I have a fan blowing on me, so I'm not that hot.
First, second, and third have
Like, it's
so many
hot, but I'm
eliminations
not-
So far. They really
it's
are
not bad.
starting to break away
I got a fan blowing
from
on
the
me.
competition when it comes down to showing what they are capable of when it comes to these end games here. But again, like you just kind of briefly mentioned, this is only the second round, right? Now that we're getting into game 3, we're kind of starting to get ourselves situated here. Everyone's got a feel for the landscape. We got a feel for the dynamic of the way the world's going to kind of, you know, come to shape. And let's also think about
I don't
how
know where
those
Bryce
games
is.
ended, right? They were very similar zones, so it makes sense that the same teams are.
Oh
still
my
up at
God,
the top,
please tell me
right?
they didn't go
Playing as
pump.
consistent as they have been. Let's see if we get a little bit of a different end game this time.
This time we're going to be able to see the Shining Span fight right
Oh,
out
I
of the
think
gates. Straight
Catman
up
is
on the
going
bridge,
RVs
trying to
again.
grab the floor loot and
Looks like
immediately
Donnie's
put it to
gonna win
use.
off
Donnie
spawn.
goes down,
2v1.
eliminated fully. Yusuf down on the other side, but they haven't been able to clean him up yet.
Oh my
Phenom
God,
doing a good
no.
job of holding him off and
Wait, they
aka
lose. They
Craze
lose
is gonna
the
be last
2v1.
one left for his team.
He can
down
play
below.
res.
And as soon as they do get this revive off, I do believe they're going to push.
Okay,
in
they're
and try to
both
get that
gonna
elimination.
wait. Craze can't res. He's
Yeah,
below.
we talked about how Shining Span isn't really a draw spot.
They
set up
make
to
it-
go the distance. It's either you put it all on the line or you don't.
I think they get the res off.
You know, Yusuf starting to make their way in.
Oh my
Finding
God,
that
they.
very prestige
Oh my God, they barely got it
meadow
off.
There. Prom somehow gets Joji up and slips away, gets a couple heals off. That could be the
Oh,
difference
Joji's
here.
dead
No,
again.
Joji goes into the water. That's gonna
Uh,
be dead fish there in a couple moments, but some counter fire coming here.
how is Joji alive?
That was perfect timing for those shots to come in. Almost felt like he was going to try to drop onto Joji, but Yusuf does on the other side. Probably here in the communication.
Wait, it's a
coming in for how
1v1.
weak he actually is. Pump and dump in his hand. A little bit of
Craze
a
is
bait. No
one,
one's gonna
Joji
fall
is
for it
one.
Just yet. As
Bro, he
Joji
should just jump
peeking
on
over
this
the
guy. They
top.
know he's so weak.
If you land here as long as they do, you gotta know how long the zip line actually takes, so you know when somebody jumps off it early. Phenom gets the elimination onto Craze up above the bridge, and now a 2v1 is going to be solidified here.
Oh, it's over. JJ's Craze dead
There it is.
again.
Joji just baited out, recognizes that there isn't much
No.
that he can do. And this fight comes to a close here.
They should have won that. It's a
Quickly,
2v1.
plenty
They
of
just
time
had to
go
like.
ahead and resituate themselves. Meanwhile,
They kind of sold that.
Plenty of other teams officially
Winnable
getting
2v1.
eliminated in the game
Very winnable.
as all of this is unfolding here. So
Oh my
game
God, he
3
died
off to a
around the
pretty hot
corner.
start.
He got
Yeah,
DC.
and there's another
But
team,
still.
literally, you can kind of see them coming in at the end of this fight.
Nah,
in the
this is
minimap,
Joji.
going after that armored vehicle, so they got to be careful for that reboot because they can easily try to push on over. As Noah plays, Chaos Gaming, Kazis. Starting off this game pretty well. 2 eliminations.
I think he had nothing, Nagi.
right out of the gate.
I think that was very
Almost
losable.
looking Like they're looking for
Yeah,
that
they got a
solo
pump
that
too.
might be left behind. I don't see him in the minimap just yet. I do see
I
an
still,
arrow
I
at the
don't think
bottom left, so he
we've
maybe
seen
found
anything
time
of
to
Rice.
disengage on out. So for Noah plays.
They didn't go.
Chaos
Oh, they
Gaming
went
and Kaz's, This is the
underneath.
start that they want.
They
This
must
could
have
be
went
like
back
a little
mountain.
refresh moment for them in this tournament.
Yeah, they went back
That's the
mountain.
first set of points right there. So hard fought and well earned after the first 2 games. They were eliminated pretty much off the gate there, not winning their contested draw spot. Here's a fight that has also been back and forth. I made the joke to Jacob, you know, who's counting? Well, we are. It's 1-1 right now as we're starting to tee up game 3. Much different, right? As both sides are kind of situated this time around as opposed to a full-on 50-50.
Yeah, it just seemed like Bryce, Osid, G-Money, they didn't want to take that 50-50 fight. They went on top of the mountain this time to grab their loot. Wazanda, Evan, and Sandman.
Not Catman, only Condry's game 1.
All day long.
They went RVs this
The
game.
difference start to really peek in as they're trying to make their way towards that back forest underneath Mass Meadows. And even though they don't get any eliminations, this is a certain win for Osid, G-Money, and Bryce. They got a good amount of surge for this early game.
Oh my
and now
God.
they have priority over that mountain.
Wait, they have Cam Trap. Oh no, Cam got out.
Little nod of appreciation to Bryce, G-Money, and Osid. Even though they were the first team eliminated in game 2, they're at 13th right now. So they did have a strong game 1. Just to kind of show you guys and
I thought they were
emphasize
the
how
other
good of a
direction.
trio they could be if they could break loose. Aegis Boyo and Acorn have almost done the same, but they've struggled, it seems like, to kind of break out of that cursed 7 zone. 7 zone seems to be the bane of this trio so far. If they can get past the mid game with a little more material, they are likely to set themselves up for a victory royale.
It looks like we might get like a brutal zone this game.
Leading into the second
Maybe
major, but
maybe Foxy.
here, Jacob, we have a little fight breaking out. Once
This
again
zone
here
looks
for
like
Curve,
it's
Shadow, and
gonna
Tyler.
pull south at least.
Yeah, they don't just want the uncontested Demons Dojo. They want uncontested
anybody important dead?
surrounding
No.
areas as well. So as
None
soon
of the
as they
top
see
teams
that team floating around trying to get
or
a little bit
anything.
of loot, they immediately try to pounce on. Now that they got their surge, they're just going to go and continue their way back on over towards Demon Dojo, especially since the zone might be a little bit too early to tell, Monster, but it does look like it is pulling a little bit towards the south. Or
We're
maybe
finally
centered up
getting a
instead of
south
straight north
zone.
Yeah, those
Something
northern zones
somewhat south at least. Brutal, if
been
anything.
plaguing all of EU as
I'll take a
well
brutal.
today, so I think the trend continues. Creon, Tony, and Noisy continue to just flex how good of a team
Creon
they
versus
are.
Noah.
And this is a
Dude, they are
surprise for
keying.
me,
Like,
but
they're
they
running
just
it
seem
down
to
at
be
box
in
cards every
absolute
game.
shape and
They're playing
form
so
today,
aggressive. That's Tony Lagana.
holding their own, even now against the likes of, once again, Noah, Chaos, and Kaz's.
Really comes off the back of the big changes to pump power. They get the dill bits, they get some gold, they get priority over the Mass Meadows vault, especially with
They've got 'em
Xiaomi
kinda
and Higgs not
suffocated
even
onto a
necessarily
train.
making their way on over throughout the day here.
They're
Different
kind of playing like
strategy
how
formulated
Peter
in
keys.
division.
Like they're just
Cup
suffocating
finals
people.
this
Like,
last
look,
time
they're
around,
literally
so you turn to
suffocating
see
them.
Creon trying to break
Wait,
his way in. Tony does go
Tony?
down. He's trying to save it. Tosses the body back into his territory.
okay, let's get
And
this
this
res.
is where him and his teammate can try to go for a quick double revive here, but they're immediately trying to break the way in. Creon is trying to hold the pressure back. Noah plays, gets the wall, spraying him back.
Oh my
the best
God.
He can. Creon continuously getting pressured more and more.
Oh, this
There's
is
a
kinda
whole
like
other team, their
weird.
monster now making their way in.
I was gonna say, surely
Cynics
they
is
think that
here.
they got the pickup already, right? Like, look at how much time
I don't think
has
they get
passed,
this
but
res.
Noah and Chaos are relentless with the pressure here. It seems like they've made the right call to continue to take this fight so far. Chaos Gaming trying to get these heals down and out. But watch how it's playing out
Why
here.
did he throw the
Still
chuck?
playing off the back foot.
Wait, they're getting saved. Oh my God, they're getting saved.
Trying to buy themselves some time, but
Tony's gonna get back up because of
Cynics
Cynics.
haven't even found the chance to jump in.
That's
They've
actually
been
huge.
listening,
And
watching,
Chaos is
waiting
dead.
For a moment, and finally they find it.
That's actually
This is
huge for
onto
Creon.
Chaos Gaming.
Oh, they're still
With
gonna
that,
fight.
Noisy and team get a little minute to breathe, but Creon
They might
is
be getting a
already back
little
on the
too
offense.
crazy here.
Yeah, for him, that's our damage. That's our eliminations. Already going through 6 of his splashes to
That's
get himself in a
crazy.
much better fighting position. You see him reuniting with Tony yet again. So more of those splashes are going to come out. Noisy on the other side has a little bit of elevation, taking a quick couple of cheeky shots, just try to get the pressure
All right,
off.
they're
This is
leaving
gonna be their
finally.
opportunity to disengage. I see them making their way.
All right, Creon
back
and them
on
are
over towards
disengaging.
that black market area. Maybe
That's
re-up
like
on some
great
splashes
surge,
if
though.
they have enough gold left
Great
over.
surge.
Yeah, part of me for a second there thought like
They get
wait a second,
ethical
there
surge,
has to be
chat.
miscommunication. There's no way he's pushing a full trio that just showed up, right? So I think they kind of recognize, hey, wait a second, let's get our bearings back under us. Let's just go ahead
That's
and get
that's
out
some
of
real
here. We got
ethical
enough
hoops
damage,
there.
got a couple elims.
No free
We're
throws
content
needed.
with that.
No foul baiting.
Polar Decay and Cynics gets to see another day as well as things kind of simmer out. So we do a little kind of loop around the world. Our number 1 seeded team so far here in game 2, Cold Ritual and Peterbot, sticking to the strategy here, playing these separate areas, just mass controlling terrain right now with these big bases, fishing for tags from other trios.
Dude, where do you even look to
As
shoot
you
at
kind of
somebody on
expect
that
here, right? And
monstrosity?
Look at this. They are at 181 points. It's got to be intimidating to start seeing that consistency creep.
Yeah, especially when They're straying away from their entire game plan.
Dang, they're giving Cole
game plan
nothing.
for Major 1, afterwards in division finals, then putting up elimination records, then putting up point records, then putting up damage records. Now it's all slowed down. They cannot continue to keep taking the risk to fight player after player, team after team. So they got to take that slower approach, just like everybody else. The Bermuda Triangle, some would call this right now, between 3 different teams. The abundance of extra heals over on this side of the map. Lucky for Bucky, Okus and Cam, though. They're positioned right next to that.
And they know it's
market,
the Bermuda
and they did
Triangle. It's
go
over.
in and get that mythic drum gun out before anybody made their way over.
This is one of the keys of success that we've seen so far, the mythic drum gun. Almost
Oh,
slept on
they're
to some
trying
degree,
something new,
right,
Chad.
as
They're
far
giving
as
Bucky the drum
a
gun
key item
for
that
Surge.
Trios were looking to secure.
Wait, Cyrus just jumped.
Oh, no.
Give it a second here. What's going on right now? Another
Bro, he just
kind of
jumped through that
battle
window.
unfolding here. We haven't seen Naps'
and
team
killed
be
him.
too successful so far here on the day. Most of these early game fights have been learning experiences for Napsire and Cyrus.
It's actually like a psycho play.
Even can't amplify. I've been going through the trials and tribulations through the day, switching up drop spots, trying to get some sort of momentum going, start to build that confidence. But Zaire sneak up on the other side. Shots continue to land on Decat. No real big haymakers yet, but all it does is take one, especially since they're fighting in the zone.
Dang, and they're dying too.
Naps is actually gonna be the first one going down.
Agers just died to threats.
Just in time to
That
keep
should get rest
amplified
though.
in a healthy situation. And he finally reunites with Shiny Cat, so this brings it down to a 2v2, a huge
Dang,
advantage
Agers
lost
got
on the other
knocked.
side.
I wonder if in
Cat,
this they're
you know,
gonna
this is where
chop
they've
if
been
they get a
earning their
knock like
points, you know,
that
game after game, this is kind of what's kept
to
them
at least get the
in
kill.
the running so far. This fight right here. But
Because in scrims, I think they just like let it res.
Life, but not for too long. It was super short-lived. Zaire gets taken out there, and all of a sudden, all that momentum that they were starting to build up, gone there in one brief moment. Look, they're at 5 elims, right? You have to assume it's off the back of these re-pickups, right? Allowing teams to get those reboots.
I was wondering how they caught him off guard. He tried to hop through the window thinking he was being sneaky. They got that security system set up. There is no sneaking around our house as they take both of those players down. Solo went north to try to get some sort of heals, keep himself alive long enough. But I got some bad news, Monster. I thought this was going to center up, maybe a little bit of Western lead. We might have another
No way
north
it's pulling
zone.
up to Magic right
Yeah,
now.
we
It's
are
got to
seeing a
pull
little bit of
south.
that notorious Magic Moss is back in the
It's
name
please
there,
pull
down
south.
at the bottom right. We'll see. Recouping.
I can't take
if
another
you're
one.
These trios, you are extremely happy about this. There's a direct correlation between where the zone ends and how these teams, in general, right, perform against the zone. And so far, it has been in Reed's favor. And if it continues to stay like this, hey, well, we're gonna see them at the top.
I know. Oh, what?
Wait, Xander just died.
Zonda going down due to the zone. Now it's all about just trying to figure out where he actually went down at. Shots coming in. G-Money slowing down, reapproaching the situation. Even with the cleanup coming in, it's Bryce that's going to go down, clean up that elimination, keep them going. And a very different look to their game. Instead of contesting the 50-50 right out of the gates, they took a slower approach, went to the overall
All right, Bryce and them got a kill.
and the backside on the
Got the
south
body.
end. They got their loot, early storm surge, and now look at them. Even
Dang,
though
they
are deep
both
in
just
zone, when
died
it
to
comes
zone.
damage, I think they got themselves
All of them
a lot
died.
of flexibility because of their early game.
Sandman and Evan
And again,
died too.
clearly, this is a team that can perform very well. This is a team that, after game 1,
No
they found
way,
themselves
man.
just inside that top 10, and then they were the first trio to get eliminated in game 2, just to get you caught
Just
up.
keeps
So
pulling north.
Right now, they're showing us the signs of their strategy that clearly is successful if they can make it past the drop. I don't anticipate them to take any more 50-50s. I'll tell you that. If they make another top 10 this game. For Dozer,
Actually,
Aiden,
just
and
another
right now,
Magic one.
they're just sitting in the zone right now, kind of waiting this one out here, trying to see if they can make it through the Lone Wolf. But we all know that Clix's trio does tend to stay there for quite some time, especially when the zone is right on top of them.
Bryce in that early game damage.
Oh my
he
God,
goes down
Bryce
to the
just
storm.
died.
You see him looking up. They know Clix, his entire team landing over there. A huge late switch of the strategy coming in the last
it's not a
division
lone wolf
finals.
zone.
They no longer kind of make their way over towards
I still
the
think
black
this is
market,
pulling
especially
down.
when it
No,
is
this
in
I
zone.
feel
You
like
see
this
it there
pulls down
towards
to
the north,
boxcars.
just outside of brutal boxcars. That's going to make it a little bit harder. for
Magic
Clix,
is
Higgs,
barely
and
even in.
Yamzo to make their way on over safely.
It's actually
and see if
good.
there is
That's like
any
a solid
splashes or
zone.
resources left on buy. So they're going to be hoping for a south pull, so that way every team has to rotate away from it, and then that gives them a little bit safer access to it.
Tony has 2 mythics, or
Look at that,
a
Tony
mythic
Noisy
and an exotic.
Creon's situation
It didn't
right
pull
now.
down at all.
Oh yeah, look at this zone.
It's
This is
still
almost
Magic boxcars.
a mirror
Like,
game back to back.
I mean,
to
it's
back.
it's still pretty north
As things are
for what
starting
it
to
could have
position
been.
up here towards the north, so is very clearly going to favor these north teams once again here. For the Lone Wolf layer, we get to watch it from their perspective. Higgs, Clix, and Yamzo. No elims just yet, but again, their goal right now is to find damage, find tags.
You
Like
see
that quick stat there too.
Yeah.
Giving them the one of the most consistent trios basically on the region.
Yep, top 5s in 57% of their games. I think I get top 5s in maybe about like 10% of my ranked games. A whole different beast, but it just shows the skill level is just above and beyond for a lot of the players in this lobby. The zone pulling all the way on over towards the eastern side. That might be a blessing for Clix, Yamzo,
Hopefully
and
the
Higgs
half
if it
pulls
continues to
down.
pull away from the black market. They do have that gold that they haven't been able to spend. So this
I don't
could
know.
be a chance, a small
Like,
one,
what's
but a
worse? Like, it
chance
pulls to
for
the
them
to the
access that
mountain,
black
and we get a
market
mountain
get whatever
zone, or
splashes are left
another
behind,
north
because
magic
Noisy,
zone, and
Creon,
everybody has to go
Tony, they
north.
also access that vault for those splashes.
Oh, look at
It's
this.
not
Muzz
looking
Rush and
good.
Japko finding tags onto Noah Plays here, who's still, by the way, by himself, just kind of hiding out in the facility here. For how much longer can this go down? I don't know, because the surge is active. Surely, if we jump over to Noah's perspective, he has to be one of the lowest, right, of anyone in the lobby. But oh snap, I think Cirque might have caught wind of this solo inside the builds. We'll see.
Dang,
That
Tony's
trio
in a
ends up taking
great
him out.
spot.
Meanwhile, Tony, Trio, Noisy have made their way to this kind of safe
Wait,
zone
Peter's
here.
in front of them.
They've slowly moved their way out of the brutal boxcars, ever so slightly to the north here, for more favorable vision.
All right, Noah's
off
dead.
The field.
Rip Noah.
And wait a second, I might have talked too soon. Noah got a knock, but unfortunately couldn't get the finish. So,
Oh,
yes, it was a
it's another
that took
magic
place,
pull. Oh
here
my
it is, the next
god.
update. Just gonna keep pulling north.
3rd straight magic game.
A blessing there for the teams that are already in the zone.
Dude, if there
because
was an
typically you wanna
uncon
think,
magic team, oh
do
my
I
god,
stay
they'd be
where
getting
I'm
blessed.
already in zone, don't need to go ahead and use any materials, but no,
Nah,
you
Peter's
know
alive,
that
Henry.
whole north side of the map
He's, like,
is
right in front of,
uncontested.
this
Very,
team we're
very
watching
little
right
teams
now.
will be able to survive there and stagger themselves
He's,
into the zone, so you can kind of free up space.
He's either this
get
team
away
or
from a lot of the teams
might
that
be the
will
other team
end
running.
up crowding that south side of the zone overall.
No,
We know
that's
it's gonna
Chimp
end
that's
up
going
stacked.
north.
And if you're not prepared
No,
for
Peter
that,
must be
good
this
luck to you,
this
Taki,
one.
Ishu and Bert. They landed the north side of the map, so another zone that is going to bless them just a little bit. 67 above the damage threshold, though. They have the confidence to know they're not going to take damage, but in the back of their mind, they know things can change in the blink of an eye.
You know, NA really bringing a new meaning to why it's called North America. Like, at this point, if you're not landing magic mosses, you're not doing it right. Ishutaki, Verto are going to be forced to fight here. So are Coop, Ree, and Curly. Okay, this is an extremely big clash going down here. And now Coop opens up from the side angle onto Ishu. So they find the damage that they need to buy them a little bit of relief. However, they have to very likely
Cooper has
push
placed
this one to the
50%
end.
of his trio's builds. What is Ree getting in
Too
cardio?
risky for their liking right now, especially since they do got themselves a safe spot in towards the zone. And you're seeing them every 7 seconds now going to be taking 25 damage due to Storm Surge. Only 16 below. One shot.
Dang, we need
Literally
one
any
tag,
of their
guys.
ARs will put them above that threshold. Bryce even goes down. He's been having a few struggles trying to make it throughout the course of this game. And you're seeing from 16 below to 100.
Osid and Bryce dead.
Like I said, things can change in the blink of an eye, and if you're not prepared,
200
it's
below
going to
for
get tough
Vert.
in order to survive.
Yeah, all that means is the competition is getting
This game
active
is
and
over.
talking about the competition.
Wait.
They get chopped out from
Oh,
down
he
low.
just got
The
chopped.
Already a beautiful code from Ishu though to set things up and give his team a little moment, a little
they have-
chance at
I mean, they've
success
got
here.
the
The damage
surge.
was good, but his teammates already
They lost
down.
Vert, though.
They might as well go for the finish here,
It's not
but
good.
they lose track of the trio. Maniac and company get away there, and now the zone reveals
It
another
pulls
northern
north
pop for them here. It's
again.
gonna continue to push further
It's
and
just
further away.
north,
Jumping
north,
into teams that are
north.
looking to position up early there. All the big
Cam
boys,
dead.
all the big names are here.
Peter's
Peter
fighting
Bot
Chimp.
is as well. And
This is
fighting
not an easy
instead
fight.
of healing here,
Cold
waiting
kills
for his
Chimp.
team. This is the
Cold-
confidence that exudes out of this trio right here is incredible.
He killed all
And look at
three.
this, Jacob.
He
They're
doesn't need a
already at
team.
3 elims as well this game.
Yeah, 400
fine, I'll do
damage
it
above the
myself.
threshold, all the way from Crime City.
Can we please get the gauntlet?
Because now they start to get that
Gauntlet's in the
confidence as every
chat,
other
bro.
team
That's
starts to
literally
rotate
Thanos.
forward. Only one more.
He said,
team
"Fine,
to
I'll
the
do it
right, slowly
myself."
Trying to make their way forward, and that's where it's going to get dangerous.
All
because
three?
They have to rotate too. We're seeing how the fight even started and broke out. They're only 146 damage above the threshold at this
Two
time.
on.
Veeve, Skittles, and Chimp likely
Two on.
below, forced to take a fight.
Okay.
And there goes Cold, making all the right moves at the right time to get all 3 eliminations.
Just slimed out. They
Such a
they
big
tried
moment for them,
batting
and that
in.
is really the difference maker as to even why they're above the threshold right now. It's those eliminations they just picked
Dude, that
up
like
so
saved
quickly.
them too. They're
Even
400
though they're
above
playing a
after
different
that.
strategy, it's not the most consistent.
Cold
Their
and Peter
damage
ranked
has
first and
been
second after
borderline
2 games.
all 3
Classic.
of these games. With the rotate right here, Peter Bot is trying to get ahead right now. Focus starting to come in. They're saying, hey, we got enough mats to do something big here. But it seems like they're playing a little too fast. It's cost them a bit extra.
They know they still got to rotate towards the zone, and it's just Peterbot, the constant
Oh my
target
God.
throughout each
Can
and
we
every
get off
one
Peterbot,
of these
please?
rotations. They took what you
Shadow
said
is playing
serious
height.
in that last game. He's a little bit of the bait.
Shadow's
Freeze
playing it
up,
early.
Cold, and Ritual to start to make their
No
way
sign
over
of
toward the zone.
Booga.
The
Oh,
majority
they
of
just
the lobby
okay.
here
Booga's
having
right
a
there in
pull.
the middle.
A lot of them already gonna be
Yamzo.
stacked up on the front side. 381 for some. And you're seeing how
Yamzo's a
Higgs,
trio.
and Clicks were able to find
No sign of
a couple
Acorn or
eliminations
Kanata.
here, but most importantly, the
Kanada's over
damage.
here. Oh,
Looks
Kanada's
like
on the
Curly.
north side of zone right now.
3 here on the low ground, but you got
Oh,
Tyler
man,
on the
Kanata
high
just
ground,
died.
potentially looking to play for the win
Kanata
right now.
dead.
Hold up, though.
Kanada's
Big
right
damage
there.
coming in
He's
here
that plus
for
sign.
Team well inside
Oh, no.
the top 3 right now. Continue to maintain
Bolt's
the pace here.
dead.
They haven't picked up any elims, but they are starting to approach the
Bolt's
point where
and
these
Kanata
placing
dead.
points are gonna start
Sphinx
being
is a
given
solo.
out. Meanwhile,
Bro, these zones are
finally, Anger's
murdering
going to Acorn
Kanata
have
right now.
some a break right in the end game. Every time we jumped in with them, things have been kind of rough, kind of crazy for them. However, now they seem to slow down the pace and say, hey, let's not go for high ground. Let's just play for
Sphinx
the
is
mid-ground
legit like 2
positioning
HP. I
here
think Sphinx
and
just
make
died.
it all the way through to the end where they're shining the best.
Sphinx dead. Oh, that is another
Shadow
rough
Curve and Tyler,
game.
since that last zone, you
Like,
called
they're
it, they took
making
that
it
high
to
ground, and
in-game,
now
but
they're just kinda
they probably
trying to
just
hold
have
on to it,
nothing because
pressuring
of how
teams down
far they
below.
have to
You
run
see
every
the
game.
proactivity formulate from Tyler. If it pulls that way, we got to quickly run, connect to the zone, being very, very careful not to get chopped down.
Tyler chilling on height.
Holding their backside position in the zone.
Is
as
Peter getting
Peterbot,
in?
Cold,
Cooper
Ritual
just
looking to get
died.
aggressive yet again.
Cooper
they don't
dead.
find the opportunity to get that elimination, so they slowly back off. But only
Is second
damage
about to
above
go
the
down?
threshold
Cooper just
monster.
got fooled.
Not where you
Reed
expect him to
dead.
be. Reed goes
Second's
down.
gonna
There's a
go
lot of pressure
down.
now onto Curly, even with elimination onto Phenom. This is his only opportunity.
Reed's
If they
getting
go
res,
for a
though.
revive, he has to match it and drop
Wait,
that
is
med
Booga
miss
gonna
smoke.
get in on this?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a very important pickup right now for
Oh
Curly.
no, it's not gonna be Booga. It's gonna be
He
Yusuf.
just gets distracted there in the final moments. He's gonna end up playing the med miss, but that means the team could play it too if they want to and go for the fight here, but they get the siphon.
All right, Curly's got to
Heals
do it
there
as a
and then
solo.
turn
I mean,
tail.
Curly has 100
For
builds.
the escape.
Definitely
Meanwhile,
solo.
Higgs
Like
clicks in
solo
the Alonso
clutchable
front side
for
of
sure.
zone, sticking true
Clix
to
is
this
alive on
strategy.
low.
This is probably the most consistent we've seen.
Clix is
from any of the
below.
trios in the game so far.
They're below
Now as game
again.
3 starting to heat up. Acorn, though.
They probably won't really tick though. Oh my God, 60 below. They have 30 seconds for 4 people to die. Yeah, they're. I don't think they tick here.
Seen Booga threats and Rapid down here, but everyone seems to be adjusting here coming into this third round.
Yeah, even
Yeah, they're
Curly
fine.
in the
120
backside
above.
of
Only
the
3
zone,
need to
taking
die.
a cheeky attempt and trying to get damage, misses that one, and a new team is going to be on high ground.
Visuals is chilling. Oh my god, Muzz is on hide now. Muzz, Rise, and Yapko, they needed the comeback and they might get a win. Peter just got a kill. Oh no, it's Agers. Poyo dead to Peter.
Quick elimination, getting him the siphon, and what's
Only
most
Agers and
important, the materials
Acorn.
to keep himself going.
That's exactly what we wanted to see from Peter Bot. Him actually making it into the
Rise really needs to get this win. They've got to finish this game. Muzz only has 14 builds on height. Acorn dead to Peter. Curly dead to Peter.
So does Curly.
7 kills for Pete.
They have the points and a little bit of footing underneath them to try to do something bigger here. 8 teams remaining in the game. Big points starting to be earned right now. A little bit of a late stay for the med miss, but they are starting to fizzle out. They're gonna have to make a move. Meanwhile, here's Higgs, here's Clicks, here's the Amzo. Sticking 2 to the strats. It's looking
Agers
so
just
well.
died. That's
Here too.
probably a top 7 for
Higgs,
Agers.
the recent signing,
5 kills for Clicks.
Really starting to turn online as
7
well.
kills for Pete. Oh, Pete's kind of running out of steam here, though.
From looking out,
They are not very healthy. Oh, they're getting in on Booga. Oh my god, Cold. Oh my god, Cold and Peter slam. It's only Ritual. And Ritual's dead. GG's. 5th place for Peter. Booga just slammed them. Oh, Booga's gonna... Wait, where is Booga? Oh, Rapid died in zone there. RIP. It's gonna come down to Muzz versus Clicks for the win. It should.
They are the disruptors right now. Threats lands on his teammate, but no, he gets taken out. He also with the
3v3v1. Who is the solo? It's Curve. Alright, Curve still ended up getting a top 3 here. That's not bad. Alright, 3v3. Muzz versus Clicks. It's X set on X set.
And this is a 3v3 situation.
Oh my god, they're gonna bat in. Muzz Classic, the bat.
The bats are out, and they're starting to go for
The Muzz Classic with the bats, man.
First one was a miss, but that's only going to be strike
He missed,
number
though.
1. They use that as an opportunity to try
Wait,
to
they
make
have,
their
like,
way
no
to the
mats.
front
Higgs
side of the
dead.
zone.
Yapko
Higgs
dead.
goes
2v2.
down. Clicks gets a knock of his own onto Yapko.
The Amzo
Quickly
and
trying to
Clicks.
box that one up, but he cannot get the
First
loop. There
Rise
is
and
no
Muzz.
time. Up above is Muzz. It's Yapko. They're trying to put the
Rise
pressure
dead.
on.
Yamzo
Rise
dead.
goes down.
1v1. Muzz
Rise
versus
up, but
Clicks.
Pikachu.
And
1v1.
Clicks wins.
versus Muzz.
Oh
And
my
Clicks
god.
fans run because
14
he
kill
takes the
win for
game
Clicks.
over.
Wow, I'm surprised Muzz just lost that.
Amongst the X-Set boys.
I'm actually so surprised Muzz just lost that. GG's. Alright, chat, after 3 games, Ritual, Cold, Peter are in first. Clicks, Higgs, and Yamzo are in second with that 14 kill win. Almost back-to-back 14 kill wins. Peter got a 13 kill win. Rapid is in third, Reets in fourth, and Visuals is in fifth after 3. So halfway through the day, it's pretty close. I mean, there's kind of a gap starting to happen. A little 20. It's only 20. Oh my god, wait, this gap is actually massive though. Over a 40-point gap between 5th and 6th already. If they have a solid rest of the day, we might have a huge gap between the top 5 and everyone else. Noisy's in 6th right now. Cynics is in 7th. Shadow 8th. Agers 9th. And Eulogy 10th. Muzz after that 6 kill second is 11th. GG's. Bucky just climbed up to 17th. They were in 26th. So 9 spots for 9 spots for Bucky. All right, that is a win for Clips on the prediction. Let's run back the same prediction. Are we ever going to get a South Zone, man? I don't think so. That is, I think... I don't remember the game 1 zone on a U, but the other 5 were all South or North. Yeah, we will do a giveaway here. Giveaway is Clicks, chat. Type Clicks in the chat box to join the giveaway. It will be Clicks. Clicks did just win. Little 3v3 for the win between them and Muzz. think that would have been some huge points for Muzz there. If Muzz would have won that, they're probably sitting in 8th right now. You're in 7th, Cynics. Yeah, Acorn just hasn't finished any of these games yet. I mean, 8th, 15th. You would be expecting some better games out of them. I'm not gonna lie. It is not looking very good. It's only 100-point difference. They need to finish today strong. If they don't have a good finish for today, they might be pretty cooked. Yeah, they need some zones, bro. If Acorn and Kanata are gonna start mounting a little bit of a comeback here, I mean, we got to get something in the general vicinity of where they land. Probably. All right, chat. Type clicks in the chat to enter the giveaway. We'll do that in a minute or two. So the top 10 right now is currently a bunch of, I mean, it's actually not even that north though. Mid map, they're north. Mid map, north, mid map, north, 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 south, mid map. Like a bunch of mid map teams. I mean, mid map's like the best spot though. All right, chat. 1 minute left on the prediction. Peter, Clicks, Booga, Acorn, Reed. Those are the 5 teams you can predict on here. We've gotten a Clicks win, a Booga win, and a Peter win so far. All right, chat. I am going to run the giveaway. I'm going to run the giveaway here. Now, Muzz is in top 10 after that game. It was only a 6-kill second. They missed out on... They missed out on what? 19 kills by not winning that game. Or 19 points by not winning. So if they would have won that game, they would be almost in 7th. Because they didn't get Clicks or Yamzo's kill credit, I'm pretty sure. They might not even have gotten Higgs. So maybe 20, 23 points. But they missed out on 11 points for not winning, plus the 8 for not getting those 2 kills. Getting second place is a lot of points in this format. If you get second place, you're missing out on, like, potentially 20 points. Or, like, 23, 19, or 15 points, depending on how many kills you don't get. All right, I'm running the giveaway. Let's see who won. Giveaway winner is... Fear. Fear with the win. All right, W Fear. How many V-Bucks did he win? He won 1,000 V-Bucks, dude. That is a skin. Pickaxe or something. All right, W. Oh, that's a battle pass, I guess. And that battle pass can get you skins. All right, GG's. All right, chat. One more giveaway after game 5. We're going into game 4. I am running the ad for this game. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to drop a like. If you're watching on Twitch, drop a follow if you're new.
Make it there.
Got the broadcast
like,
back.
I would love to see
I am running this ad though.
Make it to globals.
Oh, 100%. I think a lot of us would
Will
feel
you
the
actually,
same
J Loud?
way. And you know, finally we see height being stolen after zone 9 there by Rise, Muzz, and Yapko, and just having such a good job controlling height from there, going all the way to the final moments in that 3v3. It easily could have gone to the way of Muzz, Rise, and Yapko, but obviously Clix was just on something. And I feel like Rise, Muzz, and Yapko, they're just getting started.
How did Muzz lose that?
Yeah, and I like the fact that you kind of mentioned that right at the end there, right? They're just getting started because their first.
I mean, you're about to see how he lost that.
As Levin would say, they're a bit of stinkers.
Clix has more HP.
23rd. But the highlight for me there, you know, and Kelly kind of mentioned it right there, is that this was kind of the first
his gun just takes longer to look.
They've kind of made, right? Taking into account how those first 2 games went, and they were the first trio to actually take high ground. So, in my opinion, right, if they've been the only trio to kind of do it, and that was the first game that they've actually made it to the end game, then maybe this is a little bit of a pattern, right? Maybe it'll be easy for them in these following games where they do make it to end game. Hopefully, they've sorted something out to kind of continuously make the end game, take that height away. And yeah, I mean, we've seen how height's kind of going today. You're kind of getting it for free once you do have it. So I think this is good news for this trio.
I will say that there was a moment there where we saw Muzz's, Peterbots, and Acorn's trio all in the same little edge of zone together, and we actually saw Muzz's trio make the fastest rotate I've ever seen. And so I'm wondering if maybe that's the reason why we're not seeing them in in-game, and they've kind of learned their lesson a little bit, and so now we're going to be seeing kind of some different rotates
their best
from
game.
them. But speaking
the one last game,
these
Clix
zones, what did we say about North zones?
Gosh,
my apologies, guys. I'll check the supercomputer. I don't know what's going on myself. I'll go check it over there. Speaking of checking things, let's check the standings right now. At the top, Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. Guys, we have not had a game that we've dropped out of
3 controller players in the top 10.
5th place, 6th elims. Game 2 was in VR with 13 eliminations, and now
wait, I didn't even do the controller players in Grands this
7
season.
eliminations. I mean,
this
is starting to get really, really scary. And the fact, Kelly, now they're at 249 points. They are starting to pull away. Someone needs to stop them.
It's so surreal because in my mind, I'm like, wow, they're really doing bad at the start of Major 1, but they've already won a game and they're in first place. It's such a weird conditioning of our brains that if they aren't just winning every single game, we're wondering, oh, what's wrong with them? But they're doing so well.
I mean, there's no excuse, Johnny.
If they're not able to go for high ground, which we've seen them do over the last few weeks, that they need to stick to the low ground, they need to go for those eliminations. And Ritual once again sticking it out as a solo in the final moments right there. And I really just want to give Ritual all the flowers that he deserves.
They should be doing better. Just
doing very, very well. Of course, being
they just aren't finishing the matches right now.
The last duo that's kind of alive.
Oyo died early, I think twice.
That is, of course, alive.
It starts at 5 Eastern against Margie Lowy.
The lead right there. A trio that's kind of sticking towards the top right now, still being very, very competitive. Recoup and Curly, they start performing pretty well. 201 points. That game for them, 9th place, 1 elimination. So I mean, the 2 before that being a 2nd and a 3rd makes this one hurt probably a little bit, but regardless, still sticking towards the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, and I think a bit of that was due to the fact that they kind of were sticking in Flooded Frogs for a long time. I'm guessing that there was some kind of early game engagement that I potentially would have missed for them to go back and farm back for Flooded Frogs. And I think that's
if
just
you're actually buying a $100 V-Buck card, but that's actually double.
But regardless of the situation that they're in, they're still sitting pretty up in our leaderboard right now, Zeke. So I'm excited to see what they do in the remaining half of the games we have today.
I know, it's scary, right? Because you kind of want to keep putting the pedal to the metal. With 3 games left to go today, that sets us up for day number 2, right? And then without that 1.5x multiplier,
yeah, I'll whisper you
here. We need to be more consistent.
Our game 4 chat, 2 more games.
Right? We need to make sure we are primed for day number 2. So I'm curious to see, can we keep this momentum going? Not from just them, but from all of these top performing trios, especially in the back half. Let's find out. Monster D Phase, Jacob PR, take it away.
Momentum is a real thing in these tournaments, but one thing you really have to take note of, even though they're in first place by 29 points, Monster, it's not through sheer force like they did in that last major, like they do in the divisional cups. So realistically, it's anybody's game still.
Yeah, and we're watching it kind of play out in
I mean, nobody cares,
because how much of a different, slower approach, a little bit more of a methodic approach.
Tweeting about zones is like useless.
But let's just keep this in mind. It's all North zones. We're game number 4 around the corner. Let's see how it plays out. And like we just wanted to emphasize, Major 2 Finals has the most amount of qualification spots. This is the most important finals of the year. Some might say you want to get your ticket to the Globals here and now. But again, the standings, I think, are just a story of magic. Mosses, every one of these trios have had that little bit
Dude,
of
if there was an
favoritism.
uncon Magic
So once
Mosses
they
team,
start getting
they
more
would
of a
be feasting.
difficult, let's just call
Underneath
it
Dojo is Con.
decision-making put in front of them, right? Things might start to turn, but for now, if it's going to continue to play out this way, I mean, the story
I wonder
seems to be
who-
written in stone here.
Yeah, and this is a fight that, you know, when you look at
Oh,
that
it's
clone, this is
it's Cyrus.
written all over it, contested. They go for Fleur Loot almost right
Cyrus
out of
is
the gates
conning.
and immediately start teeing off on one another. But it does look like Kratos from
Cynics.
underneath is trying to
Rip,
sneak
bro.
around.
Cynics
You
is in
mentioned yourself
seventh.
the closeness of the entirety of the bridge, especially underneath, and now he's
Hello,
getting
Trish.
free shield. So if anybody's going to be the one to make a play, it is going to be him up against Yusuf. He gets the elimination, and I do believe that was the wipe.
Oh, a little
All right,
turn of
Crazy-
events here
Crazy
for
then went off
Jonesy,
Swanigan.
Donnie,
It's
and Prime.
2-2.
Okay, so a little life coming out
Good for them.
for them here at the Shining Span. We'll see what they can make with this game here. You know, the cool part about
Who's in
a two-day
first?
performance
Peter Bot is
that
in first.
anything can happen, right? You have a lot of time to start making some micro adjustments and, you know, really play this tournament out to the best of your capabilities. Team that's been doing just that as well is No W Plays Chaos Gaming and Kaz's for the second time now. We've seen them at least survive the initial touch of their drop here. It's not all teams, you know, that land kind of in this northern area that are walking away with, you know, free placements to the top of the standings. At the end of the day, you have to prove that you can stand amongst the best here and win some of these engagements. Kazis goes in for face check here, but the tick was
Wait, Chad, you know what we
Managed a
didn't really
monster shot
factor
here,
in,
slowing
though?
down
Like,
all momentum that this trio was looking to build.
Yeah, all three of them saw.
Like,
he was
Magic
here as a
is, like, the
solo.
main POI
They
for, like,
beelined
the
it over,
event
but the
they're doing.
scanners out. Noah plays. All of their positions going to be
Never-
revealed. But no more
we
builds
really
on
didn't
the
think
tick,
about
so
all the
he's gonna be an
possibilities
easy
here.
target and the first one to get dropped. Quick cleanup there. They're going to get the siphon mats, and you can see absolutely needed because Noah plays was almost fresh out of materials.
These are
as well.
calculated.
And now they're forced to try to disengage. Maniac trying to go ahead and move on over to help his teammates, but that same distance that he closes is going to be the same thorn in the side because now he has nowhere to run.
Yeah, but Noah's barely got anything to work with here. Just a couple shots, attacks from behind. No mats to really work with either. But it is going to be a nice quick elimination. Do note with every tag they get, more confidence starts to increase. What? 2 quick elims. Kind of get to reset here. Gonna be happy with that.
This is guaranteed another North Zone, too.
Seeing more and more action going down just the north side of Flooded Frogs. Visuals, Braids, and a Minish. Foxy Floodgates, excuse me there. They land at this spot. We have seen them contest the server room, but Visuals out of Braids
Wait.
and just gets taken down. I do believe that was Peter Pot landing at the train, the top side of the mountain. Got
Okay, they
that
get the
loot
res.
from the server room. And there's so much distance between Braids and the rest of his teammate. I'm not sure how much help he's going to be up close.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I had to look at the standings for a second. Visual, Braids, and a Minish are in 5th place. Do not let this early game fight fool you. This is definitely a team that is trailing very far ahead of 6 and in the conversation right now. Little setback there, minor setback, but not completely taking them out of the running just yet. And do know, again, old Peter Bot probably keys that. Jumps down, does what he does carelessly.
No, he's saying
New
Peter's
Peter Bot
washed.
takes his time, takes his damage, calls it a little win.
It's his fight just north of
Is this a 3v3v3?
Just following each other, not trying to let them escape. He's here, the bat.
Oh my
being
God.
charged. Joji
They're
takes
getting
the
batted.
first couple
Donnie and
damage. Both
Craze
his
dead to a
teammates go down.
bat.
That's Craze and Donnie who get lost.
Oh my
And
God,
They break his way in, even hiding behind barrels. There's no chance.
They just
He's a
got
hide-and-seek master.
quicked.
Seek, veer, and dash.
Oh,
take
they
him
already
out.
killed the other team.
And with 54 points here, a couple of them coming from this game alone.
Wow,
at
they
least
just
start
got
to build
quicked.
that confidence up going into
And
the second
Nada's
half
trying
of
to
the
come
day.
over here.
Definitely, that's gonna jump them up towards 9.
Rip Craze,
right
man.
now. If the standings are locked in
The bat.
putting them just behind Bucky,
Insta
Otis,
double
Cam,
kill.
Bryce, G-Money, and Osid. Take a look at the highlight here from Seek's perspective. Oh yeah,
And that's just toxic.
getting to work with the bat, and of course closing out with the shotgun.
He knew his teammates were there. Almost no worry, even if he does go down. But you see a triangle being formed right now with Kanata, Bolts, and Sphinx just trying to catch somebody off guard. And as of now, it looked like It might be Dash, but as soon as those shots fire off, this is giving Bolt an opportunity to land some big damage on somebody not really paying attention. It could be Seek.
Oh, wow, he got nothing out of it.
Opportunity comes and goes just like that.
Bulls, Kanata, and Sphinx just a couple of pieces away from really breaking through the glass ceiling here. Their problem has just been the mid game. Once they get past that and kind of start approaching that end game, things just haven't seemed to have lined up for them so far. Do keep in mind they are one of the few teams kind of playing this deep
Freon's
zone
killing
from the
Noah
southern
again.
areas on up. So they've had a lot more.
They're actually getting so many mid-game kills.
As opposed to some of the northern trios.
And fun fact about that, they actually have the most distance traveled out of everybody in this lobby, Monster, because of those zones.
And they're still in 13th, right? So again, all the more just impressive how they've at least managed to kind of stay in the conversation. But oh, here's a fight I didn't expect to go down this soon. Well, yo, Aegis and Acorn.
No, not the G Monster.
Here at the Mass Meadows.
Yeah, it almost makes you wonder what's that going to do to the game plan.
This is not who you want to fight mid-game.
They're kind of used to not getting a lot of surge, not fighting teams up on top of the mountain, having to rotate north. But Aegis, Acorn, and Pollo, the whole strategy relies getting extra heals, going just towards that black market, building your surge bases, and taking advantage of teams just like this. And now they've been sidetracked off of that game plan. And so it starts to put things in your mind. Obviously, we're all looking at Acorn. Do you start to rotate the zone? Is this a team that now you must try to fight because now you're below the Storm Surge threshold of games past? It's a lot of questions that I know are going to be answered shortly, but it just goes to show the
how does he have the drum gun?
One team's decision and how it affects everything else around him.
Yeah, this is like the shoe put on the other foot. Bryce is the one with that ultimate high ground here. The cards.
They don't have a kill though.
Hands here to be dealt. But okay, Aegis, Pollo here.
I wonder if they 50'd it.
Play the Storm. They want to make a little bit more of a favorable positioning for themselves.
They might have like 50'd it, and Bucky was like split dropping, so he had to swerve.
It's going to be missed damage.
They probably don't triple land on it.
That could be.
They probably caught him off guard.
Reflective of the fact that again, this is like a newer trio, right? Kind of being introduced to this extreme high-level competitive play. One of the reasons why Kanata wanted to kind of mix it up.
Hey pal, you just blowing from stupid
Thank you for the raid, Blake.
Keeping us entertained.
We're getting off.
Fight for the top 10 position here.
Thank you for the raid, Blake.
Against Naps right now.
Got my dog is barking.
Doing a great job here.
W Blake chatters, hello, hello. Welcome to the Magic Mosses viewing party.
Kind of watching this unfold from the distance. Decay, not even wanting to let this team get too comfortable either.
Yeah, he spotted out the builds, kind of finished building. You know, Zyre's
we will be watching Magic Mosses.
It does look like Zyre's just going to be a big distraction. He doesn't have a shield. He has half HP. He's just trying to buy his teammate time so that way he can make that rotation off the side of Demon's Dojo, potentially try to get the
no way they're farming Cyrus
they potentially have it already, get his teammate back into the game. But for now, they're going to be looking at the long game. Instead of little short wins throughout the course of the game, they're going to be looking for a revive and some big moments to try to finish this one off.
Yeah, no information on
who's Decay. I don't know how to answer that question.
Play the rest of this out blind.
Cynics is
still big eliminations for them.
Like they're just first-time Grants players playing well.
Yamzo Higgs and Clicks right now.
They're landing on a decent drop. Every zone is pulling north.
Ridiculous win. 14 eliminations.
They had a really good first game, so they're
the speed at which he was able to react and pick up those 2 elims in the end was just absolutely incredible. But the setup from Yamzo, you have to give him so much
Lone Wolf is still in zone right now. It might
angles there in the end game. Opening up.
It's why are we even thinking it's pulling anywhere else, man? It's not going anywhere.
This is the strat right here, right? High ground, surge bases, base for tags. I know we haven't seen the zone yet, but it does look to be very reminiscent of the games prior. I don't want to talk too soon about it, though. We'll see.
So you're saying another north zone is quite possible.
Maybe.
But you see Dash, Seek, and Veer. I feel like they're kind of getting used to these north zones. Obviously, it's not as easy. They got 4 eliminations. A lot of their
3 teams at Dojo.
resources are being expended. 1 med kit for Dash. He's going to have to use that in a few seconds. But in the sense of this has been their game plan. Ride the whole eastern side of the zone, move up towards the north, get surge on a lot of the teams that are kind of left behind. Because more times than not, if
this
they're
is
this far back in zone,
100%
they might not
a
do
magic
those
zone.
So that's going to be the perfect chance. Just try to pop some shots, keep it moving in towards zone. And then you even see that solo player just below the D and Demons Dojo on the minimap, trying to look, hey, is this the time I can get my teammates back? He doesn't even know that's a whole new team on top of that mountain.
You want to recap, AJ? Magic
in the
Monsters.
air.
That's your recap.
Let's jump in with Coop, Reet, and Curly here as they continue to get the favorable zone pulls here up towards this kind of flooded frogs area. They're just sitting pretty right now, wishing for...
If you don't know what that means, you'll see soon.
Reet's in charge of the bill. He's already put 64 up. Not bad at all.
Give it a couple minutes here.
To jump off this base
we'll be right
eventually,
back.
though,
There.
start to get to those mats, but again, you could just
I don't know.
see
This
that
one
there
might
is
be
no
flooded,
rush in
chat. I
doing
don't
so.
know.
Kind of see this slow play on one side.
Wait,
of the
this one
lobby
is
to the next.
probably
Bolts come out
actually
of
flooded,
Sphinx,
like,
working their
no
way up from
troll.
Hopeful Heights. Quick chase down.
Because
on the water
Boxcars
sparks,
is
trying to make
already
sure
on
that they
edge.
have as much of those
So it's actually
resources as
probably
possible
going flooded.
before they make their way down off the side of the mountain. Because they have this elevation coming into the zone, they are able to spot out a lot of the teams that have already rotated in, the teams that have already boxed up and solidified their position. So even though they're taking some storm damage, eventually going to have to use some HP heals, it's all a worthwhile sacrifice for them because it gives them a much safer path.
Taking advantage of that path as well.
Wait,
Very
Clicks?
well-timed movements here.
Clicks just died to Curve.
Jumping
I
in
think
with
that's just an
Focus.
AR knocked up. Probably rest.
Bucky and Cam right now, they seem to have found the trio lurking behind at the Foxy Floodgate for a second there.
Dude, stop pulling
And
north,
pushing up
man.
ahead. Or retreating
I just
back
wanna
here
see
try
my
pick up some
southern
of this
team
leftover
shine.
Material.
Almost a much different position than we've seen him in some of the games before. I think a lot of teams are kind of catching on to how drastic some
Is
of these
Crazy
north
alive?
pulls
No.
have actually been. And are now trying
Crazy's
to rotate
team
just a
died
tad
in
bit
legit
earlier
2
than they have in
seconds.
some of the previous
And
games, but
Agers
Cam
just
is the one
jumped
that
on
gets caught
Cam.
off guard by
Focus.
Agers, rotating deeper.
Wait, they're getting this
in the
res though.
zone.
Oh my god, they're keying this.
It does look like Cam is going
Bucky
for a little
versus-
bit of a revive,
Bucky
but
versus
Bucky's
Pollo
just trying to
chat.
hold them back the best that he can. Make them think twice about continuing to rotate on over here for
They med
elimination.
missed.
That might not even be that easy.
They're actually going to be pretty
Madness has to
healthy.
come out here.
Okay, they
This
gave
is
it up.
Probably what I was gonna say. Acorn and Agers Spoyo was thinking about, like, hey, stop down right there. Yes, stay in the zone. Let us.
Focus's
fight.
name
We
has
need
been
this
user.
damage here.
Ever since groups.
But they're gonna be
I'm gonna
content
guess
with
that
a
was
little bit of
last
damage that they
weekend.
managed to pick up there.
His name got
Med
usered
saving
last week.
Bucky's trio. Boyo was in full W key mode for a second there. You saw him how aggressive he was pushing up.
My only question about this entire situation is, we saw Pollo, Acorn, and Agers fighting
was
at
his
Mass
name?
Meadows. How
Okistic?
did Agers get the mythic drum gun? That's going to be a big question as Kanata breaks into the box, taking down King. First elimination of this fight. And you see Sphinx, the IGL of the trio, quickly reuniting. He took
Kind
a
of a
lot
crazy
of that early
name.
damage along with Bolts,
I
knowing
feel
that
like,
Kanata's the one
like
that
it's
has his
crazy,
position
but
set.
I don't know
They
if
all
it's
regroup,
kind of
heal up, kind of reassess the situation. Do they want to continue to fight the team that they know is a duo, or rotate to zone because they know it's now moving further and further away?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Kanata's team has done well with these storm fights, and they beat these teams
Like it's
over
kind of
and
crazy.
over again when the fights have kind of gone down in these early situations. That didn't happen so much last game, but this is looking like kind of like the game one storm fights that set them up for success early on. So I think they're feeling really confident about these battles here. Jargu, all that's left on the trio. Sphinx
Dang,
in the
Rip
final
King.
boxes him up and puts him down.
Oh god, chat.
Nice little med kit fished up right there. Actually, 3 med kits for the trio. Oh,
I
yeah,
think we have our Bolts
that.
tweeted about the zones.
Just the material count that I'm really going to have questions over. Did the team they fight drop enough materials to kind of replenish what they had lost up to that point? Because I saw Kanata was rather low in his situation as we jump on board Shogun's Arena.
Yeah,
The
it's
Island
another.
Cold
Nah, this
Ritual,
one's actually
Peter
not
Bach
magic. This one's
returning
probably like
to their
flooded.
clouds,
shelter.
and now they already got The boss
Slightly
taken
different.
down. They have the medallion, the extra chug jug.
Same sentiment.
and
Oh
the
wait,
height
this one actually might be
advantage.
Whiffy.
Blessings for the lobby that it is going to pull a little bit
Bro,
more
this is like
north, so they're
Whiffy.
going to have to leave that island eventually. But
Oh,
until
everybody's
then, they
go.
have the luxury to be able to look back in zone just like this and try to spot out any players, whether they're a full team or not, rotating in.
I was saying, let's not forget they just get to glide too, right? So like they're not gonna have a problem right now so long as they condition a lobby and or move sooner. rather
And
than
Peter's
later.
on
We'll see what the
island. Oh
decision
my
ends
God,
up
Dozers
being
is
here
10
in just a
billion
moment.
miles in the sky.
For the team that's
He's
trying
on
to
wood, though.
maintain the pace right now. Braids diminish.
Wait, they should creep up and pickaxe this.
Starting to get just past the mid game right now here.
Just pickaxe it.
No surge warning, so the activity in the lobby keeping relatively at pace here for a pretty fast game for game 4. But let's see how long that's going to last.
Wow. Visuals, Braids, and Minutes have each spent less than 2
Visuals,
minutes
Braids,
in
and
the
Spin have
storm, the
spent.
lowest
They've spent
of
less
any
than
of the
2
top
kills
20 teams.
or 2
And
minutes in zone every
when you
game.
land at Foxy Floodgates, middle of the map, and it is continuing to pull north, it just goes to show that they're very, very proactive in terms of where they position
GGs.
themselves. They don't wait for storm
All
surge
right.
to come to them. They go and look for it in terms of where they kind of set up shop. And game after game, it's been working out. So jump back on board Reek, Coop, and Curly. Finally rotating west of Flooded Frogs. Not too far away from where they actually landed. So when we look about distance traveled, I'm going to be looking at a team like them to see how much distance they didn't have to travel. compared to
I'm
other
looking
teams in
down
this
because
lobby.
I'm watching COD on my phone. I can't lie. I'm
Oh yeah,
multitasking.
Acorn Agers though losing the trail
I'm locked in,
and
though.
the kind of exchanges
We're back locked
here.
in.
A little I'd say to my surprise, they've had. It hasn't seemed like they've been the strongest.
Focus's tweet is wicked.
Think differently. Agers and Boyo, some of the better fighters.
Bolt
on
just
the
made a
region,
zone
but
tweet.
having a bit of a harder time.
Okay. Bro, Okus.
Clicks.
Okus called
Broken
Acorn
some
a cheater.
eliminations. I believe that might have been Okus that got taken down as well.
Bro, what?
In the storm too.
Yeah, that's just one of those tough
What
situations.
did Acorn- I wonder what
They
Acorn
weren't
could have
the
even
original
done.
Ones fighting both Clicks and
What, is he just
Cole.
calling him
They
a
were
surge
already
trader?
in zone, looking back at this fight.
Is he calling the
Seeing
guys
the
trading
team
with a surge trader?
End
That'd
up
be
in a
like
scuffle and just immediately focus in that direction.
potentially
Luckily
peak
for
irony.
Evan, Zanda, and Sandman right now, they're able to get the revive
He just
back
said-
up.
he
They have
said
the chug
Acorn is the
jug
biggest
bandages
cheater in
if
Fortnite
needed,
history.
And then the splashes on top of that.
And that he
Without
should
too
be
much
banned.
distance to cover before they're safely inside of the zone.
Take a look how it went down. Evan here. Pushing in
surge.
from the side, gets right on in. It was a full-on surge fight. That's going to put them 400 above. How long will it last, though, is the real question. Heard about Cold and Ritual.
I think he's upset that he lost his drum gun, but I don't know if that's
Set
the
off
message
1,000
to get
above
out there.
themselves here.
Yeah, we did get the Blake raid.
Full HP, fully loaded material count. This is probably
Did
the
indeed get that Blake
strongest
raid.
position we've seen them in so far here for an endgame setup right now. I mean, it just makes you wonder, right? How many North zones you got to pull before.
Oh
they
my
just
God, Cold
continue to
killed Higgs.
fine-tune the game plan, right? And they are just looking better and better as the games have gone on.
I think he's on the island though, so
How
they
they're
definitely don't get
rotating right
anything
now.
from
I
that.
see it in the mini map too. They just
How did
got
they
it
lose the
down,
drum gun?
Rotated, gliding
I don't
in
know.
as
I
Ager
think
slides in, gets that one on
If
the
I were to
Sandman.
assume they
Saw it in the
they like
feed.
50
Glad we're able to see
the-
how he's
the
actually able to
black
pick that one
market
up. Proven, hey, the mythic
this
drum
game,
gun, even though they might not
and
necessarily
Acorn
get it every
or
game,
in
it
Okus
really
and then
could
probably
change the
squid
course of
drop
how you're
it,
getting
and
your
he
storm
saw he's
surge.
getting
Now
triple
easily
50-50, so
you're
he
able to
swerved
break some of
probably.
those bullets through to get just one or two shots to
I
connect.
don't know though. I'm just guessing. Or yeah, maybe threats like
Safe zone
beams,
right now.
Okus, or killed him out the sky or
Well,
something.
The surge here. Zan and Evan coming late
Maybe
out the
I mean that's a
storm.
possibility.
Talk about a gift being handed
Oh my
to
God,
them,
Clicks is
but
3
still
below.
They gotta get that damage. There it is.
And they just got 2
Okay,
kills.
gives them a little bit of time. The question is, do you
They're
go
still
for
gonna
that
be below,
loop,
though.
play for the heals and kind of wait this one out? Try to force another battle is gonna be the real question.
What's
Dude, this is a
unfortunate
terrible
about that whole
zone for the lobby.
situation
Whiffy
as they do
Wharf.
run over, pick up the
G
loot,
Monster
is
dead?
those
Come
players were
on, really,
weak. It was
dude?
active surge.
Not the
So
G
they didn't get
Monster,
a ton
bro.
of damage to accumulate.
Dude, what is this zone?
Surge leaderboard, but they're making their way back on over. They were able to kind of see the ground before. Not too many teams were rotating through the south side of this pool.
These zones hate good ball.
The rest is going to be towards the
oh my
north,
God,
so
look at Braids. Braids and Peter. The Fortnite Geniuses already in zone. Visuals is already in earlier. Genius, Peter and Genius. I think Rise was over there too.
Monster, this game has not been too good for them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, all the teams kind of taking note of Clix's rotate down that river bend is just such a beautiful rotate. A couple of teams are trailing down there. Booga Rapid and
Dude, what is this pool? Chad, look at this. Everybody is about to be on this. And it has to pull back. It either has to pull here, here, or here. Like, literally.
It's no surprise.
So everybody's just going to, it's just like, wait, Clix is dead.
Force the engagements here, but
I was too busy giving statistical analysis. Oh wait, it's Booga, World Cup champion.
Here. Great tag here onto Booga's trio.
74 above for Clix.
74 above. This is not a safe position to be in by any means.
Peterbot with a kill.
Yamza on the hunt here. They're playing two different angles.
Cold with a kill, Muzz with a kill. Wait, Rapid dead. Wait, how did Rapid die? Oh my God, wait, Rapid's in zone.
No, hey, the team to our right could be a potential pickup, but first, gotta get to the new zone here.
Rapid died in zone.
On over towards the north. You see the whole edge.
Oh, Booga's. Oh, they're dead. Oh, that's why they have 0 builds. They couldn't even get it.
Runs out of builds. Tries to go right back on over.
Rip.
Towards
Tony's. Everybody's dying. This is just toxic.
You see the very little bit.
Everybody probably has nothing on edge right now. Like legit scratch.
The luxury to be one of the first teams to rotate. They have to let all these teams.
This has to be. Oh my God! Look who's on height.
But over on that left side, Muzz, Rise, Yapko, they already made their way on over.
The only good North team on the map is on height.
Top teams on that leaderboard, being very, very proactive for these next couple of zones.
Yeah, Aegis,
that's King Rita.
Continue to do these late
this has to be a good game for Acorns. We need it. You have drum gun. You got to make something of the drum gun here.
Lagging behind as well here on the move, but I'm most interested in the high ground. Ree is on height. Let's not forget, Ree came into this game in 2nd place. So if Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual can't find themselves some prime position to make this end game go all the way through to the end,
I mean, no, Peter's chilling. Visual's just chilling. Reed is chilling. Booga's already dead. Clix is looking like they're gonna die early. This is actually a great spot for Acorn, to be honest, and like Muzz have to come back here. Some teams are struggling. Booga's dead.
The global champion takes the driver's seat a little bit.
15 builds.
Acorn Agers just trying to make sure
we have Mythic Drum, Mythic Suppressed Pistol, and we have 15 builds.
But now moving up over the mountain, they find an opportunity. Booga goes down. That was what they were looking at. Since
Booga and Threats both dead.
They see Threats as well. They're assessing the situation right now, seeing if
they need a refresh.
Can be theirs to grab, but the zone is going to pull back over towards the south.
Do I see the zone? No, I actually don't. It's unacceptable.
And this is kind of interesting because Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual have all this old material they can recycle essentially for this rotate. However, we know they're not content with not being active.
Agers did just get a kill though. Do they get the body? I don't even know where they got that kill.
High ground just yet. So what you have right now is Coop, Curling, and Reed.
This is a crazy zone. I mean, this should be a free win for Reed. At least like a free top 3, top 2.
And it's only going to become more and more.
Nobody's even going to have mats to fight them on height. I bet there's legit like 0 mats in this lobby. Nobody has mats. Peter only has 15 builds. Acorn's about to. They broke the launch pad. Bro, I think they just broke the launch pad. Peter dead to visuals. It's Cold and Ritual as a duo yet again, chat. Can they do it for the 2nd time? Visuals dead. Braids and a Ministar duo.
I'm wondering what's going through the minds of these players right now, but Aminish and Braids have a chance now.
Braids has great mats. This should be easily clutchable for them. Easily. Acorn and Poyo dead. The Yamzo.
Still alive. Now officially inside the top 10. Acorn, Aegis, and Poyo have been taken out to the hands of Taki's trio there.
Cold with a kill.
And this
Reed's
is just
still on
really
height.
starting to
Shadow's
go
full
downhill
trio
for
still alive.
everyone
Muzz's
else in the
full trio
lobby,
still
but
alive.
If you're recouping Curly, you are absolutely thrilled at the opportunity here to start dropping your way up to the top of the standings.
And this is the very first time throughout these past couple of zones the team has even
Let's
had a
watch the
chance to
cold
try to
duo
look
clutch
up,
here, please.
And they're being persistent on top
If one
of
may
that.
request. Braid's
So they're
dead to
gonna have really
Higgs.
start thinking of a plan B if things do go sideways.
Tyler's
And
dead.
Reed's
Cold
already
is
in
getting
lead
in.
charge. He's gonna
Shadow's
try to
full
reconnect,
trio
but down
dead.
below, it's Cold and Ritual running
Ritual
wild
and
yet again.
Cold,
Even with
they're
Peter
doing it
going
themselves.
down, they deserve all the credit in the
Cold's
world
dead.
for making something of these games,
All
particularly
right, it's up to Ritual.
Because once again, in another game,
Solo
he's a
clutch
solo.
from Ritual now.
And Muzz and Japco still up too.
Top
This is
7.
insane. All the teams that have
Wait, he's
continued
gotta
to
get
make
up
these
there.
endgame placement points are still in the running. Muzz, Rise, and Japco, arguably the only healthy trio that can actually challenge for height. Did Reed's team expend too much material? We're gonna find out here and now as the pressure finally starts to come up. But he breaks the build there. Can he get some damage? No. They end up
Ritual
using the
dead,
heat cappers
7.
to get off here. But look at how they've already started preemptively editing these floors.
Yeah,
now.
I
They're
think
thinking
Muzz
about
wants to
making the
try
break
here.
Players are starting to come down.
Oh yeah, Muzz is chopping it again. I think Muzz is gonna try. Oh, they tried to do a bat.
Just really taking advantage.
I think somebody just tried to do a jumping back. Oh my god. Oh my god. Curly dead to fall. Muzz is going for height.
That's a big blunder, but Reed's still battling for it. Muzz, Rise.
Reed just 90. Cooper dead. It's only Reed. Reed should die too. Rise, Muzz, and Yapko on height again. Higgs and Iamzo are still alive as a duo.
1v1 to Clicks to lose the game overall.
Dude, Higgs and Iamzo are full clutching this game.
Still standing, by the way, inside the top
Aviv's
5,
trio is still fully alive.
Chip and Skittles, though. Pressure's
Higgs
on
with
them.
another kill.
Conversations on them right now. What can they do? But hold up. Don't count down Higgs. He's still
This is
going.
all
6
Higgs, Clicks, and
eliminations now.
Iamzo.
Trying to find
Or all
another.
Higgs and
Reaches down
Iamzo.
to low ground, desperate, and he gets swallowed up by Iamzo too.
All right, they're
And a
finally gonna go
complete
down
finish.
here.
Iamzo, though, goes for the
Oh my god, wait.
Higgs playing the outside of zone, finds a shot into Muzz. He could be the
Rise is
disruptor.
dead.
Everything's starting to fall now. And the
Higgs
story
got
is
second.
unfolding as Higgs is the last man
Higgs just got
standing
second.
behind the wall, but Muzz
Oh my
wins the
god.
game there in a
That's a
reverse
win
fashion.
for Muzz after getting second last game. Higgs and Iamzo just clutched a second place as a duo. It is tied. It is tied after 4 games, chat. Ritual and Clicks 3-10 apiece. That is a humongous second place duo clutch out of Higgs and Iamzo. They have a second and a first back-to-back. That's a first and a second back-to-back for Muzz. Muzz has climbed all the way back up to 6th. Reed is in 3rd after that game. Rapid 4th. Visuals 5th. Muzz 6th. Cynic 7th. Shadow 8th. Agers 9th. And Noisy 10th. That is a humongous game for Muzz. Back-to-back humongous game. Acorn is still not playing in-game. They're just still not doing it. A 10th with 5 kills. I don't know. We do have a tie for first though, and it's only a 1 kill difference. Dang, bro. That was actually like an insane duo clutch. That was from like top 12 maybe, the second as a duo. That is a win for... Oh, we don't even have Muzz on the prediction. That's a Clicks win. Are the zones to blame? I mean, you can blame zones, but at the end of the day, still could be performing. Regardless. Like, you can definitely blame zones, but at the same time, you could also, like, some teams can do okay with bad zones. Nah, Peter wasn't really the most stacked, but Peter also died. Peter had good mats, like at like half and half, but harping from half and half to like the first moving zone, he was down to like 15 builds. 20 builds. Yeah, Peter is also not playing the craziest. Like, he's died early 3 games. I mean, everybody was pretty low on Pretty low on math. All right, GG's. All right, Chad, who does better this game? We'll do... I'm not going to lie. I'm taking Acorn out. We'll take Acorn out for Muzz. Muzz is starting to play well. All right, Chad, new team on the prediction. Maybe if we take Acorn out, they'll get a South Pole. I mean, we still kind of... I mean, the gap between, like, these teams kind of shortened there. Because Muzz is starting to pick up slack. I mean, I guess it's really just Muzz, though. It's a 50-point gap between 5th and 7th right now. Canada very behind. I'm not going to lie. It might be already GG's for any chances of Canada getting top 5. Like, I'm not going to lie. I don't think Canada has a chance at top 5. And we're only... It might be early because we're only 4 games in. But, I mean, they're down by almost 200. Like, it's like it's only like 130. But, like, that's 2 games. 2 entire games. All those teams would have to get 0 points. I mean, you can maybe make a comeback day 2. Maybe they finish today strong. Who knows? I mean, it also kind of, you know, never know. Maybe zones. I don't know. Yeah, they do need a big game. Feel bad for Bucky? I mean, they were going to perform. They'd be performing. I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe it'd be his best placement if he got every zone, I guess. GG's. If you were Peter and you called the land, don't you just jump on people like Vino and Vico earlier? Nah. Because Vino and Vico aren't doing that because they're called the land. They're doing that because they have no drop. That's like that's like dumb to do. Like if you want to just grief a team, you just land on them and grief them. How did they have no drop? Because even with them being called to land, they aren't good enough off spawn to get any respect, basically. And they want too good of drops. Like, so they contested the only other land called team and lost. They also lost off spawn to a team that literally doesn't care. Like they would con anyways. I mean, it's just unlucky, I guess. They left their uncon drop. All right. Well, Muzz needed a comeback. Muzz got the comeback. Canada needed a comeback. Canada has not done anything still.
All right, welcome back to the FNCS.
That's a big comeback for a V.
Blow your mind.
Bucky's still waiting for a comeback. I mean, a lot of these teams, like Acorn, still waiting for Acorn to get top 5 in a game. Like, just give me one Acorn. Just give me one little top 5.
Quick math, the points hit me.
All right, chat. I am running an ad during this game, though, or for this game. If you guys want to get no ads, you can support the stream by subscribing for free with Prime Chat. You can literally click this button right here. Wait. You can click this button right here. Scroll down, chat. There will be a little box you can check there. Use your free Prime. If you have the blue crown next to your name, or if you have your Amazon Prime linked to your Twitch account, and use that free Prime. If you have it ready, just let it go.
Difficult to try and rein them in. I mean, I want to see this.
Or you can tier 1 sub as well. But I am running an ad, chat. Make sure to predict. 40 seconds left on the prediction. Make sure to predict.
So
I am
hard
going to go use the
Peter
restroom.
Bot. Actually, I should change
I'm
that. It's so
downing
hard to
water
stop
'cause
Cold and Ritual right now because they have just been doing such a good job when they go down into a duo. And obviously, Peterbot is grabbing a ton of eliminations in the early and mid game so that when he does go down, he's still bringing value to his trio here. But truly, it is definitely Cold and Ritual that have been carrying these end games, Vivid.
Yeah, I can't believe we're in like game 4 and we haven't had Peterbot kind of alive in the final moments for the trio, right? Like crazy stuff. Haven't had a Peterbot-esque game. I was for sure thinking, you know, first 3 games, you know, whatever. We'll start the same in game 4, game 5. Has not shown up yet, but that just means that Ritual and Cold, they're showing up for sure. And another trio that, of course, is showing up. Heck, I say trio. Why don't we go ahead and keep talking on duos right now? Higgs and Iamzo being the duo, kind of the pop off this game, clutching up from 19th, 18th place when Clicks went down all the way to 2nd place as a duo. Eventually Higgs being the solo. That's crazy.
He literally, every time we would turn back to Higgs, he would now have 2 more eliminations.
Chad, I'm not gonna lie to you guys though.
To look at him, he's just going
I'm gonna
back and back, and
be
he's doing
completely honest
such
here.
a good job right now, especially
if
when
I
we
was
saw
a face
Clicks
cam
have
off
such an
streamer, I would
incredible
be
end to game
legit
number
butt
3 there.
naked on
To
shit.
carry that momentum on after
Like
Clicks
off
goes
it.
down just a
It
little
is
bit
that
early
hot.
is exactly what they need right now. They're an emotional team. They definitely like fly off of those vibes, and so I think Higgs being able to make it into the final 2 teams is definitely keeping those vibes up right now. And we said it at the start of the show, the only way a team is going to be able to rival Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot is if they can bring the elims like they can. And look at that, Zeke. It is just a 1 elim difference between those 2 trios.
That zone was diabolical
so
to Acorn. I mean, that zone was terrible for
right? Like,
legit
look at
all
the placement
33
points.
teams.
Look at the elims. Look at the VRs. They are taking steps at the same time. Just little tiny differences, and yet they are still going head to head. And remember, Ritual, Cold,
Dude, I'm gonna
Peterbot,
get a
they're already
headache,
qualified,
I
right?
think.
So if we ended the tournament right now, 2nd through 4th place would be securing themselves a seat on the battle bus going to globals, right? Like, obviously we still have more games to play, but man, these trios are showing up and just putting on some fantastic Fortnite. With 2 games left to go, what are we hoping to see out of this game? Like, I would love to see
hoping
more
for a
reads,
South zone.
of course, but like, is there things you guys are hoping to see with 2 games left to go?
They're going to say South
zone. I want to see a victory royale. When you look at the leaderboard right now, it is all of the big names with a single VR, except for
Vivid's going to
trio.
say South.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what everybody's kind of asking for right now. And I know one in particular person who's probably about to crash out and is definitely asking for it. A South zone, right? I mean,
Let's go.
trio, Jacob kind of called it out that game. They're the trio right now with the most distance traveled. So they're really putting on an effort to kind of make it into the end games. But like I mentioned, right, landing at the southeast side, all the way in that corner. I mean, most of the zones they're going to have to run, but holy cow, some of these zones, they've really got to run.
Okay, everyone, just manifest South Zone. Okay, here we go. Together now. Manifest.
Now, because Vivid
South
said it like
Zone.
every
Okay,
game,
Jacob
Blaze.
PR, MDF, manifest.
I knew he was going to
South
say it
Zone.
again.
He manifesting it.
Come on, Zeke. We know you are not changing the script. We know what's going on over there. This has been some incredible stuff. I mean, if you get these zones like this, you need to be up at the top of the standings. And you know what? For Clix's trio, they're doing just that.
Yeah, and it's coming out for the back of changing their entire strategy in the last Division Cup finals, because more times than not, they loot their POI, they go to the black market, and they find their surge there. So a huge switch up, and it's actually working out for them. With game number 5 ready, let's get into it. This is it right now, Monster. A first place tie at 310 points. 2 games left to close out our day. Then everybody gets a little bit of a break. A little bit of break to hit the VOD reviews, make what little adjustments you can, because then tomorrow we crown a new FNCS champion for Major 2.
Yeah, and the truth is, I
New
mean, how do you
FNCS champion,
adjust
let's
after
go.
the first 4
What if it's the
games
same
play
FNCS
out
champion?
almost
Acorn's gonna win 5
identically
games.
back to back to back. Like I said, the teams
The next
that
7.
started performing well just look to be refining their strategy
Or 8.
ever so slightly game after game, and this is exactly why the leaderboard looks the way it does right now. And Zeke called it best. If you just end of the tournament right now. I mean, it is going to come down to the teams that, of course, are well within that top 5 right now, and they're starting to break away with a monstrous lead. In Jacob, what I'm thinking about, what does that do to the mental, you know, fatigue, right? Game after game, getting eliminated, maybe short of where you want to be. Like, a lot of this does come down to mentality.
Yeah, and I do think tomorrow, you know, some of those teams, you might see a switch get flipped.
So why are there 3 teams at the boxcars?
Fights where you want to try to get, you know, a victory or a
triple 50-50. I'm down.
Win as fast as possible.
Well, triple 50-50 at the boxcars.
Down for both of these teams, but only one of them is instantly
Let's
going to be revived. And it's actually 3 teams overall at Brutal Boxcars, and these are the type of things.
Bro, Cyrus has no idea where he's
going to day 2, depending on where you're at on the leaderboard. If you want to make some money, if you
I think Cyrus is going to end up going train 1 game, like guaranteed. I think.
Up the pace with eliminations.
Oh yes, I mean, and you know what? Some teams do well on day 2. Let's go back to history, right? With Acorn and what he's been able to kind of restructure and bounce back, but there's other trios that have never done that, right? They just don't have it in them, and or it's even harder to go ahead and kind of dig deep and find that moment for yourself. But again, so many new trios are here, a lot of new opportunity. Let's just go ahead and lock in for this little battle right now. Polish Jackson, Zach, finally looking to initiate here onto Cyrus, Zyre, and Naps. Okay, so Cyrus's team here putting some points on the board now, finally catching their momentum, right? Catching a little streak for themselves here, coming into game number 5, and for once they have to drop to themselves.
And now Noah's coming over.
Short-lived as Noah W plays his team, starts to rotate in. They find Polis disengaging on the outskirts here. I expect a full collapse here shortly.
Especially since he is going to be a solo. I for a second thought his teammates were on top of the Brutal Boxcars mountain, but nope, he's just by himself. And there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders to at least give his team a chance to reboot something in this game. As you jump on board, Noah, Chaos, Kaz is not staying as long as they would over towards the black market. This time around, they're just going to get their loot and get on out. Muzz, Rise, Yapko, quick to get their early elimination onto 1 and push the team out. And this is where I'm saying everything kind of speed up here in the 5th game of the day.
Oh, wait, there.
Time is flying by as well.
Where are the rest of them?
As these rounds are
Amplify just
already starting to come to a close. Muzz, Japco, and Rise, though, look at their points right now. Just jumping back up into the conversation after somehow finding themselves trailing out 2 games.
Amplify just died to
basically the first and second not going in their favor.
Yeah, definitely another north zone
of the pack, and then a second and first place back to back against the likes of Clix's trios. So love to see these stories just start to come full circle, but it also shows you that you can come back from a bad position on the standings with 2 big games. So do not count these trios out for games 5 and 6. Anything can still occur here.
I think there's still the chance up for when you get into day 2. How many drop spots?
Are those not the same exact thing, Pablo? Or
I've already seen some throughout the day on NA, as it does look like Bolts, Kanata, and Sphinx did get that armored vehicle, extra heals, and just rotating right towards the Kappa Cap factory. Very, very similar strategy they did in that last game to get some early surge.
Gotta appreciate these early surge strategies. However, this one right here, ooh. I was gonna say, it's like playing chicken. Like, who's gonna jump first? King jumps first there. I'm not even sure Kanata saw him, but after the rock broke, clearly, Kanata's looking to dive in now. It's just straight jokes when you really think about it.
Feel sorry for him, but it's only gonna be a knock. His teammate, solo player, still down low at the POI. They dropped at. He's trying to pickaxe. Doesn't necessarily, I don't think it works the same with the med mist. I think it's just the water sprites for the most part. But you're seeing everybody just trying to get as many tricks underneath their sleeve. Storm Surge, it kind of frees up your game plan. You can continue to stay in your surge tower. You can rotate early while every other team has to stagger themselves.
Which way is it pulling? It's definitely going north again.
As they look across, Phenom trying to dodge the initial fight at the bridge, but the fight comes to him. He goes down regardless.
Yeah, unfortunately taken out right there. And Eulogy, Yusuf left to contemplate their decisions, and no, Yusuf taken out as well. So Eulogy just completely doubling back now here, kind of giving up the positioning. Player along the outskirts. Probably not even going to have an opportunity to play for those cards either. Let's given the way the zone's going to be, but it seems like he's just going to go ahead and chance it here. Jacob is just going to hang out, see if he can pick up those cards in a couple minutes.
Yeah. Luckily for him, we might have another north zone. You already see it on the edge, pulling up towards the north,
Let's
pulling
go.
towards the west just a little bit. And so for him, he's just hoping a lot of those teams that, particularly the one that got the eliminations, continues to rotate towards the north along with the zone. That'll allow him to go back into the zone, get the reboot back up, and depending on how far it pulls, his teammate will be able to get a little bit of a chance to let up. Cyrus taking down Polus. We saw Polus was a solo, so that team is out of the game here in game number 5. They got one more last chance on the day, and hopefully they can make some minor adjustments with the time that they have at their hands.
You can see while we're chilling in the early game, go check out that shop. Pretty sick merch. They're starting to approach the FNCS Pro-Am coming up. There's so much exciting stuff happening here. It's definitely feeling like such a finals weekend so far. Got to respect the competitors, giving us an amazing set of first 4 games. And things are just heating up. Things are just getting interesting now, Jacob, because we have a tie, right? 3-10 between Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold. Clicks the Zone Higgs.
See, they
average 11, almost 12 kills per game in finals.
And you can see that's on a kind of a downward trend, because game 1 they have 6, game 3 they have 7, last game they have 7. The only game they have at that average or more is game 2, where they actually were able to pull off that victory royale, and you're seeing how the change of pace is really
Epic's doing nothing about surge
like
bases.
Rightfully so.
They can't stop people from building
team,
stuff.
I feel like, in the history of the game, particularly the FNCS, and when you kind of force them to slow things down, really think about their moves, sometimes it just gives your opponents.
Are they gonna ban people from building towers? I guess.
Formulate a strategy to fight back.
Take a look at what Fortnite is.
Just to go down history lane, I think the most aggressive team in all history. MMB.
Ah, you got
you know. All right, I'm just gonna put it out there. Peterbot is the GOAT, but the trio GOATs, MMB all day. But Tony Noisy.
Trio GOATs
Creon
never won an
right here,
FNCS.
Getting
GG's.
active right now. A little bit of a kind of messy fight here for the teams here, but Brutal Boxcars has just been this all day long. You know, starting off, Tony's team was doing so well, maintaining kind of their top 5 position, and it just seems like that strategy not sustainable for them, as it's kind of like digested its way down into just, again, messy fight here at the Brutal Boxcar.
And it almost surprises me because of the buff, so to say, to pump power, where they're landing at, the extra gold, the dill bits, you can see the extra splashes, and the mythic AR that they no longer have because they just lost it in Creon. I would expect them to kind of be following suit to the meta, you know, using the extra heals that they know they can get from the black market to try to get surge, but they're staying true to what they know, playing aggressive. Unfortunately enough, though, it did cost them in this game, giving up not only that mythic collateral AR, they gave up some splashes, they gave up hope to Josh, Causers, and Magma.
Yeah, definitely, and they're just going to move on out, so everyone here just somewhat disengaging, but another team rotating in, so we'll catch up with that fight in just a second. For now, though, we just catch up. Let's catch up with Curly, Rhea, and Coop here. They have just found themselves in high ground. They found themselves in multiple end games, and time again, they've played this so well. Last game, though, you just couldn't expect Muzz's trio. Kelly had a feeling that Muzz's trio was going to end up taking a stab at it, but for so long, no one looked up. No one even tried.
This is another magic zone.
It makes you wonder, why is it that they had so much time up there by themselves?
Yeah, it's just, I think the chaos of the zone pulling towards the north, a lot of teams expending their materials, and then Storm Surge on top of that, kind of forcing everybody to go box to box, toe to toe. Bryce just peeking out, trying to land some shots on Evan and Sandman, and Peterbot over towards Crime City. Finally a fight where they can start to feel
Wait, they're finally like fighting
Peterbot gets the first drop
somebody around it.
Fishy. Pike's trying to disengage, but Cold hot on his tail. And
wait, they have Aoxy in a 3v1.
They backtrack to try to 3v1 the last solo that's here, which is Aoxy. Luckily for him, his teammate's going to get a chance regardless of what happens to get the reboot cards.
I like this push right here from Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold. This is looking...
Don't even run Aoxy, it's over.
Of Major 1 type aggression right now, taking these fights,
GG's.
wrapping them up.
2 kills for Pete.
This way.
3 kills for Pete.
I thought he was going to be able to get out. It was just a wild thought in my imagination. But Peterbot, he's getting back to his old form, Monster. He went and pushed him as a solo. He said, you two handle this. I'll take charge on the other side. And this is after already getting this elimination on the JoJo Fishy to open up the fight.
You see JoJo, like, he was just so many steps behind. Peterbot already had the cone in there. It was already, you know, kind of building. My gosh. This shows you how sharp he is. Updating the look on the standings here in real time. Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot set of eliminations thrust them way up. 4 points per Elim really does start to come into effect, especially later into the tournament when teams start to slow down, really think about their positioning, and almost harbor the fact that they are in the standings, in the race for a win. It's always those adjustments in the strategy that can end up backfiring. But a team like Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot, they've already qualified for Globals. They are just playing differently, and they're going to continue to play better because they don't have those pressures, right? That's my one concern about Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs.
Yeah, and I know I said it last game about Kanada's team. Well, after game number 4, there's a new team in first in terms of distance traveled on the map, and that's Cold, Peterbot, and Ritual. It's not a large number distance, maybe like 6 meters between them and Kanada's team, but it just goes to show, even though they do land closely towards the north side of the zone, they're still constantly rotating around, trying to find damage so that they don't end up having to think about it when they're already below the threshold and really out of options. See the Brutal Boxcars just at the edge of the mountain. That's where Bucky, Cam, and Oka is going to position themselves at. It's kind of separated, though. You see Okus on the side of the mountain with the drum gun. He's going to be the one kind of pointed the role of just spotting out a lot of those teams.
2 chugs, 3 bigs, drum gun.
I don't know why they're down here. We all know they need to start heading towards Magic Mosses. This mountain is only going to be briefly lived.
On God, bro. You might as well just start running to Magic now.
A little bit of
like, there's no point in staying.
Seems like Muzz's team has managed to rotate ahead. Already cutting off these late trios.
What is the band about Okus's name? His name was Okistic.
Right in front of him.
His name was banned a week ago.
Brutal. Remember, we saw Bucky, Okus, and Cam just south of Brutal. A team Visual Braids and a Minish could potentially run into. And so they got to start assessing the situation. They look at all these structures built from small boxes to surge bases, and they're just trying to formulate a strategy of how are we going to rotate into this mess. Going towards the mountain might not be our best play, so I can see a team like them rotating to the north and then going to the east to try to find their comfort.
Here's a team that hasn't moved from their drop. Still Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold. Oh, for a second I thought we jumped in with Clixus. I'm tripping. Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold at the low wolf layer. I was like, hold up. Got a little too comfortable with the team that's normally here. Look at this ridiculous stat. Peterbot has had the most damage dealt in his last 4 FNCS finals across everyone, essentially on the region, really showing you just how much of a force, how much of a juggernaut he is. I would say, though, this final so far, right after these first 4 games, Ritual and Cold really have been the center force of this team's dynamic, of the team's success.
Ooh, did they get it? I thought it was just barely hanging on with the med miss smoke. 20 is going to go down. Liam and Broken from one fight. They're already getting pursued by Visuals, Braids, and a Minish. Looking at this as a chance of some easy surge, as Broken is going to be on the other side. Slow playing their role right here. They don't want to get too antsy because remember, this is all enemy territory in terms of builds. They're really just trying to take their time. They have the gold splashes, extra pickaxe swing. They see Liam on the other side. Now it's a decision of how they're going to try to 3v1. They do have an opportunity here. Liam tries to break his way down, skirts his way through these boxes, just a little bit of safety.
You see Visuals losing track for a second.
Oh, Minish is very weak.
Frazzled in the mix there. I gotta say, the pacing, this game has been honestly very much consistent.
This is another Magic Dojo.
So many teams looking to engage on one another. Peterbot mixing up the strategy here, really bringing us a whole new dynamic right to their play style right now, and
you can't escape it.
It's still playing to the north, so very, very interesting to watch how, again, teams refining their plays.
There's no escaping the magic, man.
The zones have been very much similar every single game, but
oh, I was about to say.
Liam re-engaging now onto the team, but visuals with the side jump here. Both sides still knowing that they punished each other, though. The confidence is there. It's going to come down to one huge shot. Braids,
oh my God.
In the exchange, and a beautiful piece right there onto Broken.
Look at Braids.
Going to put them in the lead now.
All right, 2 kills for Braids visuals a minute.
200 to 7. They're very much comfortable now.
Yeah, EU had like the same zones, yeah.
Primarily on those rotations.
Blessing up the North teams, man.
The battle that they're gonna have to go through as it literally goes over.
Dude, I think Pink should have did better today.
No, this is not deja vu or a rerun. It's just where we like to see our competitors try to frantically find their way in. 681 for Reek Cooper.
Like all these teams
Curly.
got. I mean, there's no way this happens
again
tomorrow.
From
I mean, there's definitely ways.
Now, but instead of going deep into the zone, they're gonna find themselves.
What did he place? I think Pink finished like.
And kind of box up and make space.
7, 8, or 9.
Some other teams in
they did pretty good, but they
first by Taki Isha and Vert.
7th,
some cheeky shots being traded back.
I mean, one of the they got 3 straight dojo games. Did good 2 of them. Dudded 1. If they would have did good in that other game, probably like top 3 after day 1.
For the amount of Magic Moss's end games in consecutive order on a final.
Actually, like goated zones.
As we are approaching zone 6 now, and I'm just looking at the northwest lining here from Tyler Curve and Shadows. They're gonna have to continue to
Darm did really bad with those zones too.
Across the field, past the pump power.
Peter and Clicks are tied right now, Juicy.
But someone's lurking behind and finds a couple cheeky tags there before they get on the move. Meanwhile, Phenom.
Dang, Bryce is dying to surge, man. Bro, like a team like Bryce like them needing to run the Magic Mosses every game is like so cool.
Talk about an unfortunate turn of events here just outside the pump power, and they're also left to play the Storm, so they really don't have much to work with.
Yeah, they're gonna take a long rotation around, but since it is pulling, a lot of those teams.
Oh, I love that Acorn's already in.
Kind of
wait,
relying on the
I love where Acorn is right now.
Rather slow approach is gonna have less congestion and an easier spot for them to position themselves in. As
Acorn's actually in a great spot.
I wouldn't say they're the highest team up, because you look across, you see the only other team threatening that position, but they have their eyes on them. That's a team they're going to be looking at from zone to zone, depending on where it pulls, to make sure that they're the ones that have the best chance to solidify high ground.
Yeah, the team I would be most concerned with is definitely that Muzz Jab Corner Rise trio right there. We've already saw that they have the.
I mean, I think that'd be pretty funny if all zones tomorrow are just like the exact opposite. Like, that would be so troll.
Meanwhile, look at this high ground hold right here. Clicks
then technically everybody should be happy.
To see them once again positioned
6 for you, 6 for them.
Very well here. And not only that, they're kind of away from the congested southern area, right? They've already.
South zones help Clicks. I mean, Clicks is mid map. It doesn't really matter.
Very, very perfectly as far as their position is
mid map
concerned.
teams like can do fine with either.
Opening up a nice little.
They're mid map. They like. Are in a perfect spot regardless.
Shots by Causers.
They have people rotating into them either way.
That took down Creon. That's how he's able to get these extra splashes. That's how he was able to get the mythic collateral AR.
Another Moss's zone.
Boxcars, you see they weren't really allowed a lot of opportunities to get surged, and so they're barely.
Let's flip and go, guys. This needs to be the Acorn win, chat. 5 gifted if Acorn wins. 5 gifted.
All the way on over towards the east.
I will get 5.
Getting a medium-sized pull, but there are some players.
I want to see it. I want to lose 5 gifted here.
Yeah,
take my money.
Clicks was one of the few teams on that max pull here. Boyo Ages and Acorn.
Are they ticking up there?
Up the high ground team.
Oh, they just got chopped. 3 kills for Acorn.
Goes for the break. It's actually Acorn who sets up the break.
They got 0 of those kills. Oh my God, Agers bang 5 kills.
Was under the base.
No, don't go for that.
And now they're gonna be looking to rotate across here. Splash comes out.
Okay, they just got 3 kills. They have 5.
And there they
30
go.
kill win, chat. Stamp it. 40 kill win. Don't care.
Right there.
They're gonna kill their remaining 49.
That was perfect for
54
them.
kill win.
Team just at the edge of the zone on high ground, but they look across, immediately set their eyes on bolts.
Oh my God!
Worked yet again. Agers.
Kanata almost just like he just got his wig ripped off.
Damage while at it. And for a lot of these teams that are already positioned on the high ground, it's just a waiting game. See where the zone
Cooper died.
down below.
They get the res though, maybe.
They become the focus. Shots breaking through, but they're able to get the double revive off. Quick med miss smoke going down. But eventually,
that was
they're gonna have
Bolts
to turn
up.
this situation around because they're only 3
yeah, they
damage
do
above
have.
the threshold.
Sorry,
They have
I
to
just
figure
saw
out a way
Nada.
to work, and they have to figure it out now because
Same
they've just fallen below.
Nada. Bolts Nada, Max Nada.
28 above.
Don't pull a zone Nada.
A slither of hope in a dream.
Have to run
right
to
now.
Magic
This is the
Monsters
worst
every
we've
game,
seen
Nada.
Curly, Rhea, and Coop right now as we're approaching into this final rotating zones here, and they're right amongst the congestion.
SG pull
Trying
every
to decide
zone.
which way to go here and now.
SG, I have to run 10 meters every game.
Nice little find for some loot there. And still though, greed starting to kick in here as they're trying to just kind of regather themselves. That
Bro, I want to
little
see
fight
the
just cost them so much
stats
material usage there. Meanwhile,
on like
Acorn, Boyo
I want to see
have that high
Acorns
ground on lock
like
right now.
meters move
And take a look at what they're
stats,
doing,
and then
just
I
putting
want to
out
see the
so
same
much
thing for
pressure.
Re. I want to
You
see
would've
how
thought Canada
different it
would've been
is.
happy, put a little bit of a zone
I wonder
pull
if it's
there, but no,
similar.
forced to kind of rotate back across now. So you get one, and you get to get taken by another.
I mean, I feel like Reed still has like a decent amount of meters
really
because
nobody
like they're
that's really
staying alive
positioned
every
themselves on
game.
the front
So
side
like
of the zone,
that
high
might be
ground
making
just
up
yet.
for the. Oh my God,
Bolts
Acorn
Sphinx
on
there
high
that
chat.
side. If he's Skittles champ,
Holy.
they're on that side as well. They might not
Lagers
have
on
the
high. We
material
needed
to
a
back it up.
Lagers 3-1 comeback
But
here.
on the low ground, 300 plus damage above. You're seeing them find little opportunities like this. It's actually Cooper. Remember when they were getting focused? This is who was at the cause of it all. Cold, Peterbot Ritual. They take down
Peterbot's
Cooper and
taking
leave it
out
as a duo.
Bucky. Acorn got one of those
Big
kills.
play right here. Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold haven't looked any better than this. Cat material, final moving zone starting to play out here. And we might be
All right, here we go, chat.
witnessing this
Threats just
team
died to Mus.
really look to separate themselves
Threats
from
gets
the pack,
rezzed up.
but not before we get out
Maybe.
with Clicks' trio.
Yeah,
see
Threats
how
gets
they're
rezzed.
doing,
All
but
good.
first, Threats, Rapid, and Booga. A knock comes into Threats, but it's not over just yet. High ground still being
Oh my
beautifully
God, that is
maintained by
beautiful.
Boyo, Acorn, and Agers.
Beautiful
A
high
textbook
ground.
strategy
I don't even
here.
care.
Now,
Take my
you
5
keep in
game.
mind, though, they are so high up that they're not connected to any other builds, right? So this structure is going to become increasingly vulnerable as the zone starts to pull across.
Oh my
So
God,
we're
Peter's
looking at some teams,
555. That's
particularly
so
this
bad
one,
for Acorn.
to maybe see if they like the odds.
He
of
is
being able to look at high
555
ground.
right now,
Quick
first
Sionzo Higgs,
moving.
They're getting pressured backside of the zone. He almost gets lost from the rest of his teammate, but he's still figuring out a way back. Almost
Clicks is,
going through unscathed until
wait,
that
Clicks
moment.
is very
Shield's
split
gone
from
just like
Ionzo.
that,
He's
but
getting
the
back to
builds
them,
that
though.
he just had to expend in this situation, an immense amount, but he still figures out a way
Clicks is
back
back
to
with
his
the
teammate.
trio. Muzz
Meanwhile,
is still
Peterbot
alive as a trio, bro.
getting
Muzz
VC
is
on
mounting the
other side.
comeback
Doesn't matter
here.
who crosses his path,
Muzz is
he's
playing
ready to take
great
him
the
down.
past 3 games.
Yes, critical moment right now for all the teams. on
Actually
your screen
great.
here.
Kanada's
Agers,
finally
Acorn,
playing an
Boyo.
in-game.
It just looks like the
Acorn might
recipe for
finally get
success on
something
NA.
better than
They
8th
don't even
place.
look for height.
Holy
Just take
chat.
it and then play
I feel
it
like
out,
I'm waking
ride
up
it
from
out,
like a
and make yourself
nightmare
an
right
endgame.
now.
Meanwhile, everyone else is doing the dirty work for you. Clicks this team in a box
Shadow's
fight here
trio
down
still
the low
alive.
ground.
Braids'
They're in
trio
desperate
still
need of
alive, I
refresh, but
believe.
teams on
Booga's
both
trio
sides
still
have
alive.
the layers here, but Ionzo and Higgs are cooking up, and finally now they get that elimination.
One
that they
kill
were
for
looking
Clicks.
down there. Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold, though, cooking on the mid-ground layer, starting to work their way up towards height. They are looking to go ahead and do something
5
big
for
here.
Peter.
Up Peterbot goes.
Oh,
He's
no,
itching his way
no,
up. He's got
no.
plenty of maps to
Okay,
play
thank
with.
you.
Looking to
No,
work.
they're looking at it.
Yep, he's already changed layers. They didn't go for the
Oh,
high ground
they're
just
looking
yet.
at
Now
it.
he's reassessing the situation.
No.
But as soon as that happens, they put the pressure down, and the battle's gonna begin.
Come on, Pollo.
Peterbot's going up. He's now
Oh,
warmed
it's
up,
over.
and
They
Hive's
have
ready
to give it
go,
up.
and he's
They don't
instantly
have
on the
enough.
high ground. Ritual Cold on the
Oh,
other side. They're following
wait, only
suit. It does
19
look like Acorn
builds.
probably made the call to disengage.
His
It's
match
not
just
worth it,
disappeared.
especially with the materials they likely have already expended.
And look at that. He now starts to target them, gets to the front side. He is
just had
outplaying
555.
them little by little, but Acorn's team goes for the med miss. That's the perfect play to keep this team distracted, keep them on their toes. Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold can't really get situated here, and they're starting to run out
Okay,
of material.
30 builds
They
for
lost a
Pete.
little mad split count. Peterbot.
Where's he going?
No. Ritual falls there from another.
Oh, was he
team.
just going to
Seems
connect, I
focused
guess?
them.
And high ground, it pushes back. They
Ritual
are ready
somehow
for it, but
died,
Ritual
too.
going
Wait,
down.
they're
That leaves
dead.
them in a 2v3
Peter's
situation.
dead. 3
Peterbot
builds.
quickly running out of builds. 3 materials left. Forced to drop down low. Cold is gonna follow.
Pollo
and they
outlasted. I don't know how
retaken their
Ritual
glory in the
died.
clouds.
I think they
Pollo,
died while
Agers,
being,
and Acorn
like-
have waited for this moment. They have 9 eliminations. and
All
they're
of their
looking for
attention
more.
was just
If Ritual
taken.
didn't fall there, that was a
They might have got beamed
ridiculous
from
play for
underneath.
Peterbot, but hold up. He's
Oh my
still
God,
going.
Peter's
Don't
jumping
count
in.
out just yet. This is what we've been waiting for. Now he's
Clicks
the
is
last
still
man standing
alive.
here. Rapid
Clicks is
barely
gonna
slips
take the
away,
lead after
and
this
he
game.
misses the chance,
Unless
the
Clicks dies
opportunity
here.
for the siphon. No max now, and
and it's all up to him.
We've seen him in these situations before.
I mean, he has 0 builds. I've seen Peter clutch a lot of things before. I don't know if he's clutching this.
Trying to figure out where they're at. There goes almost a one pump. That's Kaz's who goes down, and a pick-me-up opportunity as he gets the chug jug and the siphon.
I think he might be clutching this.
Tries to see what else is there for me to go ahead and absorb.
Only a 10 chug left, 10 builds.
Clicks.
Oh my god, wait. Clicks' team's getting... Wait, he can kill Higgs maybe in the back. Oh my. Another body. Floppers. He's got a flopper and a med. He didn't pop the flopper. He didn't pop it. He didn't pop it. It didn't pop. Oh no. The flopper didn't pop.
The Yamzo and Higgs are not going to let that happen.
Yep, we've seen
oh
them
my god.
already on the day as a duo.
He canceled it.
Got a victory royale under their belt, and both solos are just climbing higher and higher.
It's Poyo and Yapko versus Clicks, or Higgs and Iamzo. It's Higgs and Iamzo as a duo again.
Trying to buy himself some extra time from second to third. Those extra points could be the difference, but he
it's gonna be an Iamzo and Higgs solo duo clutch win. It's a win this time.
The first team to win 2.
Oh, bro, they just clutched a first and a second back-to-back as a duo. Clicks, Higgs, and Iamzo are now in first by almost 40 points after that. 9-kill win. Ritual, Cold Peter are in second after that game. Rapid, Booga, Threats are in third. Reed, Cooper, Curly, fourth. Muzz, Rise, and Yapko are now in fifth after that. Visual, sixth. Ager, seventh. Cynics, eighth. Shadow, ninth. Tacky, 10th. Dang, that's actually tough that, who's the one who popped Poyo for height? That was, you mean after Peter fought them? Muzz fought them. That was a third with 12 kills, though. They don't get the win, but, I mean, that game puts them back in the mix, at least. Like, the mix for third. The gap is humongous right now. The gap is actually huge. It's like a 2-team race for first right now after 5. And then it's basically everybody fighting for third. Yeah, you're a 50-point lead is pretty big when a team is averaging a 3.8 placement average and almost a 4.5. Yeah, Land is only top 4 right now, so Land would be Reet. Yeah, these zones are terrible though. These zones are actually just disgusting. That is another Clicks prediction win. Chat, let's do who finishes day 1 first. We'll do Clicks or Peter. You kind of need some help if you're voting for Peter here, but it is possible. Kanata's still not top 10. Rough day for Kanata right now. All right, all right, Chad, last giveaway of the day. We'll just do Clicks again, chat. Type Clicks in the chat to join the giveaway. Clicks won again, so we'll do Clicks again as the keyword. Keyword is Clicks. You only have to type it once if you guys want 3 times sub luck on all giveaways. Make sure you guys do subscribe if you would like. You could have 3 times luck on all giveaways. Or just follow it if you want as well. You only have to be a follower on Twitch. Only a Twitch only giveaway here. Sorry. I mean, it's been a pretty entertaining day today. I'm not gonna lie. The zones all being north is a bit boring, but not like boring, but I don't know. There's just no diversity in zones. Like, I feel like we're watching the same end game over and over again. All right. I'll run that giveaway in a second. We still have 3 minutes until they're even back on the broadcast. Is there a bunch of new stuff in the shop? Looks doing this without the black market? Yeah, they basically traded the black market. Like, instead of getting 6 chugs from the black market, they're getting 6 zones. Pretty good. Not gonna lie. Pretty good trade-off. 6 out of 6 zones. Freaking crazy. Dwarf Dad tweet? Is Dwarf Dad crashing out about the zones, or? Just tell us who you want to win with all these Northwest zones. W Dwarf Dad, bro. Dwarf Dad's crashing out. All right, chat, I'm running the giveaway. All right, winner of the giveaway is... Oh, it's Lynn. Lynn wins. Lynn here. I mean, yeah, Peterbot is obviously underperforming. I mean, he's been dead first like 3 games. All right. They're still in a great spot. But is Lynn here? So it's not too late because I'll re-roll in a second. Wait, is Lynn in the chat? Oh my god, they're not even in the chat. All right, I'll re-roll. Bad wins. All right, bad wins. All right, bad with the victory. That is a sub as well. Let's go. All right, W bad. Chat, make sure to get your predictions in. 20 seconds left on the prediction. Does Clicks finish first day 1? Clicks or Peterbot, who finishes first on day 1? If it's somehow Rapid or Reet or Muzz.
Welcome back, Fortnite fam, to the
that is rather unlucky.
Day number 1 of finals is on its
He typed
last
after the giveaway?
game. Day 1 is about laying the foundation.
He
So day
probably
number 2,
typed it
we can come back stronger and look to claim one of 3 spots going to globals later this year. This last game, Clicks Eamzo
he typed it earlier now. I didn't reset it because it's the same code.
Royale. They are
I did not.
almost 100 points ahead of 3rd place. Now, obviously, we talked about Clicks, Higgs, and Eamzo. Before we went to breaks, we wanted to kind of go ahead and head down the standings, right? Let's go ahead and focus in on Peterbot, who is not letting go.
So, just to remind everyone of Major 1, we actually saw at the end of day 1, Ritual Cold and Peterbot 90 points below first place, Agers, Acorn, and Poyo. And so, mathematically speaking, if we see another similar game from Peterbot, Ritual, and Cole, they'll be in a better position than where they were in Major 1 after the end of day 1. Now, this is something that we've talked about for the last 2 years about Peterbot especially, is that he is a day 2 player. Historically speaking, throughout all the majors, they have performed exponentially, or not exponentially, but they perform better in day 2. And now with there not being a 1.5x multiplier for the points like what we saw for Major 1, that's no longer going to have as big of an impact as we've seen last year. However, this is the first game we've seen Peterbot have that solo clutch, Vivid, that we know he can pull out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that flopper right there. Right before the flopper went off, looks like he picked up the Chug Jug, which ended up replacing the flopper in his inventory, so that one didn't go off. Could have maybe potentially even got more from that one right there. But they did such a good job of taking height. They had so many materials. Peterbot just used it to go ahead and pretty much just free build up to the high ground. Took it from Acorn, Agers, and Polio, but it was just one of those scenarios again where Acorn, such a good play, just dipped out in the storm, had a couple of med miss. They just sat back there, and Peterbot knew. He tried to even push into the storm to 1v3 them to prevent that. Ultimately could not do it, but yeah, still good game from them.
Yeah, another great game, obviously, from Pollo, Agers, and Acorn. We saw, once again, Zone 8, a little bit of a tower, which eventually turned into this incredible tarp that they had throughout the entirety of that game until Peterbot did try and steal. But the recovery that we had from this trio, just like you were saying, Vivid, them, once they lost height, pulling back a little bit, healing up, and then going once again for the high ground take. I love being able, it's not just what do you do right, but that when things go wrong for you, how do you handle it? And this is one of the trios that handles it best.
Yeah, and we gotta give a quick shout out to
dude, these zones are bad.
Because while that was all going on,
it's not even like they're that bad, but
they were like, hey, listen, we can go ahead and take height again. After games 1 and 2, they were in
like this is definitely on
place.
purpose.
They're now in 5th.
That the zones are all north like this. It has to be.
I want to talk about so many more trios, but unfortunately, time is out, which means we've got to go back aboard that battle bus for the last time tonight. Yes, I know we are already at game number 6, so buckle up, get your popcorn, because this is it. After today, we call it quits. We come back tomorrow and hope we've VOD reviewed, learned, or done whatever we've needed to do to secure one of 3 spots going to the Global Championship. With that being said, for the last time today, MDF Jacob PR, take it away.
Thank you, Zeke, and that's right. 6 games of Fortnite on the first day, 6 more tomorrow, and we're already in the final moments here. Jacob, who would have thought it'd play out in this way? And now Clicks having 40 points ahead of Peterbot's trio is definitely making it interesting.
Yeah, and I saw on social media after that game that prophecy is what they're calling
No way
it.
this is what chat's going to be for the
here?
next.
It's the last game
Who
of
knows
the
how
day,
long,
Monster. Let's jump right into it. I was talking about the prophecy because if you look at the EU leaderboards of who's on first place, if you look at the match history of Clicks, Higgs, and Yamzo, it is almost identical. They just need to go through this one last game of the day. But what you've also seen, Monster, is a lot of jumps up to the top spots on that leaderboard. We will not crown an FNCS champion today, but the goal is to get as close to the top as possible to give yourself an easier day tomorrow.
It's crazy because we're basically 1 day away from one of the most iconic FNCSs that we may ever have, especially for this year. This is going to be one for the books here, but again, still many games of Fortnite left in front of us. For Coop, he's already situated, jumping over to Noah W plays here in his drop spot. He's kind of mixing things up, leaning back towards the Magic Mosses. This has been his bread and butter. The Tick Fuse and Maniac also, of course, contesting them here. So it's final game. They're looking to kind of play.
Will I be upset if Clicks wins? Yeah, dude, I'd be so upset.
Just ever so slightly.
I maybe shed a tear.
Yeah, I think
or
ever
be
since
like,
that
I'd be
first
super
couple of
angry.
games where they are actually finding it out
I'd be
off the
too
spawn.
mad.
Both teams taking a little bit of a slower approach, get some loot, don't necessarily engage right out of the gates, and give yourself, honestly, a fighting chance. But it does look like one team has priority over that black market than the other. So it's going to be a little bit of extra loot there, but back on over the bridge fight. 6 out of 6 games so far. These two teams have been going at it.
Yeah, Clicks was in first Nitro season. Or not Nitro.
Yeah, this is
No,
one that is.
he was first with Vino.
There are no winners here other than the short-lived victories of your points you're farming up off the gate. This time around, seems like Prom Donnie and Joe G are getting their clap back.
Oh, that is Nitro season. Yeah, sorry.
I think it's just Yusef by himself across too.
But when the giveaway, Bad
left,
did. Bad,
another knock.
will never win.
In the minimap, so 3v1 situation here. Really wouldn't wish it on everybody.
Sorry, Nitro
is
is
the last
season 3
game of the day, and it's really going to set the tone and the pace going into tomorrow, depending on how you approach the situation. But Yusef going all in, and he gets sent all the way
Dude, I
back
really
down
never
the lobby.
played. Dwarf that just got banned.
To a close for Phenoms trio here.
Unlucky,
now.
bro. We'll take all the
They're just
Booga
gonna
viewers.
have to reevaluate tomorrow, right? Like, what do you do?
Come
when
in,
you
settle
have a
down.
drop spot that's
Maybe
kinda
give
not really
5.
in your favor? It's
Maybe
one of your
give 10.
first FNCS appearances,
Prime sub
right?
here and there.
You really do want to hit the drawing board.
Business as usual over on this side of things, though. Crime City. They land over towards that server room. They get
Who's the IGL and
train,
Crazies trio? Craze.
and then they get all of this black market. And through most of these games, except for maybe one of them, it's been cold, kind of basing
Nah, it does
up
sound
on
like
top of this
Dwarf Dad was
Crime
crashing.
City black market, getting a lot of their surge at the top. This time switching a little bit of the roles. Ritual's gonna
probably-
be the leader of that one this time around.
He probably
And you've
has
seen
had some
everybody
Clicks
sticking
fans
to the
raging
game
at
plan.
him after
Or
that
at least
tweet.
everybody that we know inside of the top 5, just sticking to the early storm surge strategy.
Just got to work on maxing out these materials here and then get straight back to fishing for tags, of course. Click Sionzo and Higgs. Even with
What's his
again,
Twitter?
how
Like, just Dwarf
great
Dad,
of a
I think.
day they've had, those victory royales have not come for free by any means. They've all been battled from the low ground, right? These are very impressive wins.
Looking on over into the distance, towards Crime City. Oh, Peter
Wait,
actually
what if
sneaking up.
that's-
This is
I
second
wonder
place
what the
Monster,
zones
first
look like on
place
every other
Monster, Something
region.
I didn't expect, and they're both solos as of now.
Wait.
It is going to be Higgs versus Peter.
Oh my, Peter.
His help is going to come a
Wait.
heck of a lot quicker than anybody would
Wait,
expect.
wait.
'Cause they're
Peter's
already
already- he
there.
doesn't even wanna
Peter
wait
Bot
till
with the
day
high
2.
ground, trying to take the upward approach.
He doesn't
jumping
even wanna
on top
wait.
of Clicks, just doesn't land the shot though. Where
Day
is his
1
help?
mid-game
Where
fight.
is his reinforcements? They're too close behind.
Higgs is
and
dead to
there's no one
cold.
that's really taking advantage
Man,
of it.
this city is
This what
cold. He's
happens
not
when you
even
get
on that
too
org anymore. It
comfortable.
doesn't even
Peter Bot here
matter.
trying to really take this
They
game,
didn't even
this
wanna wait
tournament,
until day
and put it
2.
into his own hands, and you can see Cold putting shots in from the side as well. So
They're paying him
the
a visit early.
reinforcements are starting to arrive.
Clicks is
on the
1
run here,
HP.
No HP left for him.
Iamzo's
Let's not
1
forget those other
HP.
trios that have been also
Oh,
looking
there's nowhere to
around for
run,
tags
Clicks.
here, are gonna start
Clicks only has
focusing
hands,
backwards
too.
now. Little heal goes off for Clicks there, but he is off.
Oh
and
my
Peter
God,
Bot
what
is
am I
hot on
watching?
the heels right now.
Yeah, everybody
Here
talks
we
about
go.
contesting in game 12.
There's nowhere to
we
run.
Got it out of Queasy and Thomas at the Global Championship. We got it out of
Peter
Queasy
is
and Venlo at the
chasing Clicks
Invitational.
down. Oh
And
my
now
God,
we're
chat, we're
to
getting a
end
war on
day
Twitter.
1. Frankie was
200.
right on EU. Are we now
They're
watching day
dancing
2
on
already as
him. Oh
Clicks
my
goes down,
God.
and they're letting him know
Nah.
it was us.
You'll
It
never
was
see
second
this on
place. It
Epu.
was the ones that
You'll
were on
never
your
see this on
heels.
Epu.
And Iamzo is still alive
Nah.
on the outskirts, but my gosh, talk about a turn of events right now. He's all that is left standing.
Dude,
here.
they're
Jacob,
actually just so
how
troll,
can he
bro.
claw
There's
back from this one. I mean, there's only a couple of options.
Nah, wait, your channel
Do
points
you
are
think
gone,
Cold,
chat. Your
Peter
channel
Bot,
points are
Ritual
actually
thought it all
GG, by the way. Look at Cold.
I
Show us
think
the
this is
piece.
a bold
Woo!
Peter Bot call. I think
I
they did
mean,
think this one out.
Chat,
I think maybe they were saving
it might.
for day 2.
I think it's getting colder in the room too,
with
bro.
all the confidence that's being built right now, they say, why not take it under our own control? And Kelly said it, or Vivid, in Major 1, they were down 90 points going into day 2. Now with them taking down 2/3 of the first place team, this is the best shot that they have to get the lead going into day 2 themselves.
You know what's the best part about this? The difference between Peterbot, Ritual, and Cole's team and Clix's trio is that this team's already going to Global Championship. They can just focus on being the champions of this major right now.
It's just a confidence move. That's a move I feel like 99% of Fortnite players talk about, but only 5% even have the confidence, if that, to
Okay,
do
they
it.
did get
But
res
they
though.
reboot into Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual territory over towards Crime City. There's a lot of scraps left behind because you got to think, Monster.
Where did-
how
I wonder where
fast
Peter
they
went.
actually
Oh
made
my
that
God, wait,
rotation
Chad,
on
do you think
over to
Peter's going
Lone
to the
Wolf
black
take this
market
fight.
now?
So in theory, there should be a lot of loot left behind for the rebooted players.
I was just thinking, like,
Yeah,
does he
Kanata's
have
tweet's
enough
probably
gold,
true.
right?
Yeah,
Of
there was an
course
event
he should,
today, I
given that
think.
they land here at the Crime City.
But the zones are probably all pulling
Look
up
at this,
north
Cold
for
is
that
sitting
reason.
there, though. They are thinking about.
Oh, they think the cards are in here.
Because, you know,
no, they probably don't.
Right?
He probably is AFK.
He comes back, they're just waiting there. But he's picked up the information. I think they figured it out. And they're looking to key right back into it. Probably going right back to the crime city. Just to go ahead and investigate. See what's going on here.
Yeah, I'm not sure the likelihood
for
of
what
for
what Roland
this far away. But
yeah, Cole's just pulling it up.
Yeah. If you're a Yamzo, you could run and
UAV inbound.
Backtrack.
Orbital VSATs in the sky.
Try to get that reboot and an uncontested.
They got the Twitch theater on.
Exactly who took you down. That would be one of the first guesses here, but you're seeing a lot of the early game.
I mean, that is a good play for Peter, technically.
Rise down to just a chunk of
Don't
HP,
people every
with
season
want
second place to land on first and stuff like that?
But it's the time they need to buy to let that be a possibility.
That's literally what people want every season, but when it happens, because it's clicks that it's getting done to, everybody's probably saying they're griefing. Or something dumb like that.
When they do eventually fight or disengage,
since it's happening to clicks,
they're healthy enough so they don't get taken down.
Oh my god.
Right now for globals because they need these points.
Look at Yapka.
They can't afford to fall here in game 6 now on day number 1.
See, look at Stars. Stars is mad. He's a Clicks fan. He doesn't like when a good play happens. I mean, Peter could do that every game if he wanted to.
After those first 2 games didn't go their way, they have never looked back.
It almost makes you wonder why they even broke up as
Clicks is at the mercy of Peterbot every game he plays Fortnite.
Same pace in Major 1 that
he's in Clicks' stream. Nice, bro. Yeah, he's stream sniping on a 40-minute delay. Nice. 40-minute delay. Everything's blacked out. No comms. Let's go, bro. He's stream sniping so hard on that 70-minute delay. You got it, dude.
And now they sees Higgs. Probably knows this outfits, and they're just making sure that this team has no chance at keeping that first place spot intact.
No way they just box up Higgs and like, yeah,
Higgs
you're not
is
going
cooked,
anywhere,
brother.
Son. You're staying right here with us. And then they're letting Cold
OP. GG. I mean, they're just farming him. Like, this could literally be every game if they wanted to. You don't think Peterbot could rush up there and do this every game?
Clash of the biggest Titans in the Fortnite community right here and now, in much different stakes on the line, right? Peterbot is going to globals. This trio's going to globals already. Clicks' trio.
They don't even, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They do not
need to earn it this time.
Peter is like #1 crash
game. 36 points ahead of Peterbot.
Hell, grief. I mean, I guess getting free kills is griefing.
And they're
might have different
like
terms,
just saying, hey, we're
like different definitions for the terms.
Just farming eliminations onto you guys.
You see it as griefing, I see it as free surge, free kills.
Straight off eliminations.
That's basically what I just saw.
It's only a 24-point difference.
They're making a strategical play to get first place.
And Reet, they notice the zone has a different trajectory this time around, towards the south.
There's no way Clicks fans actually think they're stream sniping. He's on a 5-minute delay, chat. You can't stream snipe that. That's not possible.
Rotate as quick as possible and beat every single one of these teams on that rotation.
I was just about to say, for Clicks, Yamzo, and Higgs, you know, it's almost like Peterbot is taunting them too, right? Because they could keep following them. They could take them down, but it's almost like, hey, how badly you want to go to globals, bro? Right? Like, it's crazy. Because there could be...
They're just buying the card over and over again.
A little bit of that extra intentional, like, yeah, let me get away.
They have gold.
Let's keep it interesting. It's almost what it feels like here in Game 6. But you got to think about it. Every time
y'all just think
taken
like
down like that and set back.
Bro, y'all just think everybody stream snipes.
It's
actually crazy.
Things are getting reset. Ultimately, they are definitely falling.
They literally
behind
saw
right
which direction Yamzo probably ran after they killed them.
But on the flip side, if they
there's only one direction he could have went.
Keep their first place position attack.
And they probably saw the reboots in the kill feed.
What do you do to stop?
That's why Cold started running. He was sitting in that shack. He probably thinks they don't have cards.
They're trying to turn him back. They know
he sees the reboots in the kill feed, so they're like, oh, they rebooted. Let's stop camping. They push. The only place they could have won is south.
Continue to rotate in for them.
They ran back to
the
the
bunch
POI.
of the other teams on the south side of the zone. This is a much different ball game because now they actually have a chance to set up, a chance to kind of position themselves the way they want to.
Already on the move right now. This is a team that's on the hunt.
Bro, this controller Faxity guy gifted me 5 subs and is like mocking my viewers. Like, what?
Almost business.
You gave me your money.
For Acorn, Agers, and Boyer right now.
Man, top 7 in the last 11.
The guy's not real.
NA, FNCS. Is that 3 years? 3 majors a year, give or take. Nah, that's almost 4 years of top 7. That is just incredible consistency of one of the best IGLs. Surrounds himself with some of the best
dead? Nah, they
players
rebooted
and brings
again.
out the best in those players. That's just a testament of the type of person he is.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly.
Are you the only one who wants Peter to get humbled?
Shadow Curve and
I mean,
Tyler just trying to get back into the mix here. 4 eliminations this game.
there's
so
no
very
humbling
active
Peter bot.
game for the Young Bucks here. And they're at 215
What
points.
is- what is getting
You gotta
humbled?
give any
You want him to
team
get,
that
like-
has broken that 200 threshold
Oh my
tons
God,
of
they're
credit,
fighting
but
Golden now.
This is what we knew would happen.
Iamzo dead,
This is
Higgs
what we
dead.
expected.
Well, Higgs and Clicks are
Clicks, Higgs, and Iamzo being set back so
about to be
much.
150
It's
HP
gonna force
instantly.
them into just, again,
Just like that?
situations that they
Oh, that's
haven't put
crazy,
themselves in
like,
today.
They're both
Given
1
how the zones
HP.
have kind of
They
played out
just
in their favor.
instantly are back
And
to
somehow
150.
they luckily get
in, like,
a full
1
reset
second, and
here,
they get the
and he
red.
managed to actually save Higgs.
There's actually crazy heals in this
Iamzo
game
here,
right now.
who's down right now. Like, I
Head
didn't even
miss.
think that was going to be possible. It was looking like it
They
was
just
about
do
to be all
another
over.
med. They're all alive, 150
Another
plus
reboot
HP
was
that
coming in
fast.
store. That was my thoughts, but there's a second team. G Money, Bryce, and Osid trying to sneak up towards that mountain, seeing what all this noise is about. It's Golden Void and Ozone have to be very, very careful. They've been kind of separated. Put into
No
a
way Ritual
shambles
doesn't have 10
situation,
kills.
And there's another
GGs.
team on top of that
All right.
mountain as well. So I think Clicks, Iamzo, Higgs getting some Storm Surge that they need, damage for what's happened in the early portion of the game, and then just to disengage altogether, especially since where the zone is kind of ending up. It does look like it is going to pull in their favor.
Just looking at the heals here as we're starting to assess this end game right now. Threats, Booga, Rapid, Seaport City getting a little bit of love right now for the first time. Coming into the mid game right now, so no rush for this trio to make a move just yet.
I like that.
Just
Threats
playing
leads
this high
all
ground.
players for damage dealt. Almost 6,800 damage. Even with a lot of those north pulls, I feel like that's been the key to their success in being able to accumulate that Storm Surge. When teams have to rotate time and time again, zone after zone, game after game, they're crossing through their paths. And they've conditioned a lot of the teams just south of Seaport City.
Bro, chat, the
to
Clicks
either
fans
rotate
are
through us,
going
get surge
berserk
tags, or go somewhere
on
else
all platforms right
altogether.
now. The siren has been
Already
like
on the move
alarmed.
right now.
They're crashing out everywhere.
Final kind of stretch here to start getting situated before they have to move out of the Seaport City. Hellhound had that mountain before. He's just hiding out right now. Not trying to get caught out by Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual, who are likely on the hunt for him right now. Peterbot's game sense letting him know, hey, there's only so many places you could be. However, it's kind of like a rhino, you know? You just don't move, you can't be seen. Hellhound manages to kind of escape here.
I mean, that's a smart play on
no.
Peter.
But the teammate
Like, they could do that tomorrow too if they
a little
want.
too close to the fire.
They know they have a massive loot advantage.
His teammates probably tell him, it's okay if you get eliminated.
Like, they
just
know.
buy me time. Just take them far away.
And they have a
I'll
massive
get
skill
our other
advantage.
duos
Oh
reboot.
my.
We'll get back into the game and we'll come back for your card as
That guy just, Nerface just
quickly
got
shuts him down in a
pissed on.
1v1 situation, replenishes the materials, and he's back on the run yet again. This is just
And
an
this is where
incredible situation.
Peterbot really starts to gain his confidence, right? When you
Yeah.
see him start to have fun in the game. You know, the first couple games he was falling early. He was almost out of his
I mean, Clicks
out
could
of his
still
zone,
very
right out of the
likely be in
element,
first
but
after this game. They're not.
come
They're
game
literally
6,
alive.
puts
We
it
also
all
have our
on the
first
line,
south zone of the day,
starts
by
to
the way.
really
We've
make
been
a
pretty
case
caught up
for
in the
evening
elements of
here.
this game.
And now
we have
we're
a
just
south
seeing
zone.
a different type of stride coming out of him.
And also,
I was gonna say, I
notice
wouldn't
how
put it
Clicks
past
is
him
in
to
Mass
have
Meadows
a
and they're
game
pulling
6
every
victory
zone
to
now.
kind of close out strong here this
Honestly,
evening, but
sickening,
we'll just
bro.
see. So plenty of
They have
zones
zone
ahead of us.
magnet.
Sphinx, Bolts, and Kanata, though, sitting 800 damage above
Built-in
the surge right here.
forecast.
No pressure in sight for this trio right now.
I honestly think it's very, very important for both Sphinx and Kanata
Is Acorn alive? Yeah.
to have
Acorn
at least
is
a top
probably
three, if
this
not a win
team
in this last game
in
of the
front
day.
of
They got the
them.
zones after traveling one
Oh,
of the
never
most
mind, it's
far
not.
distances.
Oh, I mean,
of
Acorn's
every
to the
team
right
in
of
the
this.
lobby. It begins
Clicks
to
and them are
kind of
fighting
hinder your
again.
mental game. So they have to try to figure out a way to make it work, because Higgs, Clicks, and Yams are in a very, very similar and dire situation. You see the low amount of materials onto Higgs overall.
It's
That's
Shadow.
that's curving Tyler
Wait,
on
Shadow,
the
we
other
can't
side, and a big
lose
shot
this.
already gonna open up. Shadow's
Oh,
dropped
not the
down, Curve as
bat.
well. Everybody
Wait, did they
dispersing
get
in
a
different
kill?
directions,
Did
trying to figure out
Curve
a way
get
to
out?
survive.
Curve got
Unfortunately
out.
enough for Clicks, Yams, and
They
Higgs,
have
not
nothing.
been able to pick up a knock or an elimination just yet.
I was gonna say those
4
other
builds.
third-party teams are starting to shoot in, so that is so unfortunate.
Look
that
at the
they
point
didn't get
difference
to
between
finish
first
it.
and ninth. It's
They
200.
absolutely needed a
The gap
refresh
is
right
bigger
there, and
than
now
that team has
Clicks is
points.
the only one with a little bit of extra material here. They're gonna have to go ahead and play this building to go ahead and refarm as much materials as possible off the structure here. And just a huge setback. Again, this is all off of the fact that they were pushed by Peterbot out of their drop spot early on. And in a best case scenario right now is this team falls here and now. But again, unlikely as they're sitting at the front side of Storm right now, front side of zone, looking to thin out the lobby.
Clicks is dead. It's Curve again.
Disaster strikes yet again. Really unable to get themselves in a comfortable situation.
Curve, dude, they
because
have
of the start
nothing.
were
They all
talking
have
about.
100 HP.
But now they find themselves in a 3v2. Clicks is down. They don't really have any loot.
Yamzo's
no heals,
dead.
No materials,
Higgs
and
only
now
has 7
Yamzo's gonna fall
builds.
right on top of that.
Bro, they are getting nothing
462
from these
damage
kills,
above the
though.
threshold.
And they have
It's the
nothing.
only real blessing that they do have on their side for
is like
Higgs.
nothing
having
versus
no
nothing
HP to
here.
regain. He's going to need a miracle as he spots
Higgs
threats.
has 7.
running
Oh
out.
my
He's trying to
God.
follow suit
Where did
and
threats come
goes
from?
down. No eliminations.
All right, Clicks is
no
dead, full
placement
dead.
Points. 0-point game to end the day. And on the flip side, Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot.
Peter is only
wants to get
17
9
points down.
eliminations before placement to tie it up. They're
And
at
it's
7.
a no. Bryce
I was just
died,
gonna
and they
say,
have
they've been doing the
zone.
exact
Oh,
opposite
bro.
this game, racking up elim after elim. They kind of found their mojo here in the last game.
All right, this is a good test for
not looking back at
King
this point in
Reed.
time.
Let's see
This
if they
is
can
a
do it when they don't
pretty
pull. Oh, Booga's
interesting
dead,
end
dude.
game as well. This is ending on
Wow,
these
it's just
mountains
over.
right here. So a complete turn
Where
of
is
events
Acorn right now
The
in a
entire
zone like
script
this?
just getting tossed out the window.
Where's Acorn in a zone like
I
this?
mean, they did say they didn't want a north zone anymore.
Oh, Rapid is dead.
And well,
GG.
now we don't have a north zone, so it's one of those
Well,
situations. You
GG's
gotta
to
be
third.
careful what you wish for. 'Cause
This
now
is
we're on
huge
the
for
mountain
Muzz and Reed.
edges,
They can
hard to
finish-
make
they
their way
could
up.
finish today
Rapid
3rd and
goes down.
4th.
At least he was able to bring some of the loot on over to Threads, but not a single HP heal. And even if there's some just a little bit further down the mountain, Threads cannot get to them.
Threats at 4 HP.
Yeah,
and no
yeah. Peter's
heals is
actually
just
so weird for griefing
absolutely
clicks, man. The second
shambles.
place team griefing first, so weird.
I haven't had a real
Actually,
need to use that word today on
they should
broadcast,
honestly get
but
banned.
This is it right here. This is the definition by Fortnite terms here. He's got nothing to work with.
They made the viewing
Can't even go into
experience
the
30
zone
times
to pick
better.
up the
They should get
heals.
banned.
Agers ends up diving down on him. Acorn ultimately gets the elimination there. Meanwhile, Reet, Curly, Coop have a chance now to jump back up. Put themselves in the conversation of a top 3 finish here. They've got a little bit of a mountain position as well.
And they were honestly only 21 points behind third place, which ironically enough was Rapid, Booga, and Threads for
Agers is
Reed, Cooper,
playing-
and Curly.
they're playing
This
pretty
could be the
low.
game that at least gets them into the top 3.
I wonder who
Maybe
has
more,
height right
depending on
now.
Where they actually finish is Agers.
Who is it
Acorn
up there?
Foyer, just taking the side of
That
the mountain.
They're
They're confident that the surge that they have at this stage of the game.
There's no way they
there's
don't
no
wanna try to
real
play
risky
this.
situations. They can kind of bunker down here on the side of the mountain where not many teams will be
yeah,
able to
Win
see
would
them
probably
do that
give
line
Peter
of
a pretty
sight
big lead here, yeah.
and just hope, cross their fingers that the zone pulls on
Probably like an
of that
80-point lead for Peter if they
Keep
win.
in mind, again, this is the first full, like, kind of southern zone. It's going east now. It's just very different.
Because there's only been like a
Endgame
couple
playing out
placement
here, and
points
look at
given
it,
out,
it's a
65
different
placement
story,
points
too.
still
Look
up for
at the
grabs, basically.
Damage threshold put onto Muzz, Rise, and Jab Code. So much pressure here for them to perform right now. They see a team rotating.
Dang,
inside.
Muzz is
They start
cooked.
to trickle in and try to tail behind.
Rise
them.
dead to
Muzz, though,
Surge. Muzz has
cautious
10
of the fact that
builds,
There might be a team above them. Someone,
100
Oh,
below.
is that Rise's body? Yeah, unfortunately gets eliminated right here. He's just gonna have to pick up what he can here. And this is just all looking bad right now. They don't even have time to really set up, trying to fish for damage at all.
Thank you, Daniel.
Just disaster, because you don't even go down. That's what we saw happen to Rise. He took a tick of that Storm Surge, straight eliminated. Luckily for Muzz, though, he was able to pick up the materials, the minis that he did have in his inventory. And now they're
There's
just
nobody
staggering
on height
themselves
now.
back. They're going to be able to kind of use what little bit of elevation they have, survey the land, and then rotate in towards the zone. But
No, I just don't want you to make the chat a crazy place.
We spotted them out for a near moment, but right now they have their plans set in stone, trying to figure out what else is going to kind of get thrown their way, where this next zone pool
that is not
going to be
him,
important.
physics.
If it pulls towards the west, yet
That's
again,
the Spanish
we're
one.
the mountains, anywhere else would be a saving grace for the majority of the lobby.
And you can see Peterbot gave that information to Cold as he was looking back for that team that was rotating in. Muzz's
Oh
trio
my God,
barely-
Acorn did end up.
barely
They
escapes away
took height
on high
from Dozier.
ground.
They get his
Major
zone
one
and
champions, Boyo, Adri's Acorn have
Oh.
this under
little replay.
situation fully locked in,
Oh my
in
God.
stone right now. Take a look at the quick elimination off the chimp there to kind of set themselves up for the high ground positioning now. Low ground being played perfectly right now to Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual's success here. They're the first to get there. They have the heavy material
This needs to
count
be a
kind of
win for
building this
Acorn.
kind
You
of
don't know
build
how
up
many
now.
of these zones you're gonna get. You got to take advantage of it. This could be the last one you see all weekend.
Team.
Make it a 25 kill
7
win, 30 kill win
eliminations.
even.
And the 3 teams worth of placement, Cold, Ritual, Peterbot, are now at the top of the mountain. Not literally, because
Peter
you
and
see
them
all
have
the way on
7
the low
kills.
ground. The zone
Make it
being
8.
pulled towards the west, so they
Wait,
gotta
Cold,
make their way
chill.
up the mountain regardless.
Okay,
Cold
I mean,
goes for
Cold,
elimination. It instantly becomes
Run
the
into the
target
lobby,
of
why
lobby.
don't you?
A decision he's going to have to think twice about next time, as everybody's just trying to make their way up. Sooner is going to be better, because then you don't have to get pressured by every other team that is going to be above you. But for Coop, Curly, Reed, even with that elevation, they're pressured by Storm Surge, 167. A couple of shots going to land, still 135. Even with more, they're still below
70
the damage
below?
threshold by 71.
You gotta give a ton of respect right now to Coop's decision-making, reading the zone perfectly, position himself up and over, kind of into a prime position.
They might
to
not.
go ahead and
Oh,
even
they're
freeze for
130
this type
below.
of
They
damage
definitely
right
are going to
now.
need
However,
it.
they're still
They have
below.
2
It
seconds
hasn't
too.
been enough. It's gonna come
Peterbot
down to
has
that
8 kills.
piece up right
Adri's
there.
Acorn
No, he
still
missed
on
the
height.
shotgun shot. His team's there to follow up. And on
Okay,
high
above
ground,
for Reed.
Adri's
They
is
should
barely
be
holding
fine.
on, 'cause Peterbot,
Wait,
Cold,
Rich,
and
no,
Ritual are trying to fight their
Richie.
way up this mountain as well. But Ritual's got a
Richie.
ball here just inside top 13.
He died
Not
back
over yet.
zone.
Peterbot really leading the charge, waiting for Cold to reunite, recharge a lot of that sprint. So that when they make that final run, it's a
Oh,
lot
Peter's
easier.
dead
But Flank comes
too.
in, Peterbot with a good shot.
Wait,
quickly
where
finds
is
his way on
Cold?
out. 50 HP. Now the zone is on their tails. From one fight to the next. Now it's up against the B. Dips right back in, but he needs the
Oh my God.
elimination, and he gets it.
Bro,
Oh
I
my
think that was just scuff, 'cause,
Peterbot
like, where is
him,
Cold
and now
even
he's
at?
by himself.
Just so clean
I think
with
they
it
just
right
got
there.
full
This sliding
split.
shotgun shot let the
It's-
zone
it's-
do the
it's up
rest.
to a
It
Peter
was
solo
just
clutch
too
again.
Smooth for him right now. Frontside rotate here to put him way
No
in
mats, basically,
to
top
position here
7.
now. Still a couple
Can he get a
zones to
spray
close
out?
here. He's gotta
He
play
needs
for
some
these
mats
elims.
bad.
One big pickup. This is what Peterbot does
There's a
best.
body right above him,
And
but
he is just
no, that body's
racking up
gone.
points here, breaking away with a
Acorn and
monster
Pollo
lead
dead.
to set him up for a successful day 2. Nice little mat
Wow,
fight
they
here.
just got
Wanna
full
buy him
wiped.
a little bit more room.
7th place for
Yeah,
Acorn.
building that
Oh,
confidence right now as
that's
he's going
bad.
From team to team,
They just
trying
got
to find his
7.
opportunities, floating in the backside of the zone.
They just got
and even
full
when he sees
wiped.
one player run away, he just quickly
He has
keeps
2
on moving to
shotguns.
the
Peter
next
has
team as
2
he's making
two
his way up
pumps.
the mountain.
He just
Multiple
dropped it.
chances here in front of Peterbot, but without
Oh,
any
he's dead to
builds, he needs
Kanata.
be precise.
GG's.
In
That's a
versus
6 for
Kanata,
Peter
Kanata
in the
takes him
day.
down. A good
I mean,
move
that's still
upgrade
going to
if
be
he can just get
first
his
in
hands on it.
the day, but
Finally, we're seeing
Would've been
some
better.
life come out of the teams that have kind of had a bit of a struggle.
Cooper
on the
dead
day
to Sphinx.
here.
It's
But here's the
Reed.
team that's managed to
Reed
stay
dead.
consistent.
Curly,
Reed,
the only one
Curly,
alive.
Coop,
Bucky is
another end
alive.
game, a top 5 position for them. They're going to be happy about that one.
I mean,
Meanwhile,
look, it's
Visuals
like
and
all
Breeze
South teams
playing
alive.
Memphis on
Bucky,
high ground.
Kanata,
All of a
like-
sudden now, Bucky, Cam, and Okus have a chance to make something big happen.
We're about to
here.
see
It's
some.
up against
This
Kanata.
is going to make the
Nice little
complaining
edge
about the
here for
zones
Ritual
even
here for
worse,
Cam,
that
but he's
these
gotta
teams
back
are
his way
actually
out.
doing good
It's a
with this
full
zone.
trail fight, but they're sandwiched
Bucky and
in
Kanata are about to
between
be
multiple
full raging
teams
about
here.
the zones.
They have no choice but to go and sacrifice some HP, get around on that zone, but you're seeing the position they put themselves. Slivers
Braids
of
and
HP overall.
Braids
They
and
cannot
Administer on
do that
height and
again. And
visuals.
they're one of the few
They're
trios that are
making
actually left
great
in
work
the
of
game,
this
and their
zone, too.
opposition up above, almost full HP.
3v3 v
full
3v1.
shield. The only thing that they don't got going for them is overabundance of materials. As Cam
3v3
gets another
v2.
elimination onto Taki down below, and this is where the drop down is slowly but surely going to begin.
And you can see he's even willing to take the time. Braids
I mean, this-
making sure
I
he
mean,
takes no fall damage
they
here,
cannot sell
inching his
this.
way down. He does not want to give this one away. And
GG's,
puts himself
Cam
in a
dead,
favorable
3v2,
position
it's
to
Sphinx
find
and
Cam's there
Kanata.
for the elimination. All he gotta do now is
Kanata's
wrap it
Sphinx
up,
is
and this
dead.
is gonna
Only
be a
Kanata,
great game
1v3
dub
for
Braids and
visuals.
here.
It's gonna be a
Kanata
visuals
finds
win to end the
himself in
day.
Second place in the end. A great clutch though. Nice little tag there. It's gonna find
Unless
himself a little bit of siphon. Braids
Kanata?
now takes some unnecessary storm damage. Kanata.
Nah, I
dips
think
back
he's-
into
oh, he's got a
zone.
chug,
He's gonna try to play the heel off
unless-
here. looks like he's got a med kit.
Yeah, he has the chug overall, and it's going to go straight to HP, and that's why he stopped it for that moment. This could be the difference maker, because they're out of heals on the
Oh my
other
God,
side.
he's about to get a siphon.
More. In they come,
Wait.
Braids. They're doing what they can, but they cannot find him. They can't find him. Braids goes down.
Can he get in?
Visuals found some extra heals.
Oh, he doesn't get in, GG's. All right, Visuals wins it. All right, it got spooky for a second. It definitely got spooky for a second there. All right, Chad, going into day number 2, we have Ritual in first by 51 after that game. So Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot are in first by 51. Clicks, Higgsy, Amzo second. Visuals, Braids, Diminished third. Reed, Cooper, Curly fourth. Rapid, Booga, Threats fifth. Muzz, Yapko, Rise sixth. Agers is in seventh. Tacky eighth. Kanata ninth. And Shadow 10th. I mean, Kanata is bringing it back. I mean, that is a very interesting day 1. Very interesting. I mean, Peter in first, pretty predictable. Clicks in second, pretty predictable. Visuals in third's pretty surprising. I knew they could play well. Reed in fourth, I mean, they've been playing well. Booga in fifth is just about right. Muzz started off today pretty bad. Finished today good. Acorn, I mean, I don't know. Acorn, I'd honestly say Acorn in 7th is a bit more disappointing than even Kanata in 9th. They just can't, like, we gotta make these like top 5, top 4s. And that's like probably 100-point difference in points for them. All right, let me just make a tweet real fast. I mean, you can, I don't know. I don't care who you're a fan of, chat. I don't care if you're a fan of Peter, Clicks, whatever. That play just got them first place by 50 points instead of being in second by 50 points. Like, that's like 100-point swing for Peterbot making that play. Hello, Sebastian. Like, that, at the end of the day, that play literally worked perfectly for them. Love them or hate them. Obviously, Clicks fans are going to be mad. But, like, that is a good play to make, I guess. Well, I mean, our predictions aren't doing too bad. We have first right. Clicks is 1 off. Acorn is in 7th. Rise is 2 off. Booga's correct. Reed is 2 off. Kanata is 2 off. Visuals is 5 off. Visuals is somehow... Oh, I guess Acorn is also 5 off. Visuals is like our worst top 10 prediction right now. And it's top 10 in a good way, I guess. Because he's doing better. Shadow is only 1 off, and then Creon is only 2 off. So we have 2 5 off right now, and then the rest are like 2-ish off. Not bad. I should have put Vert. I mean, yeah, I mean, if I would have known Vert would have got 5 zones today, I probably would have put them top 5. Or top 10. All right, GG's. I mean, Bucky brought it back there. I mean, that 3rd place just saved Bucky's tourney. They went from being nowhere near close to being contending for top 10 to being, like, kind of in the mix again. All right, GG's, chat. It's a W day 1. All right, YouTube, I am going to end my stream. I will probably stay live here on Twitch. So if you guys want to come over on Twitch, I will stay live. Oh yeah, I do have to pay out the prediction. Sorry, that is Peter bought him first. All right. All right, see you later, you.